Gardner for the slog sweep into the leg side, and that's that. Australia, they're into the final.
World Cup final at Lords. Can't really ask for much more.
The ICC Women's T20 World Cup final. Australia versus England.
World Cup finals are the games that you play for.
Can Australia find their best against the best and claim their 7th T20 crown?
Perry goes big this time. Clears the road. That's 6.
Join ABC Sport for ball-by-ball coverage tonight on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital and ABC Listen.
ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
Some fun. The AFL in 2026 on ABC Sport.
And the siren sounds.
Here we go. Listen to the roar. It is showtime.
You take a seat because it don't get better than this.
Right to the goal line.
Jamie Elliott, the man who gravity forgot.
That's why we love AFL football.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. It don't get better than this.
From 45 and rising all the way home.
An ambitious effort. Unbelievable.
The left foot is a goal.
Oh, yeah. See, because it don't get better than this.
Throws it, kicks off goal. The prancing pony.
What a goal.
He's off and running for 45 to get the party started.
Take a seat, because it don't get better than this.
It's bouncing, it's through. Bailey Smith, he'll want the cameras on him right now.
Light camera action, baby. Countdown to contact.
Spins around and buries it. Loads up from 55. That's a monster bomb.
40 metres out, snaps towards goal. What a beautiful finish.
Baker goal square, goes for glory.
He eyes the goals and sends it home.
100% pure footy.
Every minute of every match, all season long. Gathers, snaps, goal.
It's just football at its best.
Kick on goal, dribbles it through. What about that? Took them all on and said, I'll have some of this.
Bailey pinches his pocket and bang, bang, bang. That's the price you pay against the Premier.
Watson snaps. Oh, Watson puts it through. And the Wizard arrives precisely on time. He's built for the big stage. On his left boot, his kick is good.
Inside 50, off a step, turns and goes bang. And snap. And goal. There's some bravery through the middle of the ground.
How good is that? What a goal. He wastes no time. He whacks it through for another. It doesn't have to be your night, but it can be your moment. Hands it to Charlie Cameron. He can walk it in. Show him your tail lights, Charlie.
Welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 2026 AFL Premiership season.
Runs the 50 out. What a way to finish.
On radio
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
You take a seat because it don't get better than this.
It's go time for the Saints as they look to push towards a maiden finals appearance. If they're to do so, they need to claim victory today against the Bombers, who look to snap a 10-game losing streak and spoil the St Kilda Revival. Great to have your company on Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. The Saints had won one of their previous 5 games before the bye. They now have to freshen up and look to assault on the final third of the season. Well, the Bombers are chasing their first win under interim coach Dean Solomon, his 5th game in the chair this afternoon. Great to have your company. There is 4 changes for the Saints for this afternoon's clash. Most notably, Tom De Koning is out, Jack Sinclair as well, while Jack McRae has been managed and Dan Butler has been omitted. So Toby Travalia comes in for another opportunity alongside Liam Henry, Mateus Filippo after his 42 disposals in the VFL, and Liam O'Connell. While for the Bombers, 3 changes with Wright, Cox and Al Hooley coming in. The stakes are high for these two sides despite it being down the pointy end towards the bottom of the ladder. Matt Clinch with all of the action this afternoon alongside Ben Cameron. Welcome to you, Benny.
Hello, Clinchy. Great to be here to call it all with you and Bob and Half as well. What a team they are working together in 2026. Just on Essendon, they've won one of their last 28 games. Now, outside of the expansion clubs in their first 2 seasons when they were full of kids, Only North Melbourne in 23-24 and also Fitzroy in 1995-96 have done that. So this is historically bad, the run that Essendon are on, if you need context around that. And then you look at the list and you go, well, hang on, there's 10 top 10 picks that are playing today, 8 of whom were drafted by Essendon, so Wright and Setterfield were drafted elsewhere, and then 14 first-round picks, 12 of whom were taken by Essendon, with those two obviously not Wright and Setterfield that I've mentioned. So it should be better than this. It should be a lot better than this, but what we get today we'll find instructive, and the same goes for St Kilda, who have been very good against the bottom 8 teams and winless against the top 10 teams in the competition.
And that's the challenge this afternoon, is you've got to beat those sides below you for St Kilda, and then the bigger challenges are to come. Our Sunday pairings are here and ready to go. Bob Murphy, you've heard him on AFL Sunday earlier today. Welcome to you, Bob, once more.
Nice to be in your company, gentlemen. Where would you rather be than with you fine people on a Sunday afternoon? This residency that we've taken up here at 774 this year, I love everything about it. The only bit that I haven't loved recently is just how pathetic Essendon were last week. So we get a chance to see if they can correct what was really disappointing from the Bombers last week, and see if the Saints can put it to sleep early. As
you guys know, it was Malcolm Blight who used the word pathetic when he referenced David Pittman. Pathetic Pittman.
Pitiful. I think it might have been pitiful.
I think it was pathetic.
Was it?
I'm fairly certain it was pathetic.
Might have used both of them at one stage.
Just some feedback for you as well, Berth.
I think I just got some.
Yeah.
Oh, no, when you go to give feedback and you fumble it.
I think I just got it. But go for the second part now.
The second part of the feedback, not just 774, right around Australia.
We are national.
Yeah. In the football states on the AFL coverage.
Now, this is good. This is why I'm still a bit green, and I'm in the company of the Masters. And I appreciate that. No one's above feedback.
ABC local radio on your analogue radio, or ABC Listen if it's not on your traditional measures. Alongside Bob this afternoon, it's great to have Daniel Harford, Hawk and Blue, of course, featured as the AFLW Coach of the Year in 2019. Half, we saw the Bombers boot 4-2 in the final quarter last week against North Melbourne. The scoreline sort of flattered them, but as Benny made mention, their record has not been great this season, and the challenge is far greater than just who is the senior coach. So what do we look for this afternoon?
Good afternoon, everyone. I think Burf hit it on the head.
Yeah, he did. At least it wasn't Bath.
It could be by the fourth.
It would have been triggered about Terry Wallace.
We want to see some assertive play from Essendon. That's what we want to see. Last week we were lamenting how safe and boring and slow they were. And then all of a sudden in the last quarter, as you say, Clinchy, they started to get moving a little bit, put a bit of pressure defensively on the opposition, and they hit the scoreboard. And surely that was enough for Dean Solomon to say, right, I reckon we can have a bit of a play with this. We've got a couple of weeks to roll. I would really like this job. How about I just start to show that I can educate these boys into a system that's going to be long-term beneficial for our footy club. Let's start it today against the Saints.
Yeah, can we at least start with some defensive effort, intent, some kind of defensive system? So
that would be helpful.
Just on Essendon, they've lost their last 9 games here at Docklands by an average of 44 points. Now, you look at that and you go, well, of course they have. I mean, they've won one of their last 28 games. But you guys always tell me that the most important thing here at Docklands is guarding the corridor. Essendon don't do that. They don't have any defensive system.
It's the worst
whatsoever.
It's the worst I've seen the centre square part of the ground defended last week. Worst I've ever seen it. Yep. North Melbourne, middle of the road team, they just waltz through all day. And then, as we talked about, North Melbourne should have won by 15 goals last week. So that's something you can fix in a week. You can just focus on that and sort that out today. But then they've just got to actually want to do it. Try. It has to be built on the foundation of redline it, maybe even get them wound up to the point that they maybe lose a bit of composure with ball use, because you can't have everything. But it was too passive last week. Way too passive.
So in that, Dean Solomon started throwing the magnets around to start the final quarter, and Sullivan Roby found himself in the centre square.
Yeah.
Does he start with that this week, or does he go back to the established, quartet of the centre square and say, righto, redeem yourself?
I would think you'll go to the quartet, the established crew, and say this is your chance.
Which is not Zach Merritt for the moment. He's across half-back.
No, well, I would like to see him there. I would like to see Sullivan Roby in there a lot more. As you say, it was a nice little move. He's a real talent, this kid. We talked about him last week. He's a real talent, robust, competitive. He's going to be a good player for this footy club for a long period of time, hopefully. So, yeah, I would throw that last quarter centre bounce mix in there, but I think he will go to the established guys and say, righto, come on, time you lead. And you get a chance against a team coming off the bye. Who knows how they're going to end up, how they're going to look early. Let's have a crack at them early.
Yeah, St Kilda have lost their last two coming off the bye as well, and they went on a 6-game losing streak out of it last season. But why is it always the same names? Like, it feels like the definition of insanity. They do the same thing over and over, Essendon, and get the same result, and they're surprised by it. Like, it feels like, to me, tell me if I'm wrong, the same people who don't display the defensive actions that are required.
Yeah.
And history repeats.
Getting away with absolute murder. And you look at the outs this week. Mr. El Ashkar, he goes. Jones and Blackiston, all young fellas. And where are the senior guys that don't do the work, that aren't representing what this footy club needs to build upon going forward, to be a presence again in this competition? Get them out of the team. Get them out of the team and teach them that this is not an acceptable way that we're going to play. So, I don't know the conversations. What's that?
Teach the kids that as well, saying, look...
That's right. Everyone gets the benefit of it. Everyone gets the benefit of it.
That's it. There's no pressure on winning at the moment. That's not our expectation today. But if I was Dean Solomon, sure, it's a bit of a stretch. But if I was, I would put it into three parts. That the centre square or the corridor, that part of the ground, we just have to defend it better. It's a low bar, but it just has to be a focus. So if they beat us going wide, okay, well, but we have to clog that up. The other part is with our ball movement. If they go slow and so far backwards, that's something you can change in a week. We're not going as far backwards.
Yeah.
We can go across, and when we do, we go with pace. You can actually tinker that in a week.
We're not going the big U-turn switch that they've been doing.
Or
just
the V switch.
And the third bit is I want you to absolutely red line effort. If you run out of gas halfway through the third quarter and we get rolled over, no worries. Yep. But if it's just, do I have to again, that's not good enough.
So remembering last week, we spoke about the fact that they served up 35 tackles for the match. 13 in the second half. 9 of them didn't lay a single tackle. Remember we were speaking about that? So the context around it is that 55 is the average number of tackles for a team in a game in 2026. So they were
probably less at Docklands. Would that be fair?
Probably. Maybe a little bit of a quicker game style, but still they're a fair way under that. Is it as simple as we need to tackle more as an effort indicator?
Well, yes, tackling is also a reflection of the way you attack. Defence is a reflection of the way you attack. So if you're trying to expand, and Bob's point before was, Burf, his point before about going so slow and wide, when you stretch the ground so far, once you turn it over, there's actually no one to tackle. No one actually to go and do the tackling. So if you play a more congested style, you're going to get more tackles. If you play a narrow brand of footy where you don't shape the ball out as wide as some teams do, you're going to have more tackles. So it's a reflection of the way you play with ball in hand. So it's not necessarily a direct correlation of effort as such, but what we saw last week was a correlation with effort. There was a lack of intent.
They defended on their heels last week.
Yep.
And that's what I keep saying about that. Do I have to? That's what it looks like, because when you're on your heels and going backwards, when you finally do decide, you've got to move your momentum forward, and that's what they look like. So you can arrest that pretty quick. But forward 50 tackles, they are ranked last. There's an appetite and a hunger attached to forward 50 tackles. They're harder to get, but if you're ranked last, it's unacceptable. And they're ranked last by a fair bit. 8.6 they average, Gold Coast to 9.3, and they're second last. So it's a big drop-off.
The voice of Bob Murphy alongside Daniel Harford, Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call the action this afternoon. Lauren Borden's on the boundary if you want to get in touch with us throughout the afternoon. 0437 774 774. Nice to hear from so many of you on the Footy Forum with Clint Weldon alongside Jake Nile and Glenn Quartermain. The Bombers have just recorded a victory in the VFL, so that's their 6th win of the season, while their AFL side has just had the 1 win. So I think it was 4 goals to 2 in the final quarter, the way of the Bombers over St Kilda in the VFL. A chance to focus in on the Saints. Their task is pretty simple. They need to get on the winning ways and try and ultimately win probably 6 of their last 9 matches if they're to feature in September. I got the chance to catch up with Corey Enright, who's part of the interview process for various jobs that's being mentioned at the moment, and asked him as the senior assistant coach of the Saints, coming off the back of a 22-point loss against the Western Bulldogs before the bye, what do they try and address as they start the final third of the season?
Yeah, it's always interesting when you obviously got a bit of time to reflect and dissect, and we obviously went through our normal, protocols and reviewed the Bulldogs game as we normally would, but we gave the guys plenty of time off and got them in, and we sort of focused on some of the things that we did well in that game and also some of the areas of improvement, which we always do, and also had a quick glance at how the season's been tracking for us and the areas of improvement that we want to focus on for the next part of the season.
So did you get a break, or did Ross have you working?
No, we got a break. Yeah, no, we got a break, and it's always good to get a couple of days recharge, and I guess it gives you a chance to sort of reflect on the season so far, but also focus your energy on what's really important, particularly this week coming up.
So it gives you an opportunity, I guess, to springboard into the last third of the season. How important would it be for St Kilda to feature in finals?
Oh, look, it's more about just playing out good footy, and we know when we do play a sort of good footy or best footy that we're quite capable, and that's what we're sort of really putting our energy and focus on, because we have shown some really good glimpses, but then we've probably let ourselves down. So it's just around that consistency piece and getting the players to understand that we need to sort of play as close to 4 quarters as we can, and the results will take care of themselves.
You obviously have some challenges in terms of personnel. Tom DeConing with the 2 fractured ribs, the punctured lung. Jack Sinclair with that high-grade calf injury, but it does the opportunity from Tejas Filippo off the back of the 40 disposals, 11 clearances in the VFL to come in, and what role will he play today?
Yeah, so obviously we'll miss those first 2 that you spoke about, particularly Jack Sinclair, who's just been a staple in our lineup for 2 or 3 years now. So it does give opportunity for others, and Mateus is one of those guys that's gone back and worked on his game. He worked sort of as a midfielder the last couple of weeks at VFL level, and he's going to come and play midfield for us today, and it's going to be really exciting to see what he does and complement with the others in there as well.
Ross, I think, gave the stat that Champion Data had some numbers around stoppages that it was your best in almost 15, 17 years.
Yeah.
Without Tom DeConing this afternoon, what does that look like for Rowan Marshall? Will he carry the majority of the responsibility, and you're curious to see what that looks like as a sort of short-term solution?
We know that, Rowe has previously to this year carried quite a big load as a ruckman, and, it's an opportunity for him to obviously, I guess, take up some slack there. But with Tom out, those 2 have been working really well together. So we're going to miss Tom, and we know what Rowe gives us. He's been such a good player for us over a long period of time. So we're going to have to support him. We know what he's capable of.
Corey Enright with us from the Saints on ABC Sport. So many St Kilda fans are interested about Max King, about how he's progressing. Ross said he was back to almost full training. What's sort of his plan for the next few weeks?
Yeah, well, it's just it's as silly as it sounds, it's a day-by-day proposition with Max, and he's just putting together, a body of work, whether it be, in the gym or on the track, which, it's going to give him the best chance for the back end of the season. So we're unsure when that is, but it's progressing forward, and it's good to see him, out on the track completing drills, and it's all part of his sort of progression forwards, and it's exciting for the club.
So do you think he might feature in the VFL in a couple of weeks, or would he come back into AFL level straight away?
Oh, look, and those are all the questions you need to ask yourself when we get to that point of time. And at the moment, as I said, it's around just completing as many sessions as he can, and continue on his forward momentum. And when those decisions come, I guess as a match committee and as a fitness department and Max himself, we'll make those best decisions, and obviously there'll be a plan in place for him and for us, and see how that goes.
Now, Ross said he was going to catch up with Lachie Neale across the weekend. You're probably one of the few that could ask him how it went. Did he give you anything? Did he say about how that catch-up went?
I actually haven't seen him since, so I'll find out shortly.
You didn't get invited?
No, invite only, and I was not invited.
He did say, though, that if you were putting your hand up for a senior coaching position, that he would drive you to the interview. So it does lead us to just ask a little bit about how you're sort of progressing, and your name was listed as one of the candidates for the Carlton coaching position. Have you been approached by the Blues?
No, I've sort of just been sort of focusing on what I need to do right here, and obviously there's a process or there's a few, I guess, vacancies open at the moment, and those clubs will be doing their research and going through I guess, how they do things for their club, and I'm just focusing on what I need to do here right now, and that is obviously trying to win as many games as I can at St Kilda, and that's starting this week against Essendon, and obviously coming off the bye. We are excited about getting out here and on Marvel, and hopefully putting in a good performance.
You coached at Geelong under Chris Scott, now under Ross. Do you feel like you're ready? Do you want that opportunity?
Look, I think you're always always learning on the job, and I felt like I've had some really good people to learn from. Obviously Chris and Ross in particular. So yeah, I feel like I'm always trying to get better and make sure that I'm to be the best coach I can be, and I think that never ends. So. As I said, I'm always trying to learn as much as I can, but also be the best coach I can. And where that takes me, I'm not sure. So you're going into just to be the best you can be, and help as many people as you can along the way. And ultimately, where you get to, that'll be decided over a period of time.
And finally, obviously, the Bombers this afternoon. So while they haven't had much success on field with just the one win so far this season, what are you most mindful of in terms of their key personnel?
Yeah, well, we did. Obviously, we looked at their team and their lineup, and they still got some. They've got some young players coming through, but they've got some really experienced heads, particularly in their sort of back half of the ground, where probably Merritt, McGrath. Redmond, Ridley, these types of guys have been really good players over a long period of time. So, I guess, and obviously up front with, Caddy's such an exciting player. So, and since the shift in coach, there's been a shift in style as well. So, we're aware of what they're capable of. And as I said, we're in the position where we're sort of focusing a lot on ourselves and trying to, get our game to a level that we're really comfortable with as well.
Good luck this afternoon. Thanks as always for your time.
Thank you.
Senior Assistant Corey Enright from the Saints joining you on ABC Sport in the lead up to this afternoon's game. It's Essendon taking on St Kilda in round 17 of the AFL. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call the action. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts, with Lauren Borden down on the boundary. I feel like it was a pretty flat pitch. I threw a few questions out there.
I thought you were good then.
Me a lot.
I thought you were really good.
He feels like he's ready, but he wasn't willing to discuss any more than that around the aspirations for the Carlton position.
Well, any more about anything, really, in fairness.
I would have liked to know whether he's in for both Essendon and Carlton, like whether he's open for both gigs.
Surely.
Fascinating. He would be, wouldn't he? Surely, he'd have to be.
Yeah.
He'd have to be on both of the boards and
surely
investigating both. He said he hadn't caught up with Ross. Hadn't seen Ross since Friday night. They normally do their captain's run the day before the game. So
a bit of a spell.
I don't know.
Maybe Ross was having a latte with Lockie and he wasn't there.
He doesn't go to the captain's run anymore.
Doesn't need to.
It's a bit bizarre.
Let Corey run that. Corey runs pre-season, so there's no reason he can't run a captain's run.
Just value add on top now, Ross. Yeah.
He's not in the weeds. We've heard this.
Yep.
He told us he wasn't going to be in the weeds. Captain's run is weed activity.
A little kick and a catch. Don't need to be involved in that.
Nah.
So let me pose the same question to you guys I posed to Corey Enright and to our listeners on 0437 774 774. How important is it St Kilda feature in finals this year, given their big spending in the off-season, or is this all part of the progression?
I would think that they would have thought they'd be playing in a wild card, at least.
Yes.
On the back of what they did. They added, don't worry about the spending, it's the players that, because it's got to fit in the cap anyway, so that's fine. It's the players they brought in to fix the holes that they had. I would have thought that on the back of that, they would have considered that wild card was a minimum, absolute minimum. So I think it's really important, to answer your question, that they find a way to get there.
If I can channel a bit of Corey Enright and just modern coaches and how they talk, I would agree that it's as much about how they play in this back end of can they get it to gel? And I feel like in the last little while, I'm seeing them gel more. So I think it's important that they played in a wildcard or made a final. It's not critical, but it's what this year informs us of next year. That's what I'm looking at.
Can I just pick up on something?
Next year, the pressure's on. They should be red hot, ready to go.
From Corey Enright, James Kelly on Thursday night, who we had pre-game, and Brendan Lade, who we had pre-game on Friday, all of whom are in for the Carlton gig.
Yep.
It felt like to me, and we'll speak about this on the ABC AFL Daily Pod post.
Looking forward to that.
Tonight, available, ready for you tomorrow.
Damn good podcast, that one.
It
5
is.
drops a week, all different flavours.
Yep. Bear friend, tell a friend. But it felt like they were speaking from a script. So it felt James Kelly basically said, out of respect to the process, it's not my process, I'm not going to speak about it. And Brendan Lade said words to very similar effect.
I reckon Nathan Buckley said exactly the same thing on TV as well.
So I feel like...
They've all got the same script.
I feel like Carlton, through good operators from Graham Wright and Chris Davies, have basically told them, we don't want this playing out in the public. When you get asked about it, and you will, if you could please say this, we'd appreciate it. It felt very, very script-like.
Right, okay.
Does that make him a good operator? Feels like
bad for us.
Dry.
Bad and boring for us.
Also, you don't work for Carlton yet. Be yourself. How about that?
Yeah. But I'd really like to work for Carlton, so maybe I'll just help them out for a little bit.
Do you agree with me on that?
Well, if that's the case, I haven't heard those comments, but I'm keen to hear from them on the ABC AFL Daily podcast. If that's the case, I'm sure that there is a little bit of a script. When you're asked about it, just say this.
Yeah.
Just to take the heat off it. Because, I mean, Carlton are obviously another conversation, but 7 in a row, they're getting a lot of conversation from a lot of different angles at the moment with the way they're going and under Josh Fraser. And I still can't believe that. And they've played, well, I can believe what Josh Fraser said during the week. He hasn't been approached to be a part of the process that nobody's a part of because it's not their process. Clearly, that's a downplay of the situation, and at the right time, he'll come in. Rather than saying, I'm going to be a part of it.
He's got direct passage through to the final stage, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's through to the repechage. He doesn't have to worry about the repechage.
Yep.
He's going straight through to the final.
I think so too. When we do the final 4 people for the final interviews, come in then, Josh. Yeah. Don't worry about the start.
So it might be just 3, and then Josh is the 4th.
Something like that.
Yep.
Like they'll whittle down 15 to 3 or 4, and that's generally how the final lot of interviews work. And I reckon I'm with half straight through.
If you were Corey Enright and you were the number 1 seed, surely the Carlton job would seem more appealing than going to Essendon or even staying in St Kilda, and depending on what happens with Ross. If you feel like you're ready-made, Carlton looks like a job that would be pretty appealing if you see yourself as a long-term, senior coach in waiting.
Yeah, and
I would think so.
I think you get a quicker return as well. They get a reward for your efforts relatively quickly compared to the Bombers, which is going to be a slow burn. It doesn't matter if the great Norm Smith himself came back and took over Essendon. It's going to be a slow burn. Doesn't matter how long it's, who it is. It's going to take some time. So you get a much better return quicker if you take the Carlton job.
On the SMS 0437 774 774. Gareth from Brisbane says, as a Saints fan, finals is a minimum. I'm tired of getting close. The Traralgon Tiger says, insightful interview. I learnt that Corey Enright is always learning. Thank you to the Traralgon Tiger.
The Tiger's very sharp.
He certainly is. And Calvin from Wattonia says, it's great to hear the A-team together, which is a great combination of serious discussion and a touch of levity. 0437 774 774. TT of Perth says, gents, do Essendon deserve additional draft picks given their haul of top 10 draft picks as you've just discussed?
Absolutely not.
We say no.
Absolutely not. I reckon they can ask for it. No worries in asking. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's one of those life lessons for everyone. But the AFL should be very firm in saying, not for mine, fella.
I wouldn't even ask for it. I coach an under-18 netball team half, and I don't want to make it all. I don't make today's show all about the fact that we made finals in our first year. But
and you're available
and open for negotiations for talks. But they often, if we've had a couple of beltings, and they ask you, you want the mercy rule? No, never. And I make sure our players know we will never accept the mercy rule.
Never surrender.
And I kind of feel a bit the same about footy clubs. Don't ask for that.
I agree.
I feel like it seeps in.
Well, it's absolutely
seeping in of like, we really are.
Which I don't.
We kind of are a bit hopeless, and it's going to be a much further road. And I think that. Yes, you get the pick, but I also think you lose out in other ways too that are more subtle and nuanced. But I don't know. That's more. I know it's a more highfalutin philosophical view, but I
don't mind it.
I don't love it.
Do you
it's a concession that you're crap.
Yeah.
And
by our own
and
doing.
we can't
own
this.
doing.
Yeah. And we can't currently fix this as it is.
Yeah.
So it's a big admission. It's a big concession to make publicly,
Mm-hmm.
and let alone to your players and to your club and your supporters. So it is a big concession to make, no doubt. But there's no way to answer our excellent SMS's question.
Do they deserve it?
Do they deserve it?
No.
Do you invoke the spirit of Luke Beveridge and come up with a theme each week for the under 18s netball team?
Oh, look, I think in my netball coaching, it's more of a magpie building a nest. I take a little bit from Luke, take a little bit from you guys, a little bit from Chanel Vella, Shell Hunt, all walks of life, just little bits. Make it something.
Did you watch
original.
last night? Did you watch the Super Netball Grand Final last
probably
night?
the Adelaide Thunderbirds are the ones you try and
Gee, they
replicate.
defended well last night.
Third Super Netball title in 4 years. They are the most successful Super Netball team.
I saw Sarah Jones, who's the Fox Sports, Fox Footy presenter, big Essendon fan. Her grandfather, of course, an Essendon champion. And I said to her, how are the Dons going to go today? She said, I think if they took some of the defensive pressure and effort that the Thunderbirds delivered in the Super Netball Grand Final last night, that would be well served, which was a shrewd.
Thunderbirds are go.
Well, they were go last night. That second quarter was off the charts. They didn't. It's funny you talk about their defence. Yeah. They didn't do anything. They stood still. They just stayed in front of everyone and didn't let the Vixens get.
Well, the Bombers can do that. We saw that last week.
They're good at standing
still. Just to build on that.
Very good at standing still. The Bombers last week. It was a fascinating game. Thunderbirds too good.
So, in looping our way back to the Bombers, Max King obviously suffered that soft tissue injury in returning to the VFL. If you were coaching him half, would you go back through the VFL, or would you say, you know what, we can condition him, we've now got 5 on the bench, he's waited long enough, we'll bring him straight back into the seniors?
He's VFL for me, because they've proven that they can't condition him.
I go VFL for a while.
Yeah, it's multiple weeks. It's 3 weeks.
At least.
And now they've got time to do it, right? So if they want to play in a wildcard final, if they're good enough to get to a wildcard final, you wouldn't mind having access to a guy like Max if it gets to that point.
Well, Ross Lyon quoted in 2023 when they did lose that elimination final to the Giants that Max King played a big role in getting back and was able to feature in the last third of the season.
But because the last third of the season, last quarter of the season is so important for the Saints, you can't risk having a guy like him play and break down in the second quarter and ruin everything for the rest of the game. I just don't think they can take that risk in terms of the AFL games.
As you can hear, St Kilda have made their way out onto Docklands. They make 4 changes from their side that lost to the Western Bulldogs a fortnight ago. They've had the bye, so Travalia, Henry, Filippo and O'Connell come back in.
How's McRae going, do you reckon? Managed off a bye.
Yeah, interesting. And
the soft drop. What's going on there?
The chase
had a bad bye.
Of Lockie Neal as well, so he's got another year on his contract, so he's signed till 2027. But if Lockie Neal comes in, it'll be interesting to see if they can both feature in the same side. Dean Solomon spoke during the week, the Essendon interim coach, who was asked by our own Lex Peshier from the ABC newsroom about the full-time Essendon gig.
More importantly, there's a vacant job going here. Will you or will you not be part of the...
Oh, I haven't, again, and I'm not. And the club have been great. They said, look, the next couple of weeks, just keep your head down and try and, get some consistency in what we're chasing here and the way we want to play. So my head is down, but I understand at some stage there's going to be a conversation that needs to be had. But, right here, right now, I've got to focus on...
So has Andrew Welsh come to you and said, we'll give you more time to make...
No, Tim Roberts has. So he's just said, mate, right here, right now, next couple of weeks, keep your head down. You've got to focus on what you've got to focus on. And at some stage, we'll come and give you a nudge and have a conversation.
Is that going to be before the end of the season?
Great question. Yeah, no, I'm imagining it'll be in the next couple of weeks, but obviously there's a process in place now, so they've got to get moving. I don't think they're in a rush. They want to do it. They want to be really, really clear on what they want to focus on and what they want to attract and get into the club. So I'm sure I'll get the tap on the shoulder at some stage.
So that was Dean Solomon chatting in his midweek press conference. It's interesting because the conversation all comes because we're not getting a lot of internal information. So we all want to know what's the next step of the process. When will Andrew Wells say, righto, the panel has been announced, but we don't know the candidates, and we don't know, other than James Hurd saying on a Channel 9 platform that he had been spoken to by Andrew Walsh, and now we've heard Dean Solomon say, well, they've told me to focus on the job at hand and they'll be in touch with me in due course.
I must admit, I quite respect that from the clubs, that they're able to keep this stuff tight. On the back of all the footy information that gets leaked out, and these are big clubs with big news items, and a lot of ego involved in clubs and boards and supporters and all that sort of stuff. A lot of big egos that want to let people know how much they know at times. I quite respect the fact that they're able to keep it under wraps at the moment.
3 weeks ago, I felt like the confidence from people like us from afar, the confidence in the process was pretty low, or it was tainted.
Yep.
And as I sit here today, I don't feel like that. That's a strategic win by the Essendon Footy Club.
We had those 2 interviews with Brett Montgomery and Troy Chaplin before the game in Alice Springs. 2 highly rated assistant coaches, and both spoke about the concerns they harbour around entering the process, or did harbour, entering the process if Herb was involved. That was on the back page of the Herald Sun the very next day. So I think they've had to fight a little bit of that, and now maybe they're at a point where they can launch.
Yeah, well, I just think they've managed it pretty well. To Bob's point, they've managed it pretty well on the back, which is always going to be a wildfire. As soon as James announced his candidacy effectively on the TV show, it was always going to be wildfire, and they've managed it pretty well. And now they can play it as they see fit. They sort of dripped a little bit out about the assistant coaches, and who they'd like to perhaps have around the contest, but it's on their terms, which I quite like.
Can we talk about my documentary idea? I feel like I've got to get it out of my brain and into the public domain.
I like this.
Look, this is just a freebie for the Bombers if they're listening. Film the coaching process. Get these coaching prospects to sign the waiver. We may not see it for 24 months, but you'll film the entire thing. We get to see Hurd, we get to see Solomon, we get to see Enright, Hinkley, whoever it is going for these jobs, we get to see the whole thing, and we package it all up, documentary style.
Fantastic.
Bombs Away, it's called.
Hey! He's got a name. That's awesome.
Thoughts? 0437 774 774. Would you watch Bombs Away?
I'm watching Bombs Away.
It'd be great viewing.
Would you narrate it for me, Harv?
Oh, you betcha I will.
Excellent.
So if you're a candidate, Half, would you have any concerns about it being filmed? And obviously you can't have your IP probably being publicised, but you could show enough of the behind the scenes as to how the process took place without the detail.
Yeah, and the conversations and the interview process. And then you have the conversation from the panel who's putting it together. And
then the white smoke,
coach.
And you fill it out with a few drone shots from above Windy Hill. You stretch it out to 90 minutes.
Oh, you'll get 90. I reckon you get 90. You get a couple episodes out.
I was thinking more like, multi-episode.
Yeah, I'm thinking
sort of 6-part series.
Yeah.
The supporters' view, the past players' view, board members.
It's less about views and more about factions. The current group factions.
This is going to be good.
Fan
Benny
faction.
coming on executive producer beautifully.
Yeah, 3 years after, we'll put it to air. No worries. Bombs Away.
Little time capsule. Bombs Away.
Name.
Thank you.
You've been thinking about this.
So as Bob said, 0437 774 774 is the SMS number. Let us know whether you're a fan of seeing a process filmed. Just as we narrow in on today's contest, Dean Solomon was asked about the non-negotiables at the start of his press conference during the week.
How much effort we put value on the players' roles without the ball. Like, we're really focusing on our contest and team defence. So how much we can impact the game without the ball. That's the big focus at the moment. And on the weekend was really disappointing. Felt like we didn't live to the standard we're chasing. So that's a key focus for us to do.
Dean Solomon, so he spoke about the offence not being as much of a concern. He raised the tackle numbers in which we spoke about throughout the call, but said the structure of the ground, their defensive intent and their ability to shape the game is what he's focusing on the moment as he tries to get the Bombers their second win for the season. So Daniel Hufford and Bob Murphy, the two sides warming up below us. Recent history would suggest this could be a close affair. The Bombers went down by 2 points last season when they faced off. That was in round 23, 2025. It was a 53-point win the Saints way back in 2024. So on paper, at least, this could be a little closer than what some expect.
Yeah, I think it's one of those matchups that just has a certain ring to it. We saw Carlton and Richmond last night. They're a team, or two teams that just play close games of footy. It's just the way it sort of set out. I think these two teams fall into that category as well, which is one of the reasons I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what to expect from St Kilda off the bye. I'm absolutely adamant that we'll get a better outcome from Essendon, Bob. From what we saw last week on the back of the conversations and the feedback they got in regards to their performance and how it underwent, how it went away through the afternoon. So I'm fascinated by this case, I must admit. I think the Saints, we touched on before, are in a position where they can really set themselves up for a wild card match, a wild card opportunity, and who knows what happens from there, but they've got to be beating teams that are sitting on the bottom of the ladder, haven't won one game out of the
If
last
the
20.
Saints got rolled today, that is a disaster.
Yeah, absolutely.
This footy team and club are going as bad as we've seen for a long, long time. And St Kilda think they're a good team. We still don't really know. Their good stuff is pretty good, and it's a bit of a mixed bag. So this should be like shelling peas for them, particularly on the back of what we saw last week.
So where would you use their best player, Bob? Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller with no Jack Sinclair? Would you leave him across half-back? Would you throw him all around the ground? Or is the future in the midfield, so you need him to be most damaging forward of the ball?
I'm okay with him starting at half-back because I think he gives them that drumbeat tempo, I think, and particularly under the roof here at Docklands. I like the energy that he injects into the entire ball movement and the way they play, and it affects their defensive intensity as well. But I would move him earlier. I think Ross tends to, on the recent evidence I've seen, it's later in games when the move comes. I would be in the second quarter, halfway through the second quarter, see him on the wing, see him on ball, deep forward. A bit, ironically enough, a bit like how James Hird used to play there for a while, where he would play in all parts of the ground. But I do like the idea of him getting their tempo going early from half-back.
On the SMS, 0437 half, 774 774. Hey, fellas, I'd watch Bombs Away for sure. I'm a Cats supporter, and I like James Hird. That's from Joan. I would pay good money to watch Bombs Away. Get onto it, that says David. Bombs Away would be interesting to see whether the Yes Men committee of board members dare to contradict the president. That's on 0437 774 774. Fred from Hobart says the ABC's drama on the Tasmanian Football Club has ruined a bit of the politics when it comes to behind the scenes.
Ground Up is excellent.
It is
if you
very
haven't
good.
seen it, it's very funny.
I've seen the first episode. I haven't seen the second one.
It's on my list of things to do. Reece says Bombs Away for sure. Great idea. Bob's idea, probably the only entertainment we get as Bombers fans at the moment. Love these Sunday afternoons. Great call from Oscar. Shame about the games. Yeah, we can't control that. And also without a name, so sad about where the Bombers are at the moment. They are a broken club. I do wonder who would, if it was a drama, who would play the likes of James Hird as an actor? Who would play Kevin
you want
Sheedy?
a drama? That's.
I'm just getting a little twist on your idea.
Once we get Bombs Away sorted, then we
can go to the drama.
The difficult second album. we branch out.
Nobody even likes a second album.
No.
Probably not. But
they've got a lifetime to write the first one.
The sequels
6 months to write the second.
Yeah. Outside of Police Academy 2.
Great call. Wayne's World 2, honourable mention. But
well, actually, what about the West Coast Eagles Sydney Grand Final? Hutto told me that the sequel was as good as the original.
That's true. That is true.
That's a rare one.
And if Anthony says it must be true.
Yep.
It was not a bad line from
Terminator
Hutto.
2, pretty good.
Terminator 2, good, yeah. Second album's a challenge, though.
The second album's challenge.
It is always a challenge. Bombs Away. No, I think it's a great idea, and we'll get the
Scott from Newcastle says, I'll happily pay money to prevent Bombs Away documentary from being filmed. We'll happily pay legal costs if needed as well.
That's Bob's Away.
And a few other supporters want to get involved as well with Bob Murphy's idea. Bombers said, what about a Blues Up doco, focusing on the Blues and their turnaround? So now other clubs want to get involved in your ideas. 0437 774 774. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy along the back row. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron to call all the action. The final member of our team is sitting in the front row this afternoon. Very good afternoon to you, Laura Borden.
Oh, hello, Clinch. I'm already enjoying listening to you all up in the box today. Matthew McConaughey is my pick for who'd play James Hird.
Was! That's outstanding.
He's got the hair, he's got the swagger. I just think he's perfect for the role.
Outstanding.
Meanwhile, at ground level, the air raid siren's been played out that Essendon always play before their match. They had the Legends match as well beforehand, or quite a little bit earlier. Dean Solomon didn't play in that. He was over at Windy Hill watching the VFL. But Ray Chamberlain was officiating. Our very own was out there running around and looked like he got through it unscathed. So that's good news for Ray. He's had a few calf issues in the last 12 months or so. But the toss is about to be undertaken right in the centre of Docklands, and it looks like St Kilda has won. They'll be kicking towards the Lockett end of Docklands in this first quarter. So nice conditions down here. Of course, the roof's closed. A little bit cool, but perfect conditions to be sitting here with probably a half-full Docklands stadium as it sits at the moment.
And Loz, both of these sides are tenants of Docklands, so if you turn your head left and right, it is an Essendon home game. What's the turnout in terms of a 10 out of 10 in your eyes?
Well, it's hard to tell given both clubs wear black, red and then the additional white. So, look, from walking around the concourse, there are actually quite a few Essendon supporters here, probably more than I thought. There's the air raid siren as it comes through. Bombs away as it is. Probably 20, I'm going to say 26,000 at the moment here, Clinchy.
All right, Loz, thank you very much for that. Look forward to your contribution throughout the afternoon. It's Essendon taking on St Kilda on Sunday afternoon footy.
The roof's open. There's a little patch in the centre square of light.
I think it comes through one of the doors or windows half. I've noticed that a few times when we do a day game here. I think it comes through one of the function rooms from right out the back onto the ground.
So you're open-minded about that, but the breezy pocket down there, that's just absurd, apparently. No worries. All good.
Another great day for the roof today. Glorious blue sky in Melbourne this afternoon. Let's close it up.
So the players heading out into position. The Saints look to start their
Naz on ball. He's on ball. I like this. I think this is the way to exploit the Bombers. Get on top of them early. Naz is on ball.
If St Kilda have any ambitions to feature in finals, they need to start winning this afternoon. While for the Bombers, they'd love to spoil the party and record their second win of the season and snap a 10-game losing streak.
Got players that don't know where they're supposed to be. Caminiti's whinging about where he is on the wing at the moment.
He's on the wing, gesturing that he shouldn't be in that spot. We're all in readiness. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Ben Cameron to get us underway.
So Marshall and Bryan, up they go. Bryan wins the tap down. We are underway as the ball hits the deck and Hall turns tackler on Caldwell. And we'll get another ball up in the middle. So Caminiti eventually switches with Mason Wood. He comes in to play the wing role. St Kilda are a little confused to begin. Here's Wanganeen Malera out of the middle to Wilson. Back to Naz. Steps around a man. Takes a bounce. Run down. The kick affected by the tackle. Ball jars free. Sharman gets it out. Wilson snaps the goal. What a start from St Kilda. 22 seconds into the game. And they've kicked the opening goal. Sunday footy on ABC Sport, and that was something, Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
That is just like an avalanche of ball movement and chaos and intensity from St Kilda. Gorgeous finish, beautiful goal, great start from St Kilda, but also the chase down tackle from Zach Merritt was a very, very encouraging sign. So
excellent.
Not the start the Bombers wanted on the scoreboard, but I love that defensive intent. Great chase from Merritt. When it looked like Naziah Wanganeen-Miller was going to waltz into an open goal, didn't mind it.
That's a good pickup. Spot on. That's a great sign for the Bombers. Naz on ball. It's causing grief early doors.
So Wilson with the opening goal inside 37 seconds. So back in the middle of the ground. Bryans rises early against Rowan Marshall, who then lays a good tackle on Caldwell. He didn't have possession. So the free kick will come. In fact, it is penalised holding the ball. The umpire said he did. So Marshall gets the free kick. Sends St Kilda high and long inside 50. Uprising is Caminiti, who reels in the mark. Having started on the wing, he then swapped with Mason Wood, and that's a good pack mark. And frustratingly for Mason Redmond, just too high for him to get a fist in there.
It's a long ball in. You can't have that situation where there's a big pack like that forming and someone's able to run really unopposed towards the ball like Caminiti did in that occasion. That's a concern. We're the positive for the Bombers with Merritt's run and chase, and then Redmond just lets him launch at the footy way too easily.
3 goals, 3 this season for Anthony Caminiti for the opening 2 goals of the match for the Saints. He misses to the right-hand side.
Let off.
Golden chance goes begging as he missed by a fair margin to the right as well. St Kilda 1-1-7 to Essendon yet to score. 2 minutes gone. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
He also kicked it from about 15 metres behind the man on the mark.
We've got the journey.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, but still, if it does increase your likelihood of inaccuracy as well, as
the twist of the body was the issue.
Kick out from Merritt off the hands of the pack. It comes down at ground level, and Sully Roby quickly wrapped up, a ball up.
Intense action on the field. Pretty intense in the box as well. Like it.
Bryan wins the tap down. Out after it is Durham, runs into his teammate Sharp but makes it his. Dribbles a kick out. Getting after it, Benny Mackay. He's wrapped up in a tackle. The ball comes out again to Sharp. Trying to get rid of it, he can't. Windhager picks it up for the Saints on the wing. Off to Hill, off to Garcia. He'll feed it forward to Silvani, who sweeps it to Wanganeen Malera. Middle of the ground for St Kilda. Short kick away to Wilson. Wilson kicks up towards half-forward turnover. Reid takes it back for Essendon, and they're away off half-back.
As they look to work it through, Dersma up towards Perkins on the wing. Quick hand pass away to Zach Merritt. Back to Archie Perkins. Breaks one tackle. Squeeze the kick inside 50. Right the target. Silvani makes the spoil. Kept his footing as well. Gets the hand pass back towards Brad Hill. Both he and Windhager are there. They can work it between the two of them and around Ben Mackay. Although Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller has slipped over. Gets back to his feet in the back pocket. Just chips a kick out of defence and Ryan Burns takes the mark. Not that pretty, but they got out of trouble. Burns across half back. He's changed his mind as he looked to take the kick and in the end gives the hand pass to Wanganeen-Miller, who runs the boundary line, gets away from Perkins but turns it over. Zach Merritt takes the intercepting mark for the Bombers and he is in no intent to move it quickly. Kicks into the middle of the ground now as he spots the run of Redmond. He can chip it over the top to Sharp. Inside the centre square for the Bombers. They've got a loose inside the pocket. It's Daywicks. And he marks in the right forward pocket. Better ball movement from the Bombers, even though it was a little slow.
It's a little win for the Bombers. Might be bigger than a little win. Actually, the way they defended the corridor, which has been a big question mark, they get the ball off St Kilda.
Archer Daywicks is going to open up the angle, curl it around on his left-hand side and put through the Bombers' opening goal of the match. It comes 4.5 minutes in. His 6th goal of the season and the margin back to a point after Caminiti missed at the other end. St Kilda 1-1-7 to Essendon 1-6. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, something we didn't see last week when Essendon took on North Melbourne. We didn't see North Melbourne players hesitating when they had the ball at half-back. They had so many options in the middle of the ground. And just in that piece of play, it's only a small sample size. But the St Kilda player comes off his mark, looking in the corridor. Essendon close it all up, get a turnover, and then themselves are able to run it through the corridor. Really nice bit of play. Good build-up, good structure, and good finish.
A poor turnover from Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller. He's had 5 in 5 minutes. He's on track for 120 today.
Just on these two teams, Essendon have only won 2 opening terms this year. St Kilda have only lost 2. It's the Saints who take it away out of the middle. Hall gives it off to Hill cruising by. He kicks inside 50. Liam Ryan gathers on the bounce. 50 from goal. Handball away to Garcia. Chips it into the pocket. Looking for a marker. Going up Wilson. Right there with him, Merritt. Merritt gets his knuckles on it out of play. And a throw in left forward pocket coming up here for St Kilda. They lead it by a point. 1-1 plays 1 straight. 6 in.
So I reckon that's an offensive tag from St Kilda to play Wilson on Zach Merritt, who's playing at half-back for the Dons this afternoon.
Thrown back in. Ryan and Marshall tangle. Ryan Marshall wins down the tap, but it's spiked by Durham and kicks into the middle of the ground. Good mark from Sharp. Running back with a flight. Marks in front of Brad Hill. Gets the hand pass away to Caldwell. Rules an opponent. Hand pass over the top. Here goes Roby through the centre square. Not a great kick. So Peter Wright, who is out the back, and the mark is taken by Liam O'Connell. Works the Saints out of defence and finds Cal Wilkie across half-back.
Good position by O'Connell.
Wilkie playing game 171 consecutively from debut as he kicks to the wing, and Owens stretching mark for the Saints.
How good was that movement though from the Bombers?
It was good. Going forward, direct. It was really exciting.
Owens kicks inside 50, a shallow entry, marking contest, out the back. Merritt's onto it. He's tackled, has to get it on the boot. Stays in play, wins it again, Merritt. Essendon on their back flank. Redmond away to Daywicks, who gets it off to Farrow, back to Redmond, kicks to the wing. Downfield free kick. He was dealt with Redmond.
It's a big result for the Bombers. Got some free players here.
Would have been a turnover. Silvani was able to mark it. So Wright gets the free kick on the logo. He moves it on to Caldwell. And he can switch it to Dersma, who's in space.
And they're on the break here. Looks up inside the pocket. Perkins is on his own. Spoiled away at the last minute by O'Connell. Spills out. Nate Caddy has the shot on goal and he misses everything. Slams into the left behind post. Out of bounds on the full. Jeez, he should have done better than that.
Had time.
No change to the score. St Kilda by a point.
Caddy had to call 4 left on that shot on goal. Brad Hill in the back pocket now for the Saints. They lead it by a point. His kick is very wide.
Is that a golf reference?
Mateus Filippo juggling it out. Throw in 60 around from the attacking goal for Essendon. No double denim on the course, so no good for Bob.
Trying to ostracise me out of the call now, I see.
It's on early here. I like this.
8 minutes into this game. St Kilda and Essendon. Saints by a point. Brian bringing it down. Dersma over the footy. Nowhere to go. The umpire wants it. Umpires Jankovskis, Johansson, Howarth and Morgan.
Some of my favourites.
In charge of this fixture. Neither ruck touches it. Ball hits the deck. Essendon are in there through Durham. Feeds it out to Caldwell. High kick inside 50. Marking contest. Perkins can't quite drag it down. Daywicks tackled. And a ball up, 45 out from the attacking goal. St Kilda still by a point.
So St Kilda playing 3 forwards with Caddy, Wright and Mackay. While St Kilda are clearing out their forward 50 for Liam Ryan. Thrown up on half forward for the Bombers. Brian tries to use his body to clear a path. Hall gathers for the Saints. Out past to Wanganeen Miller. Looks out to the dock side. Puts it out towards Caminiti, who reaches up and takes the mark in front of Zach Reid. Players streaming back across half forward for the Saints, so he looks inboard. Brad Hill's on the move. He takes the mark. As Winhager in the corridor ignores that, wants to be more creative. Chips it further afield to Nasiah Wanganeen Miller. Just held up in the end by Farrow. So has to push back over his mark and kick up towards half forward. Max Hall lunges forward, drop the mark, gathers 55 out, feeds the hand pass back to Ryan Byrne, chips it into the pocket and late marks, but he's hard against the boundary, 45 metres out from goal. Campbell Lake, the mid-season pickup. With the bright lopsided hair. This would take his absolute best, you would have thought.
Out of the Vortex tunnel too, as we well know on Sunday afternoon footy.
Breezy pocket. Scientifically backed.
Member of the Gold Coast Suns VFL Premiership side back in 2023. Came from Southport into the AFL. Big fly from Cooper Sharman. There's a player in Mason Redmond down. Kept alive by Wilson. He might have just been over the boundary line as he tries to get the hand pass away in the left forward pocket for St Kilda.
He's looked dangerous, Wilson.
Saints by a point half. 10 minutes gone, opening term.
Yeah, he's the one at ground level. In general play and flow play in the forward half, he's the one that's causing a bit of grief for the Bombers' defence.
Ryan and Marshall lock up. Go for a little waltz. Marshall taps it down to Filippo. Coming on 42 in the VFL. Coughs it up to Reid. He handballs it to Henry of St Kilda. Off to Wanganeen Malera. Kicks it short for Marshall. Free kick. He was infringed by Brian. And Rowan Marshall back in the familiar position as the number 1 ruck. Will go back and kick for goal.
It's 8 for Naz, just by the way.
10 minutes in, so he slowed up from 120 on track for only about 100 at the moment, half.
Which is pretty disappointing.
Gone cold.
Yeah. Pretty disappointing stuff from Naz.
Ron Marshall, I mentioned he's back in the familiar position as the primary ruck. Been spending more time forward in 2026 with Tom De Koning coming into the team. 45-degree angle, 45 metres out. The drop punt never looked like missing. Flushed it. St Kilda lead by 7 points. 2-1-13 plays 1 straight 6. We've played 11 minutes. Opening term, Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
He had the finger up there before it hit his boot, I reckon.
He knew, didn't he?
He knew. I don't think I've seen
must
an
have
earlier
kicked
finger.
10 straight from that spot before the game because he knew.
If we get a chance to see the replay, I would like to know the time between point of contact with foot of the ball and the finger being in the air. I think it's the least amount of time in the history of the game.
Couldn't have split it anymore.
Straight away.
Averaging 15.9 disposals this season half, but it'll be interesting without Tom De Koning. Now he's the number 1 ruck for a few weeks.
Yeah, I think he'll like it. That's not a long time.
quick.
We just had the replay. That's not a long time. That's not even a second before impact and finger in the air.
Under a second from Daniel Harper. Back in the middle of the ground. Brian got down the tap for the Bombers. There's a free kick for a hold. It's coming back and will go the way of Sam Durham.
0.7 Benny clock to that.
Yep.
Durham sends the Bombers inside 50. Caddy comes charging out. Wright's in the pack as well. Neither can take the mark. Caddy first onto it. It ricochets off him to Ryan Burns to the Saints. Hand pass back to Jack Silvani. To Wilkie, the co-captain, and kicks out to Filippo. He takes the mark at right half back for the Saints. They lead by 7 points. He swings the ball back inside the defensive 50. A kick that finds Cal Wilkie. Hill runs into the open space. Still in the corridor. Barely 15, but that's a creative kick. Through the middle of the ground to Stocker. Releases the run. Charging through the middle of the ground. It's taken by Winhager. The kick to half forward, and Henry in the long sleeves takes the mark. Liam Henry looks for Naz. Kick over the head of Durham, and he reels in the one-handed mark. That is a class above. I think Henry had eyes for just one player. And in the end, Nasiah Wanganeen Miller made good of it.
It's a good call, Clinchy. Liam Henry, he kicked it towards Naz, and Naz wasn't even looking at the ball yet, but they had an understanding between the two of them that Nasiah was pushing forward and he was just going to duck back around. The kick was good enough. It wasn't a great kick, but it was good enough, and Naz, well, he's better than most.
From directly in front, 40 metres out, Wanganeen Miller up for the Saints' third, and he steers it through. A career-high 44 disposals against the Western Bulldogs a few weeks ago, and he's able to strike early here with a goal alongside his 9 disposals. He is the magic man for St Kilda, and they open up a 13-point lead. 3-1-19 to the Bombers, 1 straight 6. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Not sure how he's going to get 100 if he has a rest on the bench. That's distressing for stat counters out there. But it highlights the point that Bob talked about pre-game about the Bombers defending the corridor. That kick in from Brad Hill was into a relatively sparse centre corridor and centre square area of the ground. Secured had players running into there unopposed, and that's how they got that flow to get the ball to Henry in the first place from Windhager. So that's still the area of concern on transition, defensive turnover, or offensive turnover, into defensive mode for the Bombers.
Back in the middle, Owens in the ruck for St Kilda, wins the tap down, but it ricochets away to Durham. So Essendon come away with it, out to Dersma, chips the kick for Roby, lots of it. Travaglio worries him out of it. Free kick will go to Roby, takes it quickly. Brad Hill comes up, wins it for St Kilda. Handball to Garcia on their back flank, handball to Owens. He pokes it out wide, and the mark taken by Burns. Off to Travaglio again. Handball to Filippo. Loops a handball for Hill, not his best. Hill makes it all right. Back to Filippo. Forward handball again, now Wilson. Half forward for St Kilda. Centre and kick. Liam Henry marks. 45 out directly in front, and he is looking resplendent, it must be said, in the candy cane stripes of St Kilda with the long sleeves as well. That is a picture here on this Sunday afternoon.
Well, the St Kilda jumper looks pretty good, but the Essendon chasing in that play was not great. Not great. A little homage to their performance of last week.
26-3 in the VFL to earn a recall. Liam Henry is missing left. I love the candy cane jumper, but just in the long sleeves is just a little bit on top. St Kilda by 14, quarter of an hour in.
4-1, the inside 50s. Marks taken, though, by the Saints, which would be a concern. Redmond from half-back sends it up the wing. El Hooley the target. It's spoiled out of play by Jack Silvani. And a boundary throw in. Centre wing, St Kilda by 14 points. 3-2-20. The Bombers, 1 straight 6.
Both teams are high-marking teams, Clint, just on your marks comment. It's 17-8 at the moment. Both teams are relatively high, 6th and 8th, Essendon and St Kilda in the competition for marks.
Wright and Owens into the ruck. Filippo gets a hand pass forward, a bouncing ball for Cooper Sharman. Tried to sneak the hand pass away to Wilson, got it forward to Filippo, who's held a lot of the footy. Quick hand pass to late, back to Filippo, spins out of a tackle, kicks to the goal square, right in the target, can't take the mark. Pryor just spoiled it away. McGrath gathers, gets the hand pass to Dersma, your problem. Pressure comes charging in. And Burns locks him up, only about 15 metres out from goal.
It's a bit of some worrying sign, I reckon, for the coach's box of the Bombers at the moment. Everything's going St Kilda's end.
Up it goes at full forward for St Kilda. Right backhands it down, and Parrish, no room to work. Another ball up coming.
Inside 50s are 8-7, but I reckon I must prefer being in the coach's box of the Saints at the moment, the way it's unfolding this game.
Parrish tumbles it out of there, onto it quickly. Mason Wood, he kicks back into the pocket. Ball tumbles out, throw in deep in the right forward pocket here for the Saints. Does feel like it's living at that end of the ground. Even though, as you mentioned, half the inside 50s are 8-7. It was a little misleading. St Kilda by 14 points.
Thrown in, Owens and Wright. Owen tries to work it over the bat. McGrath read it best, though. Squeeze the kick up towards the centre square. Caddy flies and takes the chest mark in front of Silvani. Players streaming towards half forward. He turns and chips it out to the wing. That's where Redmond marks. He comes in more with a kick for El Hooley. He has it between wing and half forward, trying to open up the ground. Kick looking for Perkins. Burns brings it down. They have numbers at ground level. Racing in Filippo, though. Knocks it out to Brad Hill. Slick there. Gets the hand pass away to Wilson. Kicks the Saints out to half back, and that's where Mason Wood marks.
Brad Hill's been excellent across half back. He's doing the Naz roll and doing it really well. He's providing great run, but also great support to get back and be the extra number.
Wood kicks for Wilson, who goes up and marks right on the centre line, very wide out on the city side of the ground. Still no new contract at St Kilda for Darcy Wilson.
It's a worry.
As he pokes it over the top to Mason Wood. It was less than convincing a few weeks ago when we asked him about it post-game. Wood just lifts the kick over the top to Hugo Garcia, a player certainly growing in stature.
At least they've forced them wide here, Essendon.
Garcia kicks it high and long into the pocket. Flying Owens, hands to it, doesn't take the mark. Liam Ryan goes in at ground level. Shovels out a handball, and Andy McGrath can clear for the Dons. Back beyond defensive 50. Garcia at ground level fighting for it. Silvani goes and wins it for the Saints. Out to Wood. Back to Garcia by hand. He retreats. Back to Trevally up between wing and half forward. Here for St Kilda. They're 14 points to the good.
Saints have had 82 disposals to the Bombers, 41. Trevally comes inboard to Hill. He spots up the kick to Silvani. Edge of the centre square towards half forward. Around the back, Brad Hill gets it back. Looks out onto the far side of the ground, trying to open up the defence. Big play! Dersma takes the mark. Riding on the back of Jack Higgins. Get the bow and arrow out. That was a good take. He has it inside the defensive 50, though. He looks out to the wing. Sharp's in a bit of space. Little slow getting it towards him, and Cal Wilkie comes from behind and spoils it out of play. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Malcolm's been in touch from Tassie. Half there's a display in Launceston celebrating the Hawks' 25 years in Tassie. You feature prominently in it. And plenty of support for Bombs Away, Bob Murphy's documentary inside the Bombers coaching search.
You have to start protecting this IP now.
Yeah, you might need a little copyright on that.
Yep.
Well, it's out there in the ether now.
I know.
So
I got too excited.
Anything that comes is going to be your IP.
Okay.
Luca from Adelaide.
I think you're safe.
Luca from Adelaide said Bombs Away more promising than Essendon's defensive action.
Just in the VFL earlier today as well, Essendon winning by 25 points over St Kilda in that game. So these two teams meeting in the VFL earlier. Hugh Boxall with 30 disposals for the Saints. Paddy Dow with 30. Elijah Sardis, former number 5 draft pick who can't get in the team at the moment, with 28 as well for Essendon. Henry gets it out for the Saints. Away to Hall. Gives it to Wanganeen Malera. Pokes a kick inside 50. Trying to take the mark. Caminiti follows up with a tackle a little clumsy on Caldwell. And a free kick going the way of the Don, who hangs his kick dangerously. But it finds Redmond. He can work it from the defensive square. Saints by 14.
A running bounce as he sends it up towards half-back. Sharp takes the mark between wing and half-back. A chance to try and move it quickly here. El Hooley was free, but reluctant to take that risk. Instead heads laterally. And the mark is taken by Farrow, just a couple of metres in from the boundary line. St Kilda by 14 points, 3-2-20. The Bombers 1 straight 6. Matt Lynch and Ben Cameron call the action. Lauren Borden on the boundary. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Up to half forward. Caddy in the pack. Can't take the mark. Spills out to Cox. Hand past to Parrish. Inboard to McGrath. A worm burner. Not intended for Wright, but he hugs it to his chest. As Kako was leading out, Peter Wright couldn't believe his luck as it came at him like a tracer bullet.
Look, there's some concerns for the Essendon Footy Club because St Kilda have dominated the early going in this game. They just haven't been able to get their hands on the ball, Essendon. I feel like their intensity in them and their method and structure is a lot better than it was last week. It's still not quite there, but they just can't get their hands on the ball. At the moment, St Kilda 88 disposals, St Kilda 46, but they are going more direct.
A knee injury against Fremantle. Peter Wright back up to 5 on the sideline. Strikes it from just inside 50 and likes it off the boot. A good response after St Kilda had put on the last 2 goals of the match, and St Kilda's lead is cut back to 8. 3-2-20 to the Bombers, 2 straight 12. We've ticked past 22 minutes in the opening term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport with Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
And even that phase there, Bob, they had the ball left half forward. They got outside the pressure channel. So the pressure channel is where the ball is, line to goal, maybe a 20-metre sort of corridor. And if you hack the ball through, that's where the numbers are going to be for the opposition. They got out 1 handball, 2 handballs to McGrath. It was an instep kick. It wasn't designed for Peter Wright. But because they were able to get out of the pressure, there was space to work in. And that's what I like to see. They've done it a couple of times already. Parrish to McGrath, 1 lane, another lane change.
Quick, goes forward, and you get a bit luckier.
Yep.
Game's funny like that.
Yep. And just by the way, a sub-second fist pump too from Peter Wright.
Brian wins the tap down. He follows up at ground level. Thoughts of Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford having a real ding-dong battle with your name today, Murphy.
We've officially fallen out, you and I, Benny. We need to
take a week off and I forget who you are. Ball out of the middle. Kicks deep inside 50. Pryor reaching for it, fisting it away. Free kick to Liam Ryan. 25 metres out, slightest of angles. And he was goalless last time out, Liam Ryan. Trying to avoid that fate here today. Had a very good season, 22 goals from 10 games.
Well, it was a quick one-on-one. He's the disconnected forward, they call it these days. The old bear in the square. Just stays deep all the time, Liam Ryan. And Pryor, with that one-on-one ball coming in, just felt the pressure and just wrapped the arms around, dragged him down.
It's another win for quick entries, isn't it?
Yeah.
Defenders panic, arms around, free kick.
Liam Ryan, his drop punt is right.
What's wrong?
Never looked like it.
You were both
wrong. St Kilda by 9 points, your experts. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Reid brings the Bombers back into play. Not a great kick, though. Chopped off by Winhager. Gets the hand pass away to Owens. A chance to make them pay. Hand pass a little loose for Higgins. Taken high by Parrish. And Jack Higgins, while he was losing his footing, there was no doubt he was taken above the shoulder and will get a shot on goal directly in front. 45 metres out.
Oh, I don't know. I hate that one. I hate those free
I don't like it, but it's a pretty poor and clumsy free kick. Yeah. Not a great tackle.
Not a great tackling attempt.
Is it too high?
But he did drop.
I don't think that's
It's not even a free kick, is it?
No, I don't think that's too high.
No, I'm with you on that.
So Jack Higgins a little fortunate in the eyes of Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford. Missed 4 games with a knee injury. Came back and kicked 1-1 against the Bulldogs a fortnight ago. Higgins looking to make good from 45 metres out. He doesn't miss his chance. And St Kilda offer a bit more of a buffer ahead of quarter time. It's fluctuated between sort of 1 to 2 goals, and it's currently sitting at 15 points. 4-3-27 to the Bombers, 2 straight 12. 24 and a half minutes gone opening term on Sunday footy on ABC Sport. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Bob had the idea for the documentary around the Bombers' coaching position. Bombs away, he's already got a name for it.
Yep.
Offered more of a drama, sort of similar to the Tasmania storyline, which Sam Pang's doing a great job. Kerry's in the same mindset of me. Simon Baker could easily play the role of James Hird.
Yeah, good.
Robert De Niro could play Kevin Sheedy. The Hemsworth boys could easily play James Hird.
Daniel Day-Lewis could play Archer Day-Wicks.
Because they're family, same middle names.
And Simon from Largs Bay says, I just want to see a win for the Bombers.
Brian taps it out as we're back in the middle. St Kilda by 15 points. Durham leaves it behind. Caldwell comes to clean up his mess. Gives it out to Dersma. Here is Daywicks. Kicking inside 50 and Wilkie going up. Got some high contact. Free kick to the St Kilda defender.
So Mackay staying in that forward role, which we've seen a couple of times last couple of weeks for the Bombers, as opposed to his traditional defensive post.
Wilkie big challenge, isn't it, to take on Wilkie and Mackay?
Gives it off to Wanganeen Malera. Just peeling around the back as he kicks it short to Burns. 70 out from the defensive goal for the Saints. Burns kicks around the dockside wing, up to a contest. Up they go. Garcia puts his fist into it. Sees it out of play. He's the only player in the competition, 21 and under. He's averaging 6 clearances and 5 tackles per game. Hugo Garcia.
Yeah. He's coming along nicely.
He was coined as Little Libber by David King, and I like it. Here's a little mini Libber.
St Kilda by 15 points. Brian and Marshall in a tangle. Comes down the way of Merritt. Tries to get a hand pass away to Zat Reid. Didn't take it initially cleanly. Now gave it away to his fellow ruck and roll. Marshall has a big tackle.
Good tackle.
Holding the ball in the show of strength there. And the 2 body frames. Roll Marshall wins. Gestures for someone to run into space at right half forward. In the end, that option is ignored. So goes short to Brad Hill. Sends it up the boundary line. Ryan Burns is in space. He has it between wing and half forward. Off the step, the kick to Max Hall. He marks it left half forward, but still 70 out from home.
Hey, Half.
Yes.
Who's a better player to Tom De Koning and Rowan Marshall?
It's a good question on notice. As Hall sends it into the pocket. Mitch Owen, the target. Up goes Day-Weeks and spoils it out of play. Ahead of that, Lauren Borden on the boundary.
While you're pondering the rucks, just on the boundary, Doug Goldstein could only just nod his head. He's obviously the ruck coach for Essendon, sitting on the boundary here. When Todd Marshall laid that tackle on Brian, he just nodded his head and smiled and went, yep, good job. That's all right from a ruck.
Marshall and Brian.
Oh,
Marshall
nice.
brings it down onto it quickly. Wilson, his snap is a floater. Floats through for a behind.
He's at
Kilda by 16 points.
8 possessions. No, that 9, is it now? No, 8 possessions, Darcy Wilson. All in the forward 50, effectively. Forward half. He's a real problem for them when the ball hits the deck.
What's your answer?
The answer is body of work. It's Ryan Marshall.
So that's the thing. If you're an opposition club, you're looking at this going, we'd happily take him as our number one ruck if you want to trade him at season's end.
Yep. Well, he wanted to go last year, didn't he? Down to Geelong, and they wouldn't let him go.
Absolutely. I would think.
Well, he wanted to go after the fact, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah,
they
once
brought
he
in
knew
TDK, yeah.
Perkins gets a free kick between wing and half back, sends it up towards half forward, spoiled away. To the front where Nick Cox kicks over. The bounce of O'Connell. Can't get it for St Kilda. Dersma hemmed in the back forward pocket. Tries to centre, looking for centre field. Almost juggles the mark. Now under immense pressure. Tackled and ridden into the turf. Ball spills clear. Pryor snaps towards goal. Hits the right goal post. Almost able to manufacture something out of nothing. In the end, it's a behind, and St Kilda's lead is 15 points. 28 minutes gone, opening term.
Having the same issues, Bob, with the Bombers already today. Just the 7 tackles.
Yeah. Their intensity has been better, but they just can't finish it off.
Wanganeen Malera taking the kick in, ambles to the pocket and kicks it out of bounds on the full.
He's had a couple of bad turnovers today, Naz.
Had a lot of the footy, 12 disposals, 64% kicking efficiency as Brian drives it deep to a contest. Silvani punches it away, onto it quickly. O'Connell, there is Naz again, off to Marshall. St Kilda over the D50. Off to Windhager and then to Hall. He'll kick around the boundary line, up towards Owens.
Very
good mark.
Really good mark.
Nice chest mark between wing and half forward. Saints by 15.
He only has Lake and Higgins forward of the ball in St Kilda jumpers, so keen to take some time to allow them to charge inside 50. Short to Hall, no one's on the mark, so he takes the full journey. In which metres are on offer. Goes short to Windhager into the pocket where the mark is taken by Rowan Marshall, who was looking to have an afternoon out here. Running into the right forward pocket. He marks hard against the boundary, but he definitely has the effort of Nick Bryan covered.
Well, he's too athletic, too experienced for Nick Bryan at the moment. He's moving too well. That's one thing that I probably underestimated in the last little while for Rowan Marshall. His athletic capacity and his ability to move freely. He's looking really good.
Looking like a little mini statement game from Rowan Marshall. Possibly.
Yep. It's going to be after the quarter time siren here with his shot on goal out to the right.
Breezy.
From just inside 50, Rowan Marshall comes in. It's not a bad effort.
Statement.
He's got it. Puts through his second. It is a statement indeed from Rowan Marshall. With no Tom DeConing this afternoon, he is leading the St Kilda midfield. 6 disposals. He now has 2 goals and has played a big part in St Kilda's 21-point lead at the first break. 5-4-34 to the Bombers, 2-1-13. Marshall with 2 goals, while individual goals to Wanganeen Miller and to Wilson. While for the Bombers, their goals have come through Dayweeks and Wright. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Don't forget for our South Australian listeners, still to come, Port Adelaide and North Melbourne. We'll take you there at halftime of our match here at Docklands. But for the moment, it's the Saints who lead by 21 points on ABC Sport.
Are there any winners in the cost of living crisis? What's causing the algal bloom?
Questions. They've never been more important. So the one thing we'll never question is our duty to keep asking. ABC News. Keep asking.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Here's Wanganeen Malera out of the middle to Wilson. Back to Naz. Steps around a man. Takes a bounce. Run down. The kick affected by the tackle. Ball just free. Sharman gets it out. Wilson snaps a goal. What a start from St Kilda. 22 seconds into the game, and they've kicked the opening goal.
Inside the centre square for the Bombers. They've got a loose inside the pocket. It's Dayweeks. And he marks in the right forward pocket. Better ball movement from the Bombers, even though it was a little slow. Archer Dayweeks is going to open up the angle, curl it around on his left-hand side, and put through the Bombers' opening goal of the match. Kick over the head of Durham, and he reels in the one-handed mark. That is a class above. I think Henry had eyes for just one player. And in the end, the side, Wanganeen Miller made good of it. From directly in front, 40 metres out. Wanganeen Miller up for the Saints' third. And he steers it through. Down past the Parish, inboard to McGrath. A worm burner, not intended for Wright, but he hugs it to his chest. As Kako was leading out, Peter Wright couldn't believe his luck as it came at him like a tracer bullet. A knee injury against Fremantle. Peter Wright back up to 5 on the sideline. Strikes it from just inside 50 and likes it off the boot. A good response after St Kilda had put on the last 2 goals of the match.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
When Peter Wright kicked that goal, the margin was 8 points the way of the Saints, but they finished with the last 2 goals of the quarter. 5-4-34 to Essendon, 2-1-13. Rowan Marshall with 2 goals as the only multiple goal kicker in the match. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron called the action. Lauren Borden's down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Well, we asked the question before the game of could Essendon play with a more solid structure and a lifted intensity. And the way I saw it half was they actually did play with a better defensive structure. I liked the way they looked forward when they moved the ball. And they looked more dangerous. But unfortunately, they're still not quite there. They're getting closer, but it's such a low bar. And St Kilda were too good. They owned the ball. The Bombers just weren't able to win themselves enough of the footy. That was the real tale of the first quarter. St Kilda were able to win the ball too often, and they are using the ball pretty well. And they've got some dangerous forwards. They've got Naz, who's running an absolute right. Rowan Marshall is causing major headaches. So I like the adjustments that the Bombers made, but they just aren't able to get their hands on the ball enough, and they still have a problem in finishing off the defensive work. So this week there is a bit of structure there and their intensity is better, but if you don't get to 100% defensive pressure, they'll get through you, and that's what St Kilda are doing at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not as glowing in my praise of their defensive system, the Bombers. Individuals have made some efforts, I think, but from what the numbers tell me on the back of that first quarter, and just watching it in real time, there's still a hell of a lot of work to do. They're minus 46 for uncontested possessions. Minus 46. So they had 37. So more than double. St Kilda had 83 uncontested possessions, plus 13 uncontested marks. I just think it's too easy to move the ball against the Bombers. Offensively, I think you're right. I love what they did. They were more direct. They came back through the corridor. They changed lanes. They had speed on the ball. Fantastic. And as you said, they couldn't get enough hands on the footy to make that damaging on the scoreboard. But they're just too easy to hold possession against. And that number there, uncontested possession, 37 to 83. I don't think I've ever seen a differential like that in a quarter footy. So that is a real concern. I know the Saints like to throw it around a bit, so that can distort the numbers at times. But and we looked at each other at one stage when
the bar is that
when
low.
They transition.
The bar is that low that it was like. Well, at least they're sort of forcing them wide. But you're right.
Yeah.
They're still not that interested in closing them down. You can actually get the ball back off them, and they just don't seem to have that absolute hunger to spoil it or intercept it themselves.
Yeah, or shape to a degree. I just think they were totally outplayed. They look good a couple of times when they move the ball, but they just can't get the ball back. And if they're going to get beaten at clearance, which is what happened in their first term, only by 10 to 8 in favour of the Saints, and they're going to lose territory and they're going to lose the battle. And it could be a pizzling. This could be a pizzling. If this continues this way, this will be a large margin. So hopefully Dean Solomon can rally him and get it back on track in the second term to make us fairly entertained in this back three quarters.
So what does that tell you? The gap between 18th and 14th is significant, or the Saints are a bit better than where they are at the moment?
Well, Saints aren't 14th. The Saints should be a 9th, 10th team minimum, in my view.
They look so much more confident against this sort of opponent, don't they?
Yeah. Well, they can smell a kill.
Yeah.
The Saints are good at smelling a kill.
You compare that with the Bulldogs a fortnight ago, and they're different sides, but yeah.
I reckon they're a great sniffer of a kill, the Saints. I reckon Ross loves a kill too.
0437 774 774 is the SMS number. Bob and Half. I feel like 10 of these Bombers team members would not get a game for another club. What's your thoughts? That's from Simon.
Well, I can tell you, Simon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them laid a tackle in their first quarter.
It's not enough.
That means there's 18 that didn't.
Spot on.
To do the math.
So just on who's getting a game, well, let's start with getting a tackle before we get a game anywhere else. 5 of them for a total of 7 for the quarter.
St Kilda by 21 points as we get the second quarter underway. Nick Bryan rises up and wins down the opening tap. Hall tries to get it out to Filippo, and here goes Naz. Nasiah Wanganeen-Miller out of the centre square. Bullet pass as he finds Mitch Owen. He has it at left half forward. Gives it back to Naz around the back. Hand pass to his good mate Winhager from 52. He unloads with a long ball towards the goal square. Rising in front. It's spoiled away by Nick Cox, and the ball goes out of play in the right forward pocket for St Kilda.
They're a bit Naz-centric at the moment.
Aren't they? 15 disposals for him in St Kilda's 117 disposals to Essendon's 65.
Last time we saw St Kilda, he started like this as well. He did slow up later in the game. Marshall tapping it down. Ryan coming through. Can't gather it cleanly. McGrath can, but not before Adom was caught holding the ball. Setterfield was set upon, and he was pinged.
Yeah, tried to step out of it. Got pinged, dropped the ball. It's a free kick.
They've had good intensity in their forward 50 today, St Kilda. There's been a few forward 50 tackles, none better than that. We talked about Essendon's lack of tackling pressure inside forward 50. They're ranked last. Well, St Kilda are ranked third last. So they're no world beaters either, but they've been good today.
Caminiti and Liam Ryan were around the spot, but Caminiti charged with completing the effective tackle as he comes in, 20 out, slight angle, kicks this one. Missed one earlier on in the game. Second time lucky. And St Kilda open up a 27-point lead. 90 seconds into the second term. 6-4-40 plays, 2-1-13. Bob Murphy, the 300-gamer, and Daniel Harford, the former Hawke.
How are you going? Can you get anyone's name right today?
I'm having a real issue. A real issue with you two.
I feel like we're not far away from B1, B2, B3.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're our commentary team today, and Loz B4.
We're soon to be going into the documentary game, so it's all okay back here. Bombs away, coming to your screen near you soon.
In about 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Shane was also in touch on the SMS 0437774774. If your documentary goes as well as your singing, Bob, I'm sure it's going to be a big success. For those that missed it on the ABC Melbourne socials.
See, I can't tell if that text is sarcastic or not.
I think I'd take it on face value. It's a compliment. Free kick in the middle of the ground, going the Bombers' way. Advantage taken by Parrish. Sends it inside 50.
Well done.
O'Connell. Liam O'Connell showed great courage to stand in the hole, knowing that the pressure was coming, and the Irishman, if he wasn't paid the mark, would have had a free kick.
Well done to Caddy too.
Yeah.
That's his domain.
Savani received the kick. It wasn't 15, so works it to Stocker across half back to Windhager. Got a shove as he kicked up the wing from Kako.
Yeah, that's a free kick. It's pretty consistent, that one, these days.
Like the intensity of the Isaac Kako chase.
So 3 players haven't had a touch yet, Bob. Kako, Setterfield and Ben Mackay, as Naz is tangling with, is that Day Wicks, and Brad Hill chips it up to Wood. So the tangling taking place. Wood's taking the mark. He thinks it's 50. Umpire says it's going to come back.
It's got to be close to 50, doesn't it?
I think it is.
Well, by the letter of the law off the ball, there used to be that one that if you present the run of a player
that's right,
trying to get involved, that's a 50-metre penalty. So now Brad Hill is getting that territory, and the umpire stops 15 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle.
Well, the melee could be back.
Well, it's here we go. There's a little something going on.
Well, Marshall involved, Andy McGrath as well, and Brad Hill has the ball in hand.
Solomon wind him up at quarter time half.
I hope so.
Last 3 goals of the match, the way of the Saints, now make that 4. As Brad Hill pokes through his first of the afternoon. And the Saints are capitalising. 8 goals for him for the season. He's having a great season, Brad Hill. Averaged 19 disposals last season, up to 22.3 this season. Only his years in Fremantle 2017 and 2019 have been better in his individual career. St Kilda 7-4-60 at 7-4-46 to the Bombers 2-1-13. This is starting to get out of control for the Bombers.
So we're just seeing the replay of Day Wicks holding Naz off the ball and dragging him to the ground. I don't know how Brad Hill's got that ball.
Well, he had the ball in his hands
when it happened.
When it happened. Right.
So as a result, the downfield free kick is.
So he
before he kicked us at Mason Wood. It's a bit of a
that's what threw me off. Yep.
Mystery in terms of how it ended up with Brad Hill. I'm with you, half.
So he's just grabbed him and tackled him to the ground. Naz was involved. Obviously, he threw a bit around too, but he got the free kick. It's a free kick every day of the week.
Kicked 6 of the last 7 goals in the game. Now St Kilda. It's looking like a little bit of a procession out of the middle. Wanganeen Malera kicks up to half forward off the hands of the pack. Durham's there. Handball for Essendon away to Merritt. He gets it on to Setterfield, who gets it out wide to Sardell Hooley. Stopping, propping, kicking to the wing. Durham,
well done.
Brave. Stocker bumped him, and he didn't like it, Durham, either. Went back and stared him down and then chiselled the kick away to Bryan. He'll get it back, Durham. Handball away to Parrish. Parrish kicks out to wide half forward. Right, taken by Dersma. Essendon building up. He gets rid of it to Reid. Kicks inside 50. Low down Marshall for St Kilda. Tackle, just gets a kick away. Wilkie comes in and picks it up. He's wrapped up, ball up. 40 out from the attacking goal for the Saints.
Yeah, a little kick on it. Little kick.
Yeah. Sorry, the Dons attacking goal. St Kilda by 33 points.
Thrown up. Bryan tries to get a little toe poke against Marshall. It might work. Durham in the right forward pocket. This would be spectacular. It's across the face of goal. Misses everything in the end. Cal Wilkie underneath the high ball. Couldn't get a touch to it. In the end, it goes out on the full. No, it just squeezed in from behind. So a 32-point lead the way of the Saints. 6 minutes into the second quarter on ABC Sport.
He's having a crack, Durham, as you'd expect. He's that sort of competitor.
Always does. Bradley Hill closing in on 300 games, 293 as of today. Kicks to the wing and Sharman goes up to mark. Comes infield with the kick for Hall. Releases Windhager with the handball. Bouncing ball inside 50. Higgins gathers off to Owens. Left foot snap from 45. Brilliant.
That is good.
Owens, the Saints. They're marching. 8-4-52 plays 2-2-14. St Kilda by 38 points. 6.5 minutes into the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
It's all a bit too easy at the moment, as we have become accustomed to seeing, and it's the corridor again. The Bombers just unable to shut down that 45-degree kick into the middle of the ground, and once the Saints get that momentum, it's all their way. And Owens, that's a high-class left-foot snap.
Is it ever? From 47 metres.
Yep, did it.
Running across goal.
With ease.
That is a beauty. Is there any danger of someone paying attention to Max Hall at the moment?
Yep.
Any chance of anyone taking responsibility for him? He's at 11.
That's a competition call, though.
Yeah. No, that's true.
And given a hall pass.
Oh, nice. Benny's back.
Yeah, you're back. It's good to have you.
Quarter time. Couple of oranges.
Thanks for coming.
Ryan one down the tap, but Marshall roved it. Kicks up towards half forward. Ridley gathers for the Bombers. Hand pass to centre field to Farrow. Back inside defensive 50. Pryor fed it all the way back to the defensive line. Daywick has to clear. Up towards the effort of Ridley. No mark claim. Spills out. Here's Caminiti. Gets a hand pass away to Mason Wood. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Liam Ryan leading out. Can't take the mark. Cruel bounce for Ridley. Now the challenge with Pryor. He's tackled and brought down by Ryan and Wanganeen Millero, and a ball up 15 metres out from St Kilda's goal. They lead by 38 points. 8 minutes gone. Second quarter on ABC Sport.
Last 5 goals of the game. Ball bobbling around. Garcia applying the tackle, so another ball up, right forward pocket for St Kilda.
So Daywick's given the job on Naz now to shut him out. So Naz just gone to the square. He's just gone forward. You can do that when you've got this lead already.
Marshall hacks it out of the air, bounces towards full forward, and Naz just knocks it through Wanganeen Malera.
And I'd back him against Daywicks in a one-on-one in a bit of space forward 50.
St Kilda by 39 points, 8 minutes into the second term.
Ball back into play. As Ridley sends it long up towards half-back. It clears the pack and Ben Mackay. Perkins gathers for the Bombers. Hand pass back to Dersmer and now to Zach Merritt. Cuts back on his left-hand side, a 360 as he goes backwards. And Zach Merritt takes the mark. It's the Bombers' home game, so the fans are starting to get a bit frustrated. Not by just the fact that the last 5 goals have gone the way of the Saints, but their intent to try and score. Into the middle of the ground, it's balled away from Durham. Lake knocks it forward. In the end, it's taken by Caminiti. Chips it to Liam Ryan, who rises and marks in the left forward pocket. He's just inside 50, but he's right up against the boundary. He's a little worse for wear as well after copping Ridley. Well, he just sort of got him around the midriff as he landed a little awkwardly. Naz leads into the pocket. He wants to try and share it with him. But Dersmer was awake to that. He gets back and takes the intercepting mark in the right back pocket for the Bombers. St Kilda by 39 points. 9 minutes gone, second quarter.
Dersmer just waits a kick for Reid. Look out. Ryan comes and spoils it. Ball hits the deck. Wilson out after it. Forward pocket here for St Kilda. Getting involved though, Reid works it out with Daywicks, though he coughs it up. Burns takes it back for the Saints. Tackled. Umpire Johansson comes charging in to ball it up. Left forward flank for the Saints, attacking the Coventry end in this term. Marshall taps it down. Wilson close to the boundary line. Off to Hall. Forward handball through the hands of Garcia. Goes and gets it. Spins in the tackle. Out towards Caminiti. Swivel, snaps, misses. Everything out of bounds on the full. Saints by 39. 10 minutes into this second term. Essendon's last goal, 21 minutes into the first.
Few forwards who are starting to get hungry for St Kilda. Want to get their chance. Short pass to Ridley.
Bombs
takes it in the back pocket.
27 disposals. Unfortunately, 20 of those are in the back half.
Ridley got it from Pryor. Now Farrow sends it out to El Hooley, who flies in the pack over the top of Mason Wood. Spills out. Hand pass to centre field. Chopped off. Brad Hill can't take a possession. Solomon Roby works it back by hand. Farrow feeds it back to Reid. Tries to link it over the top to McGrath. Missed him on the bounce now. Hill lays the tackle. McGrath gets a hand pass out to Farrow. At left half back to Perkins. Back to Reid. Chip kick to Reid, who now slips over but hadn't moved off his mark. So get back to his feet and short to Sam Durham.
Much ado about nothing here for the Bombers. They're making hard work of not going anywhere.
We've started to see them going a long way back again.
Yep. Goes right back to fullback and Reid, who exits to Ridley. Ridley 51 metres out from his defensive goal. Stabs it short, wide out. Dersmer takes it, kicks around the boundary line, and Wilson gets in front of Bryant to break it up. Now to play for a throw-in on the wing.
St Kilda are dominating, but even just within that little bit of a play, that domination, I feel like, may have just gone to a new level because now their defensive setup is forcing the Bombers backwards and really slow, and we've seen what happens when they get in that mode.
Brian and Marshall. Brian brings it down. Garcia overruns it. Going in, Sardell Hooley gets it out for Essendon. Merritt diving handball. Dersman tackled. Ball's got him wrapped up, and another ball up just forward of the logo. City side of the ground, St Kilda by 39 points.
Thrown up. Marshall and Brian. Brian got the tap. Garcia over around the footy. Burns down low. Hand pass to Hall. Brad Hill looks up. He sends it inside the defensive 50 where Hasty running back. Gets his first touch. Now Kako kept moving on mark, so it will be a 50.
Yeah, Brad Hill got clubbed after he kicked the ball.
Right, so that's what it's for.
That's what it's for, yeah.
So Hasty will get his first touch of the game, leading Ben Mackay and Kako as the only two players on the field not to get a disposal. Going short to Burns, who looks up wide, inside 50. Flying the pack was Cooper Sharman. He can't get a run at it. Pryor takes the mark in the right back pocket for the Bombers. St Kilda by 39 points, 8-5-53. It's the Bombers 2-2-14. Off hands it goes out of play, trying to work it to Xavier Dersma. And Sharman sees it out of play.
It's largely uninspiring at the moment, this game.
Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford alongside Self Ben Cameron, Matt Clinch as Ryan Marshall brings it down. Lauren Borden on the boundary. Garcia able to crumb it, but tackled quickly. We'll do it again.
Are we just feeling Essendon lose hope at this point?
Yep.
Marshall lays it down. Wangani Malera coming through. In goes Burns.
Well, they're making it tougher. So credit to them to a degree. They're making it a bit harder for St Kilda, even just the raw numbers. They've had 44 disposals to St Kilda's 38. Now, most of those are back half disposals where the ball's been. But at least they've stopped St Kilda just steamrolling them at the moment.
St Kilda with the ball again, and a handball from Burns away towards Hall. He's tackled by Dersman. Another ball up wide out. Lauren Borden.
It is a little bit of just a dull murmur in the crowd. There's not been much to cheer about. Plus, all the play's been on the outer side of the ground. So everyone that started on the bench at the start of the second term is still on the bench. Mason Redmond's trying to keep warm as we're 13 minutes in.
Thanks, Laws. Here's Henry for St Kilda. Inside forward 50. It clears Wood. Caminiti curls it on his right boot and puts through his second. Oh, dear. All of a sudden, that's the last 6 goals of the match, the way of St Kilda. It's out to 45 points. 4 unanswered goals in this second quarter. 9-5-59 to the Bombers, 2-2-14. Caminiti couldn't believe his luck as it clean bowled everyone and just sat up beautifully for him. Sometimes it can be your day.
Another clearance win there from the Saints. Caminiti just right spot at the right time. He ran boundary side of his opponent towards the contest. Just got lucky. But when you have most of the ball in your area, you have a chance to get lucky at some stage.
45-point lead.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's too early in the game. So Naz is still playing, he was playing full forwards. Where's he going now?
St Kilda did have that massive 101-point win over the West Coast Eagles back in round 7, so they can beat up on some of the lesser sides in the comp.
Good spell.
Durham fighting for it in the middle. Coming through Wilson. He loses it. Essendon back with it through Durham again. Out to Parrish. Kicks laterally. Looking wide. Trying to get it to Perkins. And doing well. Mason Wood punches it away. Goes and wins it. St Kilda back with the ball. Off to Travalia. To Hill, who's been busy today. To Wilson. He's been good as well. Lots of the Saints have. Back to Wood. Right on the centre line. Chisels a kick looking for Filippo. Can't mark. Hill mops it up. Kicks inside 50. Higgins is there. He marks. Outpoints McGrath, and he takes it 47 out, slight angle right of centre.
Oh, there's alarm bells screaming here. I was worried for Andy McGrath in the first quarter. He had the match-up on Liam Ryan. Yeah. It wasn't exposed. I didn't think it was the right match-up. Now he's got Jack Higgins, the other number 1, and that was a pretty feeble one-on-one contest from Andy McGrath there.
Going at 2 goals a game in 2026, Jack Higgins has kicked it. I'm not sure he hit it flush.
I munged it.
But you don't have to draw pictures. And he bowls the delivery. to celebrate as well, Jack Higgins.
It was an in-swinger. It was an in-swinger out of the hand.
And the rout is on. St Kilda by 51 points, 16 minutes into the second term. 10-5-65 plays 2-2-14. He bowled a right arm in-swinger, but I immediately thought of Wazim Akram or Mitchell Stark. They would have been happy with that action, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Not quite the pace or the...
Jimmy Anderson sort of...
Yep.
Yeah, I'm thinking Terry Alderman.
Terry.
I know he's an outswing bowler, but...
He's a big listener to ABC. He might be listening
Who,
too.
Terry?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Oh, I
love Terry Alderman. He's 41 wickets.
Yep.
In that, was it 89, was it?
Yep.
89 series?
One of the great men, Terry.
Oh, he was fantastic. I love Terry Alderman.
Ended up on Graham Gooch's voicemail.
That's right.
Mitch Owens lost his footing as he competed in the ruck. Hand pass comes from Parrish to Merritt, sends the Bombers up towards half forward. Trevally in front. It's spoiled down the way of Caddy. Hand pass into the middle of the ground for Parrish. Elected against the hand pass to Caldwell. Kicks up towards half forward in front. Good mark.
He's got no answers for
Mitch Owens takes the mark.
No answers forward to the footy at the moment. The Bombers.
It's a 51-point lead the way of St Kilda. Brad Hill getting a lot of the footy as he gathers from half back. Gets the hand pass out to Burns on the wing. And Hasty tries to knock it clear. He's tackled and locked up by Sharp. Gives us a chance to go down to Lauren Borden on the boundary.
The Zai Wanganeen Miller is getting up now. He's just getting a fair bit of work done on his left hip. A bit of attention from the physio there. And he's stretching it out at the moment. A little bit sore, but he looks all right to go back on.
Thanks, Loz. 9-2 the inside 50s the way of the Saints in this second quarter. As Caminiti receives the kick up towards half forward from Ryan Burns. Feeds the hand pass back. Burns gets involved again once more up towards half forward. Farrow makes the spoil. Gets it away for the Bombers at half-back, although only as far as Mitch Owens, whose hand-pass inboard to Caminiti. Tackled and dropped the footy. Not rewarded as Zach Merritt laid the tackle, and the loose hand-pass goes out wide of Caminiti.
So here's a job for Isaac Kako. He hasn't touched the footy today.
Lasso free kick as well, half to the Bombers through Sharp at half-back.
So Brad Hill...
And just had the 4 last week.
Yeah, just had the 4
young player making his way.
Yeah, and got some feedback on some of his efforts too, which are fair enough from what I saw. Brad Hill's at 18 and is causing absolute havoc. How about we send Isaac Kako onto Brad Hill and teach him how to run? And just take him out. Just take his world out of his own head. You know, don't worry about how many kicks he's getting.
He might blow him up in 10 minutes, though.
Do your best. Keep trying.
Well, what a great lesson to what you need to be. What a great lesson. Let's go and spend some time on him.
That's how hard you can run, yeah.
He's running out towards Bradley
just
Hill.
come off the bench and Hill's all on his own.
Harford.
There we go.
Harford.
There
He's
we
going right
go.
for Brad Hill.
Give him the whiteboard.
Coach of the year 2019.
Yep. Can't argue with that.
Throw in at half forward.
Oh, and now Bradley Hill's gone off.
See, Ross Lyon's
flat as a tack.
Ross Lyon's scared.
Yep. Little win. Mini win.
Pocket, looking for Ryan. Can't take the mark. Out the back. Late coming through and out of play. Throw in.
That's a win for us.
I think Xavier Dersman's going to be pulled off shortly. So Mason Wood came in with a spoil over the top a few moments ago, and the doctor's just circling at the moment to get to Dersman. So I think he'll be pulled off for a concussion assessment shortly.
He was sore. I thought it might have been a shoulder injury, but possibly his head hitting the turf as well, Loz.
Wonder if they'll stop the game. We saw this with Lockie Neal back on Thursday night. For the moment, the ARC hasn't got involved, which is when the umpires are told they have to stop the game and the player is taken from the field. From the throw-up, Garcia trying to knock it away. Parrish on the bottom of the pack. It's about 35, 40 metres out from the Saints' goal. We'll have another stoppage. St Kilda by 51 points. 5 goals to 1 behind in this second quarter. After they led by 21 points, St Kilda at quarter time. From the stoppage, Farrow comes in, lays the tackle. And at the very bottom of the pack, Mitch Owens slowly gets to his feet. And he'll compete in the ruck once more against Peter Wright. The 2 tangle. Wright comfortably wins down the tap. Parrish gets on the end of it. Sends a spiralling ball in the middle of the ground. Cal Wilkie's loose at the back of the pack. He couldn't gather. A whistle from the non-officiating umpire. Free kick going the way of Nate Caddy, who is held by Jack Silvani. You hear the Bronx cheers from the Bombers fans. Not a lot to cheer about at the moment.
No, St Kilda by 51 as Caddy moves it out wide. That's 51, 20 minutes into the second term. Kick out wide for Merritt, who does a little pirouette, kicks around Henry. Mackay launching at it, brings it down, but O'Connell's there for St Kilda. Handball to Filippo, handball to Garcia. He's tackled down immediately by Roby. And then we'll get a ball up as Parrish comes in, ends up with the footy, tackled by O'Connell. So just thought of the logo here for the Saints. Top side of the ground.
10-2 inside 50s this quarter in favour of the Saints.
5 goals to zip in the second term as well, half in the last 7 of the game. As Hall moves it on to Filippo, to Marshall. Back to Hall. St Kilda going forward again.
Yuck.
Mongrel punt up towards half forward. Bouncing ball for Pryor. taps it around Cooper Sharman and then gathers it and kicks Essendon back to the wing. Up they go. Bryan through his hands, comes down for Wanganeen Malira, and St Kilda go forward again.
And past to Hall, who cuts on his right, kicks up inside 50. St Kilda have numbers. Cooper Sharman had it spoiled away from him. Lands straight in the lap of Naz, who fires towards goal. It's offline. And it's gathered just in the back pocket by Will Setterfield. Can chip it up to Sharp, who's charging forward into the right back pocket. Has enough time to gather it after a loose bounce. Around O'Connell, sends it up towards Mason Redmond, who was impeded by Lake, and will get a free kick at right half back. St Kilda by 51 points. They booted the last 5 goals of the match in this second quarter. And as Daniel Harford may mention of, 11-2, the inside 50s. That's a shocking kick. Redmond turns it straight over to Henry. You can't defend that. He waltzes inside 50, gets the 30 out, and easy as you like, puts through another goal for St Kilda. In the long sleeves, he had all the time in the world to think about sharing it. In the end, decided to go himself. And that's 6 goals in this second quarter. They have booted the last 8 goals in the match. 11-5, 71 to the Bombers, 2-2-14. And Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, that's as close to a training run as you'll see. And Mason Redmond's fellow defenders come to console him.
No, he's just kicked the ground. It's just a horrible moment for any player to have, let alone a defensive player in that area of the ground. I'll tell you what I hated. I hated Jack Higgins. As Liam Henry was steaming through the arc, Jack Higgins was 10 metres ahead of him, calling for the ball. There's no one in front of Liam Henry. He's calling for the ball because he wanted to kick the goal. That annoys me. Let the kid have his moment. You can be the one to go and put a block on and let him make it easy for himself. Get the wings out, as we call for around here. That annoys me from Jack Higgins. He's better than that.
And they're out of the middle against St Kilda. This is just ugly for Essendon at the moment. Travalia, a little 1-2 with Hall. Hall grubbers a kick around the wing, and Wanganeen Malira is brought down by Daywicks. Wanganeen Malira flicks out a handball quickly to Hall. He'll kick inside 50. Sharman in from the side, a run and jump. Hands to it there, Redmond. Not paid the mark. Comes out to Higgins. Here's his moment. Snapping on goal, hitting the woodwork.
Karma.
Can't argue with that.
58 points, St Kilda's lead.
58 points.
23 minutes into the second term.
Goodness me.
How much of a dent might this see to Dean Solomon's ambitions half?
Well, we talked about this last week. There wasn't a lot like last week either.
Here's a chance for them to score. Sharp gets it forward to Sullivan Roby inside 50. Bryan's there wrestling with Cal Wilkie. He's got 3 in the end. He beats all 3 of them.
He's beat 3 of them.
Ryan Burns. And the hand pass comes to Travalia. Saints out of defence. Kicks towards Wanganeen Millera, who rises in front of Daywicks and keeps running. Daywicks lost his footing. Chips it inboard to Hasty. Hand pass to Filippo. Looks into the middle of the ground. Elects against that. Pierces a kick inside 50 and Higgins marks.
He beat 3 of them.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Cal
Wilkie. He beat 3 of them and only one of the 3 chased.
Yep.
That's not great.
Mark asked the question on the SMS, what number consecutive game is that for Cal Wilkie? That is game 171, chasing Jack Crisp, who played his 278th yesterday against the Gold Coast Suns.
And he's chasing Jared Crouch, who played 194 consecutive from debut. So that's what Wilkie's done.
Higgins is going to give this one off and does to Brad Hill. He's out to the right.
He's further out.
A worse
got
angle.
the message.
To 2 metres
from
further
the previous
well, I hope so.
one with Liam Henry. Now they're getting unselfish.
Oh, the Saints
Brad
are
Hill gives it off to Max Hall. And leads into space, and it's almost an indictment given the numbers that are inside the forward 50 for the Saints, that they're able to find an option 15 metres closer to goal, and Max Hall.
Well, there's a refusal, flat-out refusal to go anywhere near Hill and Hall.
Yep.
You've got H and 2 double L's in 2 L's in your name. You're just not on the board.
Big day for the H's and L's.
Goodness me.
Ian Healy get a kick out there today.
Marshall, he's got H and L's.
The last 8 goals of the match have gone the way of St Kilda. Max Hall looking to make it 9. He fires it at the left goal post and curls it back for another. He joins the list of goal kickers now for St Kilda. And they have put on 12 goals in the opening half. 12-6-78 to the Bombers, 2-2-14. 7 goals to 1 behind in this second quarter. This margin is getting wide. 25 minutes gone in the second quarter. And yes, some of the supporters are getting a bit frustrated. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport.
Well, they're entitled to, and you can put that down to Cal Wilkie's excellence. Cal Wilkie's excellence down back with 1 on 3. It was an amazing win. Then Naz got busy on the wing. There's a call from the commentary box next to us. Can they sack an interim coach? Good afternoon to Tony Shaw, by the way. he's holding up pieces of paper with messages.
There's lots to be troubled about, but they actually tried for about 35 minutes, and it's just stopped. Like the balloon has been popped.
Highest scoring second term of the year for St Kilda, and they go forward out of the middle again. Hall flicks it out to Garcia, runs to 50, steps around a couple, runs a long way, fires on goal, and he's got it.
Oh, God, seriously.
You can make it 8 goals to zip in their second term. It's a procession.
It's a pizzling. That's the word I used before, and it's going to be ever-present this afternoon.
St Kilda by 70. 13-6-84, plays 2-2-14. 26 minutes into the second term.
Well, that was way too easy. Garcia gets the ball out of the stoppage and is just allowed to run through. All the players get drawn to the honeypot, steps around Brian, has a bounce, steps around another defender trying to cut him off. It's Cox, I think it was. Just too easy, and just rolls it from 50. Goodness me. Goodness gracious me.
I'm sure there's a poem, Bob, when all hope is lost, but I'm not sure what it is at the moment. St Kilda by 70 points for Bombers fans. You might think at halftime, I've seen enough. 8 goals to 1 behind in this second quarter. Marshall wins down the tap against Bryan. Running onto it. Naz can't get it. Garcia trying to knock it back. Durham gets it for the Bombers. Hand pass to Parrish.
50. It's going to be 50.
A 50-metre penalty because it was a free kick St Kilda's way.
Yep.
And
Silly.
the ball was kicked away.
So that even like that's...
I don't think advantage is for the Bombers. They just don't know how to use it. They either take it when they should take it back, or they take them when it's actually not their kick. Just put that one in the kit bag for a little while.
Yeah, let's just stop when the whistle goes.
Yeah.
Eh?
So Day Wicks gave away
with that.
the free kick, and then Parrish kicked it away, which results in 50. Garcia is going to give it around the back to Nazai Wangani Milera, who dances around the man on the mark, Sullivan Roby, and drives a shot on goal, and he misses to the left-hand side. A 71-point lead the way of the Saints. 28 minutes gone. Second quarter, Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
I don't know how Bob's going to do votes today. I don't know how that's going to work.
A pre-halftime hand pass.
Well, it's his turn. It's rotation policy.
As Merritt brings the ball back in for the Bombers to Farrow. He has it in the back pocket and can work it to Pryor.
On the positive, I feel like today's game, it could be the start of the Bombs away doco, just for Atmos.
Bob's going to cut in, you know, when they use radio grabs as part of documentaries, like his own commentary. As Pryor goes short to the back pocket, gets it on to Nick Cox, who kicks long up towards the wing. Merritt wins it at ground level, turns it over with the handball. Saints back with it. O'Connell, his handball into the mark. Merritt takes that. Dons with some go forward now. Down to Roby, to Kako, inside 50. Lateral kick, trying to get it to Dersma, one-on-one. Overshoots him, allows inward of the Saints. Now Brian gets involved, feeds it out. Parrish dumps it on the boot, floats it on target, misses. To the left-hand side. St Kilda still by 70 points.
70?
And it's still a goalless term for the Dons. It is 8 goals to zip in this term and 10 goals consecutively for St Kilda.
The only positive is we had a game yesterday which had a similar sort of margin at half-time, and after that it was 90-odd. And then the Hawks got rolling and kicked 12 in a row, so maybe there's some excitement still to come.
It's a big maybe, but I'm prepared
approach
to give it a chance.
I've got to hang on to it at the moment. I've just got to, for my own sanity.
17-4, the inside 50s, the way of St Kilda in this second quarter. So kicked 8 goals from 17 inside 50s. This kick is a turnover. Peter Wright gathers. Hand pass away to Roby. Gets the hand pass to Durham. Kako runs towards the goal square. Links it up over the top. And Caddy from point-blank range puts through the Bombers' first goal of the second quarter. Their first since the 22-minute mark of the opening term. And breaks the run of 8, 9, 10 consecutive goals the way of St Kilda. Need both hands for that. St Kilda 13-7-85 to the Bombers 3-3-21. Gives them something to try and build on, but they are a long way back, trailing by 64 points.
Well, their defensive efforts, as we've spoken about, we're trying to come up with new ways to talk about how underwhelming it is. But on that particular occasion, it was Durham who closes the last metre. They're not bad at getting within a metre, but it's the last metre that's probably the most important one, and they just don't get close enough often enough. And on that case, it was Durham that was able to get in that 1 metre space, make the spoil, and then the whole thing opens up, and Isaac Kako had the vision and unselfish heart to give it off.
Bryan and Marshall in the middle, neither decisive, and at ground level wrapped up Parrish. He'll get back to his feet.
Talked a quarter time about clearance numbers. It's 14-5 in this second term in favour of St Kilda.
Bryan taps it down. Parrish dispossessed of it. Garcia cuts a swathe through them.
Good boy.
Now he'll feed the handball out to Hill. Downfield
run too far.
Is it? No, he's travelled.
I like this back in the game, travel.
He only got it towards the front edge of the bullseye, I thought, and he's only about 12 metres away from that.
It's 25 metres halfway, so that's close enough.
I thought he got it in front of the bullseye.
Yeah.
St Kilda by 64 points.
18 metres he ran.
I don't think he did.
I'm telling you, he did.
Reid cleans up for the Dons and he kicks around the wing.
John, Bob and I to leave. You two can sort this out. It was close against the boundary line. Eventually it does go across and Kilda 13-7-85 to the Bombers 3-3-21. The margin is 64 points after St Kilda got out by 70 points. Saints looking to win big here and keep their hopes of featuring in finals alive. Marshall in front position against Bryan. Free kick going the way of Rowan Marshall for a hold. He'll take it between wing and half back. There was a question that came through on the SMS from WA that whether one of the WA clubs, most notably the West Coast Eagles, who desperately need a ruck, could offer draft picks for someone like Rowan Marshall. A kick up towards half forward. Zach Reid has given away the free kick. It's going the way of Mitch Owens.
Benny's our WA expert.
I think the Eagles are
Sometimes
pretty happy with
proud.
what Bailey Williams is giving them.
He's going beautifully.
Yeah.
Bailey Williams at the moment. But a little bit of support wouldn't be bad.
Owens to Garcia, to Brad Hill, not 15, so gives it back to Garcia. El Hooley offers a chase, and the kick intended for Liam Ryan is chopped off by Cooper Sharman. In fact, Max Hall. Max Hall takes the mark in the left forward pocket.
This is going to be possession number 14 for the quarter for Max. 2 clearances, 3 inside 50s, 5 tackles, thanks, and a goal. Just on tackle watch, just by the way, while we're there. 17 for the Bombers this quarter.
So Hall has a goal in his second quarter. He's one of 10 individual goal kickers for the Saints so far in this match. This will take his best from just inside 50. It's across the face of goal, won't have the distance. Bryan rises and scores it through for a minor score. So 65 points is the St Kilda lead. Get Donny on the SMS 0437 774 774. If Rowan Marshall is an A-grader, I don't know why the West Coast Eagles potentially don't chase him. Thanks for your thoughts.
Great. Donny from Spearwood.
Where's Spearwood?
Sort of near Fremantle.
It is.
Near Bob's neck of the woods.
Yep, about 15 minutes inland. Spearwood.
Short kick in to Farrow, who looks long to the wing for the Dons. And
is that how we talk? Is it minutes inland?
Yep.
In WA?
Yep, that's, everyone wants to live close to the ocean, close to the coast. That's why it's the longest sort of
most spread out capital city in the world.
Yep, everyone wants to live close
or
to
maybe second in the top 2.
Close to the Indian Ocean.
Like the Bombers today, they're in the top 2 on the field.
St Kilda by 65 points at the half, 13-8, 86 plays 3-3-21. St Kilda kicking 10 goals unanswered. Either side of quarter time did get out to a lead as big as 71.64, as I said at the main break. Multiple goal kickers, Higgins with 2, Marshall with 2, Caminiti with a couple as well. Singles to Hall, Garcia, Wilson, Owens, Hill, Wanganeen Malera, and then for Essendon, just the 3 individual goal kickers, Nate Caddy, Peter Wright, and Archer Day Wicks. 13-8, 86, plays 3-3-21.
St Kilda having led by 21 points at quarter time, now lead by 65. Bob Murphy's thoughts on the opening half. A dominant display by the Saints. The Bombers have a lot of questions to be asked.
Well, it was one of the most casual, dominant displays that you're likely to see in modern footy here under the roof at Docklands. Essendon, after giving what you might call about 35 minutes of effort. They were being beaten by a better team for that first 35 minutes, but they actually looked connected. They looked like they were invested and were trying to defend and wanted to move the ball forward. And then like a balloon being popped, it all just came to a crushing halt, and it was all one-way traffic. They played soulless footy. St Kilda were able to absolutely do as they pleased. They had a mix of goal kickers. They had a mix of options. Essendon, they don't tackle. They don't seem that interested in closing that defensive gap, closing that last metre. You can have an opponent and you can set up defensively, but if you don't close the last metre, opposition sides will just walk their way through you the entire journey, and that's exactly what's happened. So big questions being asked. A whole bunch of frustrated Essendon supporters, and rightly so, because in a week where they're under a fair bit of pressure, there's a lot of eyes and spotlight on them whether they would just bring effort, and they haven't after 35 minutes. And St Kilda have casually put 10 goals on them, and this could be an absolute massacre here at Docklands.
We'll elaborate on that shortly. Our South Australian audience, you're off to the Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide are taking on North Melbourne. Don't forget that game is available on ABC. Listen if you want to tune in. For everyone else, we're off to the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Federal opposition frontbencher Dan Tehan says the Liberals are not entertaining the idea of forming a coalition with One Nation. Mr Tehan has responded to questions about the prospect of joining forces with the right-wing party following a surge in its popularity and the Liberal Party's record low polling. He says the Liberals will only remain in an existing coalition with the Nationals.
We're not entertaining, we're not discussing, we're not thinking about being part of a coalition with One Nation.
China's Defence Ministry says the Chinese and Russian navies will hold joint exercises later this month in the waters and airspace off the Chinese city of Qingdao, south of the capital, Beijing. It says the annual drills are aimed at jointly addressing security challenges and maintaining regional peace and stability. The ministry says following the exercises, some of the forces from both sides will conduct joint patrols in the Pacific Ocean. Adelaide's Venezuelan community is coming together today to raise funds for earthquake relief. Two powerful quakes of 7.5 and 7.2 magnitude struck the South American nation last week. Venezuelan authorities say the death toll stands at 2,954. Organiser Yamani Chivadate says the fundraiser at La Bomba Dance Studio will be a chance for the Venezuelan community to come together in the wake of the disaster.
We just have to do what we always do, support each other and try to do something for our people back there, try to help them as much as we can. There's a lot of people that have been affected in a really, really deep way.
The statue of a former AFL player has been removed in Perth following his conviction for assault. Andrew Hanlon has the story.
The statue of Nicky Winmar, which has stood in front of Perth Stadium since 2019, was lifted by a crane with a team of about half a dozen people shortly before 7 o'clock this morning. The bronze statue was erected as a monument against racism, depicting the moment the Noongar man raised his football jumper and pointed to his skin in response to racist abuse from Collingwood fans during a match in 1993. On Friday, Winmar was found guilty of 3 counts of unlawful assault and common law assault over an attack on a woman in northern Victoria last year. WA Premier Roger Cook called for Venues West to remove the statue, saying violence against women is never acceptable. The statue will be placed into storage while its future is considered.
Police are ramping up their search for a missing woman whose car has been found at a beach in Melbourne southeast. Fraser Fife has more.
Concerns are growing for the welfare of missing Dandenong woman Yun, also known as Michelle, after police located her parked vehicle with her phone inside at the Parkdale Foreshore car park on Friday night. Her family in China last heard from her on Tuesday and say her disappearance is out of character. Police say CCTV footage shows Yun parked her car in the car park on the corner of Renison Street and Beach Road and was seen walking towards the beach at 5:45 p.m. on Friday. Police and the Australian Volunteer Coast Guard conducted a large-scale search of the foreshore and ocean yesterday. Today, SES volunteers will assist with a line search near the car park.
The New York City skyline has lit up with fireworks as the United States celebrates 250 years of independence. A number of events across the country have been cancelled because of heatwave conditions, with temperatures over 38 degrees Celsius or 100 degrees Fahrenheit in some areas. Thunderstorms also prompted a roughly 2-hour evacuation of the National Mall in Washington, where President Donald Trump was due to speak later. Staying in the United States, where France has ground out a tough 1-0 win over Paraguay in their round of 16 match at Soccer's World Cup. Amanda Schlala reports from Philadelphia Stadium.
Paraguay frustrated France, sitting deep in defence and limiting any quality shots on goal. Les Bleus finally got the breakthrough they were looking for when they were awarded a second-half penalty, and captain Kylian Mbappe sent them through to the quarter-finals. They'll face Morocco next after the African champions' 3-0 win over Canada in Houston.
Denmark's Jonas Vingegaard has claimed the leader's yellow jersey after the opening stage of cycling's Tour de France. The two-time Tour winner finished the 19.6 kilometre team time trial course in 21 minutes and 47 seconds, 8 seconds ahead of Italy's Filippo Ganna. Defending champion Tadej Pogacar rounded out the top three. Michael Matthews was the best-placed Australian, finishing 51 seconds off the lead in 16th place. ABC News.
Comedy, music and tricky clues.
Because Spicks and Specs is back. More music than a comedy night, more comedy than a concert, and enough trivia to impress your co-workers for weeks.
New Spicks and Specs. Back Wednesday, July 8 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Bouncing ball inside 50, Higgins gathers, off to Owens, left foot snap from 45. Brilliant.
That is good.
Owens, the Saints, they're marching.
Shocking kick. Brendan turns it straight over to Henry. You can't defend that. He waltzes inside 50, gets the 30 out, and easy as you like, puts through another goal for St Kilda.
They go forward out of the middle again. Hall flicks it out to Garcia, runs to 50, steps around a couple, runs a long way, fires on goal, and he's got it.
Oh, God. Seriously.
He can make it 8 goals to zip in the second term. It's a procession.
This kick is a turnover. Peter Wright gathers. Hand pass away to Roby. Gets the hand pass to Durham. Kako runs towards the goal square. Links it up over the top. And Caddy from point-blank range puts through the Bombers' first goal of the second quarter. Their first since the 22-minute mark of the opening term. And breaks the run of 8, 9, 10 consecutive goals the way of St Kilda. Need both hands for that.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
It was unfortunately that sort of quarter. If you're a St Kilda fan, you loved it. 8 goals to 1. They led by 21 points at quarter time. They now lead by 65 points at half time. Well, for Bombers fans, it's more painful viewing. 13-8-86, the Saints to Essendon, 3-3-21. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden's down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy are your experts. Don't forget there's plenty of sport on offer. There's the ABC AFL Daily Podcast with Ben Cameron and Daniel Harford for your commute to work tomorrow. But before that, there is Australia featuring in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup Finals. So if you can't sleep tonight, coverage from Lords, Australia taking on England from 5 past midnight Australian Eastern Standard Time on Sunday morning. So Australia playing in their first ICC Women's Final in 1,225 days. They currently don't hold any of the World Cup titles after losing in the semi-finals of the T20 2024 World Cup and the 2025 One Day International World Cup. So both Australia and England are unbeaten throughout this campaign. So good luck to our Aussie girls, Harp and Bob.
No doubt we'll be all over that. Although it is a little bit late for a Sunday night.
It is a little, but
Sunday night's a bad night for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Elise Perry is going to play.
Oh, good.
But, might not bowl, so she might be in as a specialist batter. So coverage on ABC Listen tonight. Just look for the dedicated cricket button and you'll be able to tune in to the Women's T20 World Cup Final between Australia and England. Plenty of other sport taking place as well. We're on the countdown to State of Origin, which is on Wednesday night. The best call team in the land will bring it to you. Andrew Moore alongside Luke Lewis and Johnny Gibbs. Today's action features the Parramatta Eels, who have defeated the Manly Seagulls 23 points to 14. This is round 18 action of the NRL. The match taking place at the moment is the Newcastle Knights taking on the Dolphins. 26 minutes in, and it's the Knights who lead 6 points to 0. If you want to listen to that as well, it's available on ABC Listen, as you can toggle between the various sports, and that's on the ABC Sport button. The AFL is on the AFL button, and if you want to tune in to the pre-game for the Port Adelaide match later on this afternoon, that is also available on ABC Listen. Just look for the AFL Extra button, and you can not miss a minute of the action of the various games. It's great on a Saturday when there's so much sport taking place, as you can jump between the two. So Port Adelaide and North Melbourne, the last stop in round 17. As we look at the pressure factor, St Kilda 183, Essendon 164. Daniel Harford, Bob Murphy. Is there a number in which would be damning to Dean Solomon in terms of his aspirations to be the full-time Essendon coach beyond this season?
Yeah, the halftime score.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry about the pressure number. It's the halftime score.
No, but I mean like a margin. So 65 points at the moment. Let's say they lose by 120. Would that be enough to say, geez, it's going to be hard to get the job if you're losing by over 100 points?
Yeah, well, yes. In my view, in short, yes.
Harder.
I think it'd be impossible.
You think?
Yeah. Impossible. I know there's...
I feel like
lots
he's not
of
getting
play.
it now.
There's been... and we discussed this last week and even on the podcast. There hasn't been enough stabilisation or change or growth in a very short period of time. I know it's only a short period of time. But caretaker coaches of the past have shown a capacity to change things to a degree. Now, whether or not they were going to be good enough long term or whatever doesn't really matter. That there hasn't seemed to have been any real change of substance from Dean Solomon's reign at the Bombers at the moment. And then you get results like we saw last week and the way they played, and then you see this and you think, well, where is it going? What is actually happening there? Where is the difference?
Well, they got away with a 14-point loss last week, didn't they? And they're not getting away with it this week. It's not a lot of difference in the output.
Yeah.
So they're playing soulless footy. Soulless footy.
He said that last week, and it's exactly right. Exactly right. So it's a huge challenge, and I don't think enhances his prospects any one iota, as my mum would say.
Would you imagine Andrew Welsh would have any conversations with the players about what type of coach they would want, or do you feel like they'll make that decision regardless of any external? Yeah, this current playing group.
I wouldn't be asking.
I don't think they've earned much weight. They might be asked, they might be spoken to, but I don't think this playing group, their view on what they think they need, would be given a whole heap of weight. Could be wrong about that, but...
I don't think that's fair. You've got to earn the right to have those conversations, to be in those conversations in the first place. And there's some great experienced players out as part of this squad. There's not a heap, though. You go through the list, there's not too many that you want to be finding out too much about their inner thoughts of what the future should look like from an Essendon perspective. I mean, your best one, your most experienced one, wants out.
Well, that's the question, isn't it? If this continues, they've won one of their last 28 games, that might become one of their last 29 by this afternoon.
You probably safely assume that today.
Yep. Well, as you said, strange things happen in Launceston. They didn't get the win in the end, Hawthorn, even though they kicked 12 consecutive goals. But, I mean, yeah, it makes it harder to sort of, apart from the fact they have a contract, make that case that players should stand and stay if they're basically going to have to concede they're in a rebuild phase.
Yeah, look, there was, in terms of just on what happened on the field there in that second term, I was fairly concerned about what happened in the first quarter with minus 46 uncontested possessions. They kept St Kilda from 83 to 66 of uncontested possessions in the second term, and they're only 5 off. They had 61 themselves. So there was some growth there. They got smacked in contested ball, which was one of the problems. Uncontested marks, they shut out St Kilda there from 28 to 21. They had 20 themselves, so they shut from 13 to 1, the differential. So they showed a little bit of growth there. They got smacked at clearance, centre clearance, 16-5, 6-3, inside 50s 18-5. They did have 17 tackles. They won the tackle count for the quarter. So in terms of effort and capacity to compete to a degree, they showed some life. Now the scoreboard suggested a very different scenario where St Kilda kicked the first 8 of the quarter and absolutely put the game to bed. So there's some worries there. But what I don't know what Dean Solomon's trying to measure. I don't know where he goes. We were having a bit of fun through half-time, the break, Bob, about old-school half-time coach sayings.
Yeah, if this was 40 years ago...
Yeah, what have you got for us?
Well, if this was 40 years ago, what would have been some of the options on the menu for arresting this lacklustre, soulless footy?
On the whiteboard, or would it just be delivered by the coach?
Oh, there's no whiteboard.
Oh, no, this is not a think tank of like, let's get your thoughts. It's like, no, I don't.
You show it to me in the second half, or you can show it to me on Tuesday night at training.
There's that. There's the forward threat, but we're just one-on-one.
Yeah,
we are just one-on-one.
Yep.
The umpire gets the ball from us. So there's a pack. We give the ball back to the umpire. When you run off the ground, you sprint.
I think that's a free kick now if you were to wrench it from the player. And
don't care, Ben.
There will be no other player with the ball because we will have the ball.
We would have it.
This is us. No water. You're not getting any water.
There's no hands on your knees. There is no need for a player on the field to have their hands on their knees. That's out. Stand up straight.
There's a legendary story in WA football about East Perth and West Perth. So the Perth Derby, as they'd call it out west, where West Perth had hammered East Perth on the Saturday, and the teams and the players used to recover on Sunday, so they'd train. And apparently in their civvies, I don't know who the coach was at East Perth at the time, but has made them walk from their ground at Perth Oval over to Leederville, where West Perth were based, in the pouring rain. So they're in their jeans and shirts or whatever, and he made them stand out in the middle of Leederville Oval and shout at the grandstand, "We hate West Perth, we hate West Perth, we hate West Perth." What they didn't realise is that West Perth were doing their Sunday training and we're sitting in the grandstand watching them the whole time yell it all out. Finished that and they had to walk back home as well in the rain and finish off their Sunday training session. So that was their day.
And some people think people in footy are a simple bunch. We'll give you Exhibit A there. Right there. This is highly sophisticated stuff.
That was in the 80s, I reckon.
40 years ago, and we're going the knuckle now. Let's see if we can win something. Let's start a fight. Let's see if we can win something. That's 40 years ago. That's what would happen. Now we don't want that, Clint. No. That's not what we're after. But 40 years ago, if we're going back that far, that's what would have happened in a performance like this.
What I would offer up, because I feel like, look, last week was worse than this in some ways. It was absolutely rudderless. That's how bad Essendon are going at the moment. They're getting closer to their opponents, but I would implore Essendon players today, when St Kilda have got the ball and you're defending an opposition player, imagine that they're in a hula hoop. So when the ball goes to them, you've got to get in the hula hoop with them, because at the moment they're not even anywhere near. They're a couple of metres away. So I'm covering dangerous space and I'm defending. So but they just keep working their way through us. You've got to get in the hula hoop with them and make a contest, bring the ball to ground, and maybe put them on their backside. They're nowhere near the hula hoop.
No, they're in the circus tent, just on the edges of the circus tent, but they're nowhere near the hula hoop. I'd love to see, their preparedness to get the ball back. I talked about this last week too. Your capacity to get the ball back is what makes you a team, I reckon, and the appetite or their capability structurally, or even just an intent perspective. That's the thing that disappoints me most. They just don't know how to get the ball back. Don't want to know how to get the ball back. Because you're going to not have the ball. Like, that's the game. You're going to lose the ball a lot. You're going to turn the ball over, all that sort of stuff. But your intent and your structural capacity to get it back, that's what makes a team. And this is not, what we're seeing here is not the foundation of a team that's going forward anymore.
There's no excitement, is there, to defend? No. They dread it. Oh, do I have to do this again?
Yep.
And it's infectious. It goes through the whole list.
St Kilda by 65 points as the players head back out in position. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Kevin asks, as an interim coach ever been sacked? Ross Lyon's top scorer in 19 seasons as coach is 24-13-157. The Saints are on track to break that today. That's from John.
Just on some numbers around it, this is St Kilda's biggest lead at half-time since 2017 against Richmond. So round 16 in 2017 when they led by 82 points in that instance.
And Fran asked, how would Brad Scott feel watching this? Would it make any difference if he continued on till the end of the season? I think those what-ifs are impossible to answer at the moment, but I don't think it would be much better.
Do you know what the incredible thing about that game is? That was obviously Richmond's premiership year. They were whacked here in round 16 by St Kilda.
St Kilda by 65 points as the second half gets underway. Sullivan Roby drives it inside 50. The mark is dropped by Nate Caddy. That was a golden opportunity to start promisingly. It's locked up with Darcy Parish. Jack Silvani comes over the top and O'Connell as well. So right forward pocket for the Bombers. Inside 50. Brian wins down the tap. Sharked though by Mason Wood. Kicks up towards half-back. Ridley's in the pack. Off hands. It's taken by Mitch Owens. And a free kick going the Bombers' way. Ridley was impeded.
Ridley looks inside 50. Wilkie comes across. Puts his fist through it. Knocks it away. Wanganeen Malera tracking it. The ball scoots out. Almost accelerated that ball as it tumbled end over end. Saints by 65 points. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Umpire unfurls. Marshall and Brian, they lock up. Brian from the back brings it to the front. Parish scrapping after the football, mining for it. Merritt's got a bit of it, so too Max Hall. Beautiful feature during the week on Max Hall on the AFL website. Goes back up to a cattle farm in Yea after every game to unwind. Receives it here. He's dispossessed in the tackle. Sullivan Roby picks it up. Essendon ball to Merritt to Caldwell. Kick inside 50. Very wide out. Too wide. Out of bounds on the full. St Kilda ball, and Nasiah Wanganeen Malira is about to have disposal number 25 in this game.
Chris from Blackburn North on the SMS. Essendon are losing in the same way Fitzroy used to lose back in the 90s. I think people forget what that was like.
We spoke about that pre-game.
Wanganeen Malira goes back to Cal Wilkie. Chips it to Windhager. Still inside the defensive 50. Not a lot of pressure as O'Connell's all on his own. He runs outside the defensive 50. Drives it up towards the wing. Burns spoils it down, got it away. The hand pass to Cooper Sharman, to Higgins, back to Sharman, gets around. Perkins drives it inside 50. It's over the head of Mitch Owens, and Ridley goes out of play in the right forward pocket.
West Coast had a couple of years there where, towards the back end of Adam Simpson, it was even worse than this is for Essendon now. There was a year where West Coast percentage threatened to be worse than I think Fitzroy in their final couple of years at one point.
Thrown back in, Brian wins down the tap. Inside the forward 50 for the Saints. Marshall goes tumbling in, stuck underneath him and a couple of others with Hugo Garcia there. The player on the very bottom of the pack is Will Setterfield. St Kilda by 65 points, opening 3 minutes of the third quarter.
Marshall bringing it down, Roby onto it for the Dons, gives it off to Ridley by hand, clearing kick. Through the hands of Silvani on the wing, goes back and wins it for the Saints, tackled by Mackay. Umpire says play on, and eventually has to cross himself to ball it up.
Roby on ball, like we saw in the last quarter last week. I like that. He's gone to Naz around the contest.
Marshall wins the tap, but Roby gathers it off the Merritt to Parrish. Tackled by Hall, taken down. Umpire wants it.
Great lesson for Roby. This is good. This is what we're trying to do. This is why I'm so strong on Kako doing a roll on Brad Hill when he gets on the ground, starting off the ground for this third quarter.
Brian wins down the tap against Marshall.
Teach these kids.
Roby was stripped of it. Hand pass comes forward to Caldwell, and here's the run. Farrow through the middle of the ground. Looks up. Caddy on the lead in the pocket. The kick is wide. He'll get there first in front of Silvani. Dodging and weaving. Runs boundary side, then cuts back inboard. They're still dancing. Caddy took him on one too many times, and Silvani wins the battle. O'Connell gets the hand pass away to Windhager, who kicks up the wing, and Mitch Owens takes the mark for St Kilda.
Owens happy to go into the slow play. He'll eventually kick it to Wilkie on that right back flank. Wilkie goes back inside defensive 50, back to Hasty. Nice pick up on the half volley, but no real pressure around him, so he just goes for a little run. Beyond the defensive arc, waits the kick out wide, and Wood accepts it. Here comes infield to Windhager on the logo. Windhager sends the Saints inside 50. Marking contest. Caminiti flies at it, doesn't take the mark. At ground level, McGrath there for the Dons. Coughs it up by hand. Back with the Saints through Sharman. To Hill. To Wood. Beautiful kick. That was exquisite. Like a tracer bullet to Wilson. He marks 40 out, as good as directly in front.
Yeah, the switch got the Bombers. The back half switch really did find them wanting, being able to defend the outside of the ground. They weren't able to do it, and the Saints were able to mark the ball down. In the end, it was a contest at ground level. At half forward, they had the extra numbers, worked it back and got the ball inside to Wilson, but it was the switch that's opened up the defensive structure of the Bombers.
Kicked the first goal of the game 22 seconds into it. In for the first of the second half. Wilson's drop punt is perfect. St Kilda pick up where they left off. And that lead is back out to an equal game high 71 points. 14-8-92 plays 3-3-21. 5 minutes played. Second half, Bob Murphy, the 300 gamer, and Daniel Harford, the former Hawk and Blue.
When you talked about coaching the netball under 18s, and you mentioned the mercy
reluctantly.
Yes. Mentioned the mercy rule.
Should take us to finals. Yes. Yeah, mercy rule.
Are you having
I'm starting to waver. I'm just wavering ever so slightly. Not as adamant as I was pre-game. We're a long way from home in this one. There's not a heap of fizz in it.
There is zero fizz. This is the flattest bottle of soda pop you've seen. It's a 3-day-old bottle in the fridge.
But this is an old, proud footy club that at the moment is just a shell of itself.
It's a great summation from Bob Murphy. Marshall wins down the tap for the Saints. Durham still trying hard. Gets a hand pass out to McGrath, ridden into the turf by Darcy Wilson. Hand pass from Nick Cox to Sharp across half back. Durham on the left-hand side. Kicks inboard to the Rutland. Bryan gets the hand pass to the runner Redmond. This is better. Leading out. Caddy marks on his chest. Essendon's best passage of play of the match. And Nate Caddy leading out from full forward. Marks in front of Jack Silvani. And all of a sudden they had a bit of momentum in how they moved the footy.
But this hasn't necessarily been their issue, in my view.
I don't know. They haven't looked like that too many times.
No, that's true. But they've attacked better. They've been a better attacking team when they've had possession.
They've made an adjustment from last week where they are going forward. They just haven't had many opportunities.
Yep.
6 disposals for Nate Caddy, looking for his second goal of the match from just inside 50. It's out to the left. Through for a minor score. 7 minutes gone. Third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. The Saints leading by 70 points. Here's Ben Cameron on ABC Sport.
Nate Caddy including his goal today on an 18-game goal streak. As Brad Hill brings it back in. Away to Stocker, who kicks St Kilda up to the wing. Mason Wood, a run and jump, hands to it. Brings it down. Merritt there for Essendon. Handball back into space. Onto it, Redmond. Back feeds a handball to Farrow, who kicks laterally to Dersma. He flicks out the handball quickly to Merritt. High half forward for Essendon. Looks deep. Caddy's down there. Run and jump at it. Can't quite get to it. Punched away by Windhager. Caldwell goes in. His handball knocked away. St Kilda in possession. They work it out through Wanganeen Malira to his great mate Windhager. He kicks up to the wing and Caminiti marks. Saints by 70. Early stages of the second half.
Marshall wants it at half forward. Caminiti draws his opponent. Hand pass to Wood. Got it to late. Tackled and reeled in by Mason Redmond. Hand pass goes over the boundary line, so it'll be a lasso free kick. And the Bombers will get it back at right half back. St Kilda by 70 points. Farrow across half back to Zach Merritt. Position number 19 coming up for him, leading Bomber on the ground. Loose hand pass to Farrow as he gathers. Wanganeen Miller, as Benny said, leads the way with 26 and Hall with 24. Hill 23 for the Saints. Kicks across half back. The mark is taken by Setterfield. As at left half back. But laterally the Bombers are no closer to goal. So Setterfield just high and long down the line in the direction of Caddy. In the pack, Ben Mackay as well. Silvani claims he's juggled the mark and the umpire agrees. Takes it at right half back for the Saints.
Silvani goes back into the D50 and finds Wilkie, who moves it towards the dock side of the ground. Wanganeen Malira cuts back infield, waits a kick beautifully for Filippo.
Henry's all by himself in the arc.
Coming off 42 in the VFL last week, Filippo. Handball away to Windhager, who comes out to Hill on the logo. Back out wide for Wood. Wood just forward of the interchange gates. Saints have led by 71 a couple of times. They lead by 70 at the moment. Wood lifts the kick around the boundary line for Hall. 2 kicks from home. Max Hall will set it up in the Marshall direction towards the hot spot. Up he goes off the hands of the pack, out the back. Setterfield to Farrow. Not enough pressure to rush it, so he keeps it in for Essendon. Off to El Hooley, off to Merritt. Twisting, turning, a little bereft sack. He'll kick beyond the defensive 50 to Dersma. A neat kick.
St Kilda by 70 points. Xavier Dersma pushes back behind his mark. He stepped off his line, so call to play on. Mason Wood doesn't run at him, so he just drives the kick up to Nate Gaddy. 2-on-1. Cal Wilkie in from the side takes the mark. Warren Borden on the boundary.
It looks like Archer Daywicks for the Bombers has hurt his right hamstring. He's still hobbling around in the centre of the field, but he's clutching the right hamstring, can barely walk.
Oh, yeah, just spotted him, Loz. Good vision from you. Cal Wilkie sends it up towards half forward. Mason Wood in front takes the mark. Immediately releases the hand pass to Hall. Hemmed in by Farrow. Hand pass over his head. Wanganeen Miller, a hand passes around the boundary line. Through the arms back, he was held. Mason Redmond gives away the free kick, and Naz will have it at left half forward. He's still 2 kicks out from goal, though. Here's Liam Ryan. I feel like he might try and take a specky today. Hasn't kicked a goal so far. The Saints have 10 individual goal kickers. He tries to get cute. Wanganeen Miller with a kick to the pocket. Never got to Ryan. Dersma's hand pass. Got it out to Redmond. Kick is partially smothered. Sharp tries to knock it on. Brad Hill, slick. Hand pass to Filippo. Into the middle of the ground. Windhager wants the centre. He's got some loose players on their own. It's Stocker who takes the mark.
Stocker looks deep into the pocket. There's a Saint all on his own. And it's Cooper Sharman. He was creeping around the boundary line like he was hiding from the Essendon defenders. And he takes the mark 5 metres in, right forward pocket, 30 metres out.
He did a good job there. He worked from this side of the goals to around open side, just on the boundary. I just said sneaky around like he didn't want anyone to see him.
Sharman on the left foot snap, misses narrow. Minor score, St Kilda again for a 3rd time. Lead by that game high margin of 71 points, Lauren Borden.
Archer Daywicks has just hobbled his way to the boundary, so holding kind of his right hamstring at the moment, or the side of his leg. So he's come off and just chatting to the physio at the moment.
Thanks, Loz. Reid quickly into Perkins. Looks up towards half forward. Ben Mackay's got a couple of metres on Stocker. Surely that was front on contact.
Yep.
And Mackay will get a free kick at left half forward. Position number 2 coming up for him, playing as a forward this afternoon. He chips it inboard. That's not 15 to Caldwell. It is paid 15 though. It's a bit of luck there. He has it at left half forward, 60 out from home. Sends the Bombers into the pocket. Caddy caught behind against Silvani. Wilkie gets backed off support. They've had their number, the St Kilda defenders, this afternoon. That kick a little loose, looking for Wood. Opens the door for Dersma, gathers, hand pass to Kako, sidesteps an opponent, tries to get a hand pass to Caddy, who volleys through the goal. Oh, that was ugly, but they do finish with a goal. Nate Caddy with his second. He had to volley it from about 2 metres out after the decision to hand pass from Kako was unselfish, but a little careless. And the Bombers finally have their first goal of the third quarter after it had been 9 of the last 11 goals in the match the way of St Kilda. The Saints by 65 points, 14-9-93 to the Bombers, 4-4-28. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport.
Not so many times Cal Wilkie makes a blue coming out of defensive area for the Saints, but just a bad kick. Awareness was pretty good by Dersman to stay watching. He was the first one to react to get that ball to Kako, who obviously got it onto to Caddy. He looks a bit lost at the moment too, Isaac, how he's approaching this game, but stayed in the contest, which is good. That's a good sign. And we know Nate Caddy's a bit of a talent, so that was a nice little piece of work.
Lauren Borden.
Archer Daywicks is okay. He's just copped a corky below his right hip, so he's obviously been spending a lot of time standing next to Nazai Wanganeen Miller and Max Hall. So he showed spirit at least for the Bombers, but a corky for just below his right hip.
Mackay wins the tap, but Garcia there for St Kilda gives it to Wood, to Hasty, kicks forward to the wing. Wilson brave, and he's paid the mark. Filippo tries to play on. He can't play on from a mark, so it'll have to come back.
That's a good late body spoil there from Redmond. Take the ball to ground, take the body, slows the game up, gives his teammates a chance to set up.
He's having a crack, Redmond.
Wilson shorts it away to Bradley Hill. Gives it back to Wilson. Look out. Steps around Caddy.
Well done,
knocks
Caddy.
it out of Wilson's hands. Falls to Stocker, who kicks to full forward, and Pryor's there. He marks at fullback. Got engaged a couple of weeks ago. Jackson Pryor. I like the caption from his partner who put up the Instagram post and said, I guess I always had a prior engagement.
Nice.
Ah, terrific stuff.
St Kilda by 65 points.
Setterfield up the wing, spots Peter Wright. He's got 2 players across half forward. He wants to give the hand pass away to Durham, trying to advance it quickly on the bounce to Caddy. Can't take it. And the moment's lost. Brad Hill slaps it towards the boundary line. He's trying to claim it came off Caddy's boot. Umpire says throw it in.
Still one thing that now they're better again today, so we'll support the progress, Bob. But still one thing they defer to is just to stop and retreat at times. The Bombers when they can move the ball forward.
St Kilda 14-9-93 to the Bombers 4-4-28. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Wright wins down the tap to Parrish. Tries to chip a kick inside 50 over Kako. It's here. Travalia right there with him. Charging onto it. Perkins for the Bombers. Hand pass looking for Kako. He's stationary. Travalia lays the tackle. Hand pass to turnover. Wilkie takes it back for the Saints. To Mason Wood. Chips it into the back pocket, and that's where Darcy Wilson can take it back with a bit more time and space in the left back pocket.
And a bit of it today, Darcy Wilson. Disposal number 15 coming up. Contract status interesting. Out of contract. Been linked with a move away from St Kilda. Kicks to Mason Wood, who just takes off with it. Tight-roping the boundary line as he runs along it. Kicks up towards Liam Ryan. He can't mark. Sardell Hooley gathers for Essendon on their back flank to Reid, to McGrath. Back inside defensive 50 now. Right goes back to McGrath, who kicks across the goal mouth. He's able to find Ridley. The left back pocket. Saints by 65. Quarter of an hour into the third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Farrow has it across half back. Darcy Wilson's name's been linked with big money at North Melbourne. Would that be where you think he'd be having success, Half?
Well, definition of success is interesting, but he's a better chance there. Maybe? I don't know. Good question.
I think the dollars might be...
If you're getting double your money, you probably don't
part of the motivation, if that's what's being reported as accurate. Sullivan Roby slipped over, and the ball is just inside the boundary line. It's between wing and half forward for the Saints. They lead by 65 points.
I have said this before. If they lose him, it's a list management disaster.
Yep. After acquiring so many free agents in the off-season, sharp for the Bombers up the wing. Ben Mackay can't really in the one-handed mark. Spills away at Perkins. Big tackle laid by Cal Wilkie. Garcia gathers. Hand pass to Burns. Hand pass to Filippo. Has to retreat back. Gets the hand pass back to Burns. And now Travalia. They're giving up ground as Wilkie gathers now. Looks to switch into the middle of the ground. And Mason Wood, who covers the wing so well, races back to provide a loose outlet.
He shorts it away to Bradley Hill. He thumps it out towards the city wing. Trevalia's in space. He can release Hugo Garcia. He's off and running. Cuts infield, Hugo. Now he kicks inside 50. Flying Ryan has a run and jump. But Sato Holley stays down and blocks it somehow. Essendon ball again in their defensive 50.
They've been better, the Bombers, this quarter.
Off to McGrath, off the right to Ridley. Handball errant. Wilson swoops on it. Half forward for the Saints. Kicks inside 50. Over hits it. There to try and clean up is Dersma, but he's worried out of it momentarily by Caminiti, who's desperate for the football. The umpire will come and ball it up. Saints by 65.
I reckon Ross would be annoyed with this quarter by security. They're trying to do too much, bite off too much, rather than just do the easy thing, which they do so well, the Saints.
A goal apiece so far in this third quarter, so at least Essendon has stemmed the scoring. For now, Garcia out past to Mitch Owen. Kick is across the face of goal in the left forward pocket, and Jack Higgins and Pryor tangle. It goes out of play. Free kick the way of Pryor, who was held in the eyes of the umpire by Jack Higgins.
It's good. Good defensive effort. Stepping into the hula hoop with Jack Higgins, and then good things can happen.
The Saints have only had about 7 or 8 more disposals in this third quarter than Essendon. That was one of the big stats that was the difference in the first half, and the ball goes out of play off hands from the Pryor kick, and a boundary throw in at left half back for the Bombers. St Kilda by 65 points.
Second generation Don Jackson Pryor. His dad Michael played 81 games for Essendon in the 90s.
Plucky defender.
Tapped down by Marshall, coming through Hall. Moves it beautifully, tries to give it back to Marshall. High free kick, as Marshall had to turn tackler there on his Essendon opponent, Zach Merritt.
Some MRO news coming through, Benny, as well.
Yes, what have we got here, half?
Braden Maynard and Took Miller have been fined $5,000 each.
Wow.
Avoided suspension for their umpire contacts.
$5,000.
$5,000.
Gets smoothed out over the course of the year, I've come to learn. As you get paid week to week, you don't have to pay it in a lump sum. Essendon up towards half forward. Roby trying to kick it to Caddy, who slipped over. It allows in the Saints through Silvani. Handball back to Wilkie. He kicks to the wing, and Filippo in space marks. Lifts it over the top. Henry's in space as well. What about giving it to the runners instead? Kicks infield for Hasty on the edge of the square. St Kilda by 65 points. 19 played in this third term.
Long's
just trying to look through all the fines. Jeez, that's 3 pages worth of fines.
Long's got 2 weeks as
well. 2
weeks,
that's what I was trying to find. Thank you, Half. Hasty inside 50. Beautiful pass, and Jack Higgins leading up. Takes the mark on his chest. He's almost directly in front, right on 50.
Yeah, you're right. That is a lot of fineage.
That's a good end of season.
21 players.
Collection from the weekend.
They tell us, I think that money goes into the concussion fund, yeah.
I think that's right.
Here's Jack Higgins from 55 metres out. It's out to the right and goes through for a minor score. St Kilda by 66 points. 5 minutes gone in the third quarter.
The AFL will make no further comment on these matters pending the finalisation of them, noting the charges may be challenged at the AFL Tribunal by Maynard and or Miller.
Long kick from Perkins. Caddy launching at it on the wing, and he lands with the ball in his lap. Did a good job in the end, Nate Caddy, to bring it to ground, and it fell in his lap, able to hold it. Kicks up to his mate, Kako. He can only halve the contest, and then Trevalia wins it there. Handball for Windhager. St Kilda possession to Hasty, to Wilkie. Kicks around the wing, looking to get it to Marshall. Reid does well. Spoils it away, and McGrath, the Don skippers onto it. Darts off, takes a bounce. Handball to Sharp, handball to Daywicks. He'll kick deep inside 50. Here's Caddy again.
Better.
The sticky mitts. He brings it down. 30 out. Slight angle in the right forward pocket.
But it started down here in front of us when St Kilda had the ball. They were squeezing space. They were putting pressure on. Forced a quick kick from Wilkie on the boundary. Get the ball back. And then they're able to move it.
They look all right when they get in the hula hoop half.
Get in the hoop.
This would make it 2-1 in the third term.
Win the quarter.
Caddy's kicked their last 2 goals in the game, one before halftime, and then one in this third term.
Oh, yuck.
Caddy misses right.
We're going to fix his grip.
What's wrong with it, Half?
I don't think he has full control of the ball when he's dropping it to his foot. It's almost like his fingers are closed.
Yeah.
Holds the ball upright, fingers closed. So you don't get the...
Fingers aren't pointing down.
Fingers closed.
They're-
I like the sound
Yeah,
of that.
fingers closed.
And they're facing forward rather than down.
Yeah, facing 90 degrees as opposed to, down.
But the laces are out. The
Laces are
aren't
out.
in. Okay.
33.
But that is
But
disaster.
you've got no control on the ball as you drop it.
35. 36 players were fined
36.
in the last 48 hours. That's a lot of
We've
money.
had a few mellows, haven't we?
Certainly has. Cal Wilkie has it inside the defensive 50. 22 minutes gone in the third quarter. St Kilda leading by 65 points. Possession number 11 for Wilkie in this third term. He finds Messiah Wangani Millera.
So they're shutting
coming
out here.
for his 31st possession. Kicks up towards Liam Henry. It's balled away from him. Brian gathers. Mason Wood gathered his right arm. Ball spills clear. Sharp gets a hand pass away to Kako. Got back from Henry. Hand pass to Nick Cox to Redmond through the corridor.
Keep going.
McGrath one way then the other. Decides not to keep going. Feeds the hand pass back to Cox who kicks out boundary side. And Sharp takes the mark. And closer
Got
to
to
home.
keep going. Once you decide to switch, commit to it. It won't come off every time, but Andy McGrath there would have loved to have seen him just push through and go open side.
Sharp contest kick. Mackay with his hands on it. Then he gets Mitch Owens high. Just on Naz's day, 31 disposals, 55% kicking efficiency. 32nd disposal coming up as he kicks it not far enough to Travalia, but it works out. Silvani picks it up. St Kilda away through handball. Stocker to Naz again. Kicks inside 50. Higgins trying to gather it. Getting across. Sardell Hooley does well. Keeps it out. Wilson goes and gets it though. St Kilda back with it. Short little 1 metre handballs and then Sardell Hooley gets possession back for Essendon. Out to McGrath, out to Dersma. Back feeds it away to Farrow, who lifts the kick. Short for McGrath. Has it on the back flank. How have you guys assessed Wangani Malira's day?
His first quarter was excellent.
Yep. Not quite as impactful after that.
Nothing much after that.
Yep.
McGrath in the direction of Kako. Can't take the mark. Jack Silvani's there. He tries to wrestle it clear on all fours. Knocks it out for the Saints. Got a hand pass away to Stocker, to Wilkie, to Mitch Owen. Links up with Wilson. Hand pass to Garcia. Cuts around the tackling effort of Sharp and switches to halfback. Mason Wood takes the mark. St Kilda by 65 points. Hall leads up the wing. He takes the mark for St Kilda. Waits for Mason Wood to run alongside him. Feeds the hand pass and kicks out wide for Rowan Marshall. He has it 60 metres out from home though. 2 goals already for Big Row. He veers out to the right, looking for every metre. Sends it high and long. In the direction really of Winhager. He's outnumbered and Tersma takes the mark for the Bombers.
So I reckon they've just got them off balance a little bit here, the Bombers, with the way they've played this third term. They've made some horrible decisions, St Kilda, in their forward half.
There's a Pryor in the back pocket. Exiting kick up for Brian. Hands to it. Off his hands, out of play.
Almost the expectation that the game would just roll on as it did in the second quarter, and largely I think we perhaps thought that might happen too. But the Bombers have shown a bit in this third term, and
They've lifted.
And the Saints haven't found a way past them just yet.
Over at the Adelaide Oval, Benny, it's a goal apiece. 1-3-9. Mitch Georgiades and Nick Larkey, the goal scorers for their respective sides. There is a call on ABC Listen. Just look for AFL Extra.
North Melbourne, none from 14 at the Adelaide Oval in their history, so hasn't been a happy hunting ground for North. Trying to turn that around today. St Kilda work it back to the back flank, and Silvani just chips it out wide for Bradley Hill. Hill pokes it over the top, and Hasty marks. Saints by 65. Closing in on three-quarter time. Essendon trying to win the quarter. They won't. In the end, it is 1-3 to 1-2 the way of St Kilda, so they win it by a point in the third term. 14-10-94 plays 4-5-29. Saints by 65 points. Hang on, that can't be right. I've said that they've won it, but it was 65 points at halftime.
Yes.
65 points at three-quarter time. Quarter was level.
Thought it was even Stevens, 1-2 apiece.
Even Stevens, 1-2 apiece.
Yep.
14-94 plays 4-5-29. Goal kickers, Higgins with 2, Marshall with 2, Wilson and Caminiti, all with a couple. Singles to Wangani Malira, Hill, Owens, Garcia and Hall. While for Essendon, 2 to Nate Caddy, singles to Daywicks and to Wright at three-quarter time.
And the findings for the match review officer is $5,000 fines for Braden Maynard and for Toot Miller for their contact with the umpire. Meanwhile, Ben Long has been offered a 2-match ban for his contact with Braden Maynard. Intentional conduct, high impact and body contact means a 2-match ban for that bump to the ribs in the second quarter, in which Braden Maynard said he may have a couple of broken ribs. 36 players in total have been fined from the Hawthorn Melbourne, GWS Fremantle game, Gold Coast Collingwood and the Richmond Carlton game last night. So some hefty price tags being paid across the weekend. Three-quarter time here at Docklands. St Kilda lead by 65 points. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
How much can we really know about the dead?
In our podcast, we're gossiping each week about the divas, ruffians and conmen of Australia's past.
So join me, Alicia Simmons.
And me, Lee Boucher. Search the Dead Can't Sue podcast on ABC.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Back with the Saints through Sharman, to Hill, to Wood. Beautiful kick, that was exquisite. Like a tracer bullet to Wilson. He marks 40 out as good as directly in front. And in for the first of the second half. Wilson's drop punt is perfect. St Kilda pick up where they left off.
That kick a little loose, looking for Wood. Opens the door for Dersma, gathers, hand-buster Kako, sidesteps an opponent, tries to get a hand-buster Caddy, who volleys through the goal. Oh, that was ugly, but they do finish with a goal. Nate Caddy with his second. He had to volley it from about 2 metres out. After the decision to hand-pass from Kako was unselfish, but a little careless.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Just the 2 goals coming in that third quarter as the Bombers were able to stop the Saints scoring but couldn't get any closer on the scoreboard. Still a 65-point lead St Kilda's way at three-quarter time. 14-10, 94 to the Bombers, 4-5-29. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron call the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
Well, they were at least able to arrest the absolute domination in that third quarter at the Essendon Footy Club. It was by no great shakes, a highlight-filled 30 minutes of footy. But they were able to make an adjustment. They looked like they played with a bit more vigour, a bit more intensity. They stepped into that hula hoop of defence where they could actually put some body spoil on and bring the ball to ground, and it created some opportunities for them. And I felt like it actually injected a bit of oomph into their ball movement, so their game looked a bit more rounded. And St Kilda got a bit too cute, which is often the way when you find yourself up by such a margin at half-time. So Ross Lyon be a little bit frustrated by that. It'd be interesting to see how St Kilda finish this game off, because there's a massive win on offer here, and we'll see if Essendon can hang on to that level of intensity for another 30 minutes. You wouldn't be overly confident about that, but that's what the challenge is for them at the moment.
Yeah, a battle for everyone in the venue, let alone those listening and watching at home. But I did like the way they came and they just sorted a few things out there in that quarter. So they went to work around the contest. 9-3 from clearances. They won. They were 16-5 down in the second quarter. They win that third quarter 9-3. They were down 10 in the second quarter for contested possession. They win 7, plus 7 in the third quarter. So contest and clearance, they got sorted. The problem is they couldn't get the ball back again. St Kilda had 91 uncontested possessions. They had, what did they have? Uncontested marks. 40 uncontested marks for the quarter. So they didn't allow them, that didn't allow them a chance to get the ball back, but they stopped their flow. So maybe that was the plan. Get contest and clearance right, which they did, and then stop St Kilda's ability to just transition so quickly from back half to forward half, or defensive 50 to forward 50, which is what they did in that quarter. Inside 50s for the quarter as a reference, 11-10 in favour of St Kilda. So there's a few little wins there. If we're measuring just little segments of the game for Dean Solomon at the moment, there's a couple of little wins there you can say to the boys, righto, mission accomplished, well done. Let's add to that now. Let's take out their uncontested possession, and then let's be really dominant. Let's try and win the quarter inside 50s. So let's do that. We've got contest and clearance right. We take them out their uncontested possession, uncontested marks. We can get the ball back easier, and we can get the ball inside our forward 50 as a result of that. So let's add that to our layer. And then you've got baby steps you can measure along the way.
Something caught my eye at three-quarter time half, and it was just as the siren went. Ben Mackay was here right in front of us on the wing, hands on his knees. It took him a long time before he interacted with any of his teammates, and I just wonder, he's touched the ball twice for the day, and he's looked uncompetitive for big chunks of today. He's been moved around a lot. I think maybe the time has come to put him somewhere where he's more familiar. I mean, you have to demand from him at this point you just have to show up and compete and play with a bit more energy. He just looks really lost at the moment, Ben Mackay, and it's not helping what's already a pretty dire situation, but you need those bigger-bodied senior players to answer the bell.
Well, he's starting on the bench. Last quarter.
Blake with 3 disposals. Liam Ryan's only had the 3 disposals as well. He's got one behind next to his name in this match. Messiah Wanganeen Miller with 33. Brad Hill with 30. Max Hall with 29. While Zach Merritt leads the way for the Bombers with 22 disposals. Sam Durham with 19. Quarter time at the Adelaide Oval. Scores level at 139 apiece between Port Adelaide and North Melbourne. Into the final term we go. Opening tap, one down the way of the Bombers. Filippo gets a little toe poke up towards half forward. Wilson gets a hand pass inside 50. Henry led to the footy by Sardell Hooley. He gets a little toe poke out towards half back. Setterfield gathers, tries to fend off Byrne. Is that prior opportunity? The umpire says no. Can't get a disposal away, and a ball up at right half forward for the Saints, leading by 65 points as we get this final quarter underway. Bryan wins down the tap, down to Wanganeen Miller, can't take it. Hand pass comes out from Durham. Merritt tries a high ball inside the centre corridor. Going up Silvani, he was chopped by the arms, or take it high, and he'll get the free kick at the back edge of the centre square for St Kilda.
Take your pick, Clinchy, I reckon. Maybe a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, as he switches it to his key defensive mate in Wilkie. Then moves it out to Hill. Through the logo he goes, working down the city side of the ground, kicks up to half forward and intercepted by Redmond. Essendon possession again.
Sorry, just there's a moment there. So Darcy Parish is running out to the wing to defend 2, and he's not sure what's happening. He has to look around him, and Peter Wright's 10 metres behind him. So clearly Peter Wright's not telling him anything. So if you're behind a teammate, be your eyes and ears for him and tell him how to defend, which one you want him to defend. He had to look behind and go, well, mate, you got to talk to me. You got to tell me what we do. That's where it becomes disconnected.
Ball up on the wing, and we're not going anywhere fast. We'll do it again. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. How big will this margin get? 24-14, 158 is also Ross Lyon's highest ever score as a senior coach, but only the 1 goal in that second term makes it look unlikely. Essendon with a little bit of go forward and right. Chipping it out to Perkins. He looks inside 50. Merritt back leading marks. 35 out. Hemmed in against the boundary line in the right forward pocket.
Just good work by Jack Silvani, who was playing deep defence on Nate Caddy, and Nate Caddy was trying as hard as he could to find some space. Just the amount of work Jack Silvani does early, just knocking the arms, knocking the rhythm of those key forwards. Just it ends up they don't even get to make a lead and don't get to a contest and force the Bombers wide.
Zach Merritt arcs out, chips it low, looking for right, and that is a beautiful kick. It was low, flat and hard, and the only person who could mark it if his mitts were good enough was Peter Wright, and they were. He went clunk.
Certainly low. Probably low percentage too. Grand scheme of things, but Peter Wright was good enough. So that's a positive. A few little ticks in the boxes here at the moment for the Bombers.
One of the 3 goal kickers on the day for Essendon. Trying to become a multiple goal kicker. Peter Wright steers it right.
Oh, Peter. Come on, man.
St Kilda by 64 points, 3 minutes into the final term.
Wanganeen Miller plays on rather than taking the kick in and runs to the back pocket, kicks up to O'Connell, who takes the mark. He'll give it back to Naz. Position number 36 coming up as he switches across half back at 44 against the Western Bulldogs a fortnight ago. Rowan Marshall gathers, hand pass a little loose for Stocker, races after it, Day Wicks after him. They tangle over the boundary line. The umpire says throw in. The Saints' biggest win so far this season was 101 points against the West Coast Eagles. That's back in round 7, so 64 points. That's still a fair way off. While the Bombers, their biggest loss so far this season has been 77 points. That was on Anzac Day. That's still in the frame. Thrown in. Marshall slaps it down to the front, but it's taken by Sam Durham. Hand pass inboard to Merritt into the midfield in this final term. Awkward bouncing ball for Parish. Gathers, trying to get it back to Merritt. He'll gather it on the bounce. Got around a couple. Look away. Hand pass over his shoulder to no one. Brad Hill racing back for the Saints. Hand pass to Wilkie across half back. Can chip it up the wing. Winhager's got a couple of metres space. As Roby tried to come in late. Couldn't get a fist to it. Inboard it comes to Brad Hill. It's times where this has looked like a training run. The kick up towards half forward won't get to Caminiti, and Ridley takes the intercepting mark.
Ridley kicks into the middle for Day Wicks. He'll go long, up towards half forward. In the Perkins direction, brings it to ground, follows up, keeps his feet, turns it over. Stocker of St Kilda with the footy, off to Wood. Kicks the Saints up to the wing. Owen's tracking after it, paddling to his own advantage, doing really well, then wins it. Handball for Higgins a little too high. Owens goes again, throws it out to Higgins, and that is called a throw. The free kick to Essendon on their back flank. We need something for the SMS to spicing this up for us, boys.
What do you got, Benny?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of something.
Well, how many games is Bradley Hill on?
Let's see.
293 as of today.
So when he gets to 300 games, who do you reckon's covered more ground in AFL footy? Craig Bradley at 300 games. Craig Bradley, Robert Harvey, Shane Crawford or Bradley Hill?
Oh, good conversation.
Who's covered more territory in game?
That's a really good conversation. Can I get a clarification on spicing as a word?
Yeah, it's not a word.
Durham takes the mark at right half forward. He's got Caddy at the backpedaling into the goal square. He could have almost let it go. He takes the mark in front of Brad Hill, and he's only a metre out from goal. So the Bombers with a chance to put through the first goal of the final term. Nate Caddy can put through his third, as he does just that. So he's tried his best in a team that's only kicked 5 goals for the match. Caddy
he's having
with his third. So he's trying, and Dean Solomon, we have to try and look after him a little better. It's tough when you're in a side that's on the bottom of the ladder. But it's St Kilda 14-10-94 to the Bombers 5-6-36. We played 6 minutes in the final term.
Spicing is actually a Middle English word meaning to season flavour or make something spicy. It actually is. You can find it in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So you're welcome, Harvey.
Webster? No, we don't do Webster.
You clarified to the contrary on that, so I don't know.
Every day's a school day, Half. You learn something new every day.
No,
Mr. Webster could define this.
No, we don't do Webster. We do Oxford.
St Kilda by 58.
Ben Mackay's gone to full forward. I don't think that's where he needs to be at the moment for his footy in this footy club.
Restart in the middle. Brian down for Durham and Essendon. Attacking again as he kicks inside 50. Bouncing ball in the pocket.
He's got a free.
Free kick is going the way of Mackay.
It's always been a natural forward. Always been a natural forward.
I probably deserved that. Jumped on board with Benny's earlier little spice and faux pas.
It's a word. It's in the dictionary.
It is.
I just sought clarification, that's all. I don't know.
I think Benny clarified that it wasn't.
Well, I panicked.
Went back.
I thought, oh no, what have I done?
And then he went back.
That kind of afternoon, a little.
45-degree angle, right forward pocket. Here for Benny Mackay. His drop punt is a major. And Essendon, they might win the second half. I think St Kilda have kicked it into neutral. 52 points, 14-10-94, plays 6-6, 42, 7.5 minutes into the final term.
Fair play to him. It's got himself in front, drew the free kick, and nice finish. I just think for his footy at the moment, Ben Mackay, and just for the situation that Essendon's in, it's not a heap in that free kick. I think there's probably more chance that Ben Mackay is going to play a lot more footy as a key defender. I think maybe the time has come at Essendon just to solidify and simplify things structurally so they can focus a bit more on that effort and teamwork.
On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Come on, Bob, it's got to be Robert Harvey. He never stopped. Certainly never had his hands on his knees.
I don't know if it's that. My word is he.
Yes, he was a big haunch man.
He was a haunch specialist.
At the stoppage, big haunches.
Lull you into a false sense of security, he would.
Sorry, Beansy, you've been called out for that. Sharp gets the free kick in the middle of the ground for the Bombers to merit. This is what they do, Essendon. They finish off final quarters. Out to Nick Cox. He fires on goal. It's across the face. Still a chance, though. It's knocked through by Mason Wood as Archer Day Wicks can't take the mark and through for a minor score. It's a 51-point lead the way of St Kilda, and I wonder how Ross Lyon is feeling. Just the 4 goals have been scored since half-time, 3 of which have been the way of the Bombers.
My main takeaway from today is that Half just doesn't read the cookbooks like I do as well. As Wangani Malira gallops towards the defensive 50, pokes it very short for Hugo Garcia. St Kilda by 51 points.
Gee, you clarified quick though, Benny.
Yeah. Didn't one Sunday Bob ask what his favourite spice was? I feel like he is a spice expert.
Yep.
Short kick from Garcia away towards Burns. If you're wondering why we're like this. St Kilda have had this game in their keeping since about midway through the second term. Got out to a lead as much as 71 points 3 times. It's currently at 51. Hill on the wing, kicking out wide, trying to get it to Marshall. He knocks it out. And we'll get another throw in between. No. Lasso free kick. Didn't touch it, Marshall. So Brian with the free kick between wing and half-back. St Kilda by 51 points, 10 minutes into the fourth.
He's had a couple of dodgy possessions this quarter, Brad Hill. It's gone to the opposition. But how much fun must footy be for him at the moment? Just gets to run around unopposed.
Brian up the wing. Speaking about unopposed, here's Nasai Wanganeen-Millero. Takes the mark across half-back in front of Ben Mackay. Position 38 for him, chasing his 44, which is a career high for him against the Bulldogs a couple of weeks ago. Into the middle of the ground. He realises that. Gets it back from Garcia. The 1-2. Naz through the middle of the ground. Henry the target. Off hands. Can't take the mark. Lakes the crummer. Hand pass to Max Hall. Kicks towards goal and misses to the left. A minor score. St Kilda by 52 points. They've kicked just a 1 goal since their 13 goals in the first half.
Can I ask both of you, in terms of the money that gets dished out at the moment, as Pryor kicks to Reid in the back pocket, kicks to Cox on the wing, juggles the mark, not paid, has to go, gives it off to McGrath. McGrath gives it to Brian, gets it back McGrath. Running around the wing, handball, Lasso free kick. Wanganeen-Millero to get it.
It's a handball straight out of bounds.
Yeah. Max Hall, what's he worth in dollar value? You think he's $1 million player?
Absolutely.
In the modern game, Daniel Harford?
Yep.
Saints might struggle to keep him if that's the case. Out of contract end of next year. They're paying a lot of people a lot of money, St Kilda. Burns moves it on to Wanganeen-Millero. Out to Garcia. Handball to Wilson, half forward. Garcia was put down, so free kick downfield. Wilson to receive it. Mark said 53 metres out. St Kilda by 52 points.
I reckon he's a fabulous player, Max Hall. We've seen a bit of him in the last little while, but even the last couple of years.
I agree with all of that. The $1 million, I jumped a little bit.
Yeah, well, I did.
Wilson
I have too for the last couple of years, but it's becoming not that out of reach of.
I think
it was a bit
average
rich for me, but he's
I think there's 50 to 60 players in the comp that are earning $1 million a year. So if he's in the top 60,
he's around that mark, isn't he?
St Kilda by 52 points.
El Hooley up the wing for the Bombers. Right, got hands to it, couldn't complete the mark, and Caldwell lays the tackle on Ryan Burns.
But then the problem is,
especially if you're trying to get him out, you're going to have to pay overs.
If they're paying TDK 1.7, if they're paying Naz 2, they're paying Filippo 1, they've got to pay Wilson, they're paying King a fair bit of money. Can they afford him?
Max Hall's only 24 years of age, so you might be able to stretch it out over a few years.
Yeah, 8-year deal for Max here, no dramas. 8 years, $10 million, 8 years.
Back end it,
and you have to pay a heap. Yeah. You have to pay the salary cap now, don't you? So,
not all of it.
Not all of it.
94% or 95% or whatever it is.
So there's some big numbers in the red sash today.
It was a good story. Max Hall picked up in the 2024 mid-season draft. He was working on the family cattle farm in Yea when he got the news that he'd been picked up on an AFL list. Windhager out to the right, crashed into by Zach Merritt, the kick to the goal square. Mason Wood rises, can't take the mark. Daywick races onto it for the Bombers, shakes it straight to Caminiti, top of the goal square, unselfishly, hand pass to Cooper Sharman. You get a goal too. Oh, that was a bad turnover from Daywicks, and the Saints capitalise on it. St Kilda by 58 points. 15-11, 101 to the Bombers, 6-7-43. On the SMS 0437 774 774. Now, Beansy's disappointed me. Read it again. I said hands on knees, but that didn't mean a thing back in the day, so disappointed about that.
No, he didn't finish the whole message.
I didn't finish it all. Robin Greensborough points out to you, Ben, that Merriam-Webster is an American dictionary, and they spell organised with a Z.
Yeah. Yep, but also,
cop that.
Like I always say, people under 40 in Australia, all of their influences are American. People over 40, all of their influences are British.
It's not helping the world.
Wow,
your American influence. It's not helping the world, all right?
Well, it generally is, though. I think that's fair, isn't it?
Benny boy.
They just take out letters. They just refuse to put a U in, colour and donut, all those things.
He's a good man, though. Rob listens a lot as Mackay gives it out to Sharp, kicks up to half forward. Onto it for St Kilda, Hasty on their back flank. After Trevellia. Gets it back now, Hasty. Runs off that back flank, kicks to the wing. Nearly a turnover, though. Sharp drops the mark and allows in Owens. St Kilda go Wooshka to Stocker to Hill to Lake. On by hand again to Wilson to Filippo. Chaining handballs back to Lake. Centre half forward now. Tackled, caught. Umpire lets them play. Says he got the handball out. Hill to Garcia. Chips it for Henry.
Oh, wow.
Spills the chest mark. It was a little nonchalant. Recovers away to Wilson. Handball back to Lake. Lake goes back to Henry. And this has not been a pretty passage. Back to Lake. Chips it inside 50. And Pryor has it spoiled away. Ryan goes again at ground level. And now Essendon work it out through Dersma.
Although the hand pass, Caminiti took his opponent high, or it might have been before that. Dersma was taken high. The Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide 4-4-28. Lead North Melbourne 1-4-10. So Kangas chasing 4 wins on the bounce since a long time.
Yeah.
Port Adelaide on top there in the second quarter. Coverage available on ABC. Listen. Dersma switches inside the defensive 50. Farrow marks.
Why do the Americans refuse to pronounce the second I in aluminium?
0437 774 774.
How do you read that and come up with a
Oh, and it's Craig, not Craig. It's nothing like Craig.
El Hooley, risky kick into the middle of the ground, looking for Durham, spoiled away by Garcia. Here they go. Filippo through the middle of the ground. 2 options inside 50. Liam Ryan takes the mark. Caminiti says it's all yours. Pryor can't defend 2 players. The Saints with a chance to put through another, their 16th of the game. They have 11 individual goal kickers. And Liam Ryan, who was the leading goal kicker heading into this match with 22 goals, doesn't have one this afternoon. Just one behind next to his name. They have tried to isolate him in the last month or so.
I'd love to see his GPS.
He's kicked goals in 9 of his 10 games, looking to try and make that 10 of 11. It's from the right forward pocket. He steers it through for another. And it's 2 goals apiece so far in this final term. St Kilda's lead restored to 64 points. 16-11-107 to Essendon 6-7-43. And the biggest lead of the match so far. It's been 71 points. So we're closing back in on that. Saints by 64. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport.
And I say that just with regards to the GPS because he plays the old school full forward role. He just stays near the goal square. He's the disconnected forward. That's what they say these days. When you're not that next kick out from where the numbers are, where the ball is, you're 2.5 kicks away at times. He just stays old school full forward. So he'd be doing bugger all work physically. Grand scheme of things, compared to everyone else, his numbers would be very, very low. But that's the role they see for him. It's what he's excelled in the last month.
Sounds like a good gig.
Yeah.
Well, you hope that the velocity number's high, wouldn't you? When it's his time to go, it's at a much higher rate than his teammates.
He's explosive, Liam Ryan. We know that. We see that when he goes for the high mark. Secondary ball up in the middle.
Tough
goalless
matchup.
last time out. Only time this year he has been goalless. Saints by 64. High in the ruck. He palms it straight down, but a quick whistle. We'll do it again. Saints with the last 2 goals in the game. Essendon kicked the first 2 of the 4th term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Sharp out of the middle. Snaps it towards half forward for Essendon. Bouncing ball. Perkins tracks it after the bounce. Takes it. Tackled quickly by Travalia. Handball inboard. Roby leaves it behind. Gathers it out to Setterfield. Centre and kick towards the hot spot. Launching at it, Caddy. Brings it down. Coming through Caldwell. Handball back into... a heap of St Kilda players. Kako tries to make it his. Coming through as well, Redmond, and now Essendon can work it out. Durham to Roby, and the goal. Sully snaps it home. It's back to 58 points. 16-11-107 plays 7-7-49. 18 minutes into the final term. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Not too many good things happen for the Essendon Footy Club at the moment, but when they do, it's usually Durham that's involved, and it was, again, on that occasion, multiple efforts, keeps getting himself to the contest. He just wants it. He puts his head over the ball, fights through, finds Durham, and then a nice little handball. Good finish, but he just keeps following the contest and gets himself involved, Durham.
Yeah, he's a beauty, and then feeds out to one of the players that hopefully will shape the future. And Sullivan Roby, it's a nice finish too. Around the corner from 40.
There you go. It's Redmond, Durham and Roby. That's 3 blokes who are genuinely having a crack today.
8 goals for the season for Roby. Free kick in the middle of the ground, going the way of Rowan Marshall, who had 2 goals in the first half. He veers away from Nick Bryan and sends St Kilda high inside 50. Liam Ryan in front. Jack Higgins from behind. Higgins first onto it. Hand pass away to Darcy Wilson, who curls it back towards the teeth of goal. Flying in the pack, Ryan Burns. Ryan's the crummer, snaps it towards goal. Zach Reed's lunging effort denies him the goal. A second for him and rushes it through for a minor score. 58-point lead the way, 59 the way of the Saints, but the all clear hadn't been given.
Reed to take the kick again. St Kilda by 58. Reed looks up the middle.
Like that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful kick to Caldwell. It runs away with it. Looks out wide for Bryan. Essendon quickly here. Bryan goes deep. Caddy's down there. 2-on-1. Caddy outnumbered. Gets into the back. He can gather. Dribble it and miss it.
No.
He had a man on in the goal square as well. Barbecued him, Archie Perkins.
Oh, it's hard to watch.
St Kilda by 58. Time on final term.
Just that part or a lot of it?
Oh, I mean, all of it, but Nate Caddy, I know he's only a young player, but he's still played enough footy with it. It just looks really selfish.
Wangane Miller through the middle of the ground. Position number 43 for him. Closing on that 44. Mitch Owen sends it inside 50 and Rowan Marshall rises and marks. He's out to the left. Umpire pulls Farrow back a couple of steps and says this is just inside 50, but he's out to the left.
And he's tried his guts out, Nate Caddy. He's been one of their better players.
Yep.
And he put his hand up, say, I didn't see you there.
Yep.
But it is your job to look there.
What do they have?
You actually have to look. Don't have to use it, but in that case, it was so obvious. It just doesn't reflect well when your team and club are in this state and you see those moments. It doesn't help.
Roll Marshall from outside 50, sets fly. It won't quite have the journey. Cooper Sharman dropped what was a chest mark in the end. The Essendon defenders didn't get a hand on it. In fact, it might have been Caminiti right up against the behind post, and the umpire's going to ball it up. It's a 58-point lead the way of the Saints.
Up it goes. Owens takes it, gets it on the boot. Like a wall at the FIFA World Cup, the Essendon players lined up on the goal line. Eventually, it's carried through. St Kilda by 59.
On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Beansy from Broadford says, my wife's American, so I agree with everything you've said about their use of the English language. Kick up towards Nate Caddy. Can't juggle the mark on the wing. Taps it away. Naz gathers. Possession 44. 45 as he gets the 1-2. So career best for him as he centres it to Travalia. Across half-back, hand pass to Brad Hill, kicks down low to Winhager, hand pass to Hall, look away, hand pass to Filippo, draws the opponent, hand pass to Wilson, from 45 metres out to the goal square, Liam Ryan takes the mark. Just cutting across his opponent, he marks right at the base of the right goalpost in front of Zach Reed, and a chance for Liam Ryan to put through his second, just has to work the angle and curl it through on the left, steps out, does just that, puts through another for the Saints. 3 goals apiece so far in this final term. And Liam Ryan with his second extends the lead back to 65 points. 17-13, 115 to the Bombers, 7-8-50. Also on the SMS, Janice from Preston. Are Essendon so poor or are the Saints better than their position suggests on the ladder? 14th at the moment. Interesting fact, Toby Travalia and Archer Day Wiggs' fathers, Steve and Tim, both played senior footy together in the 1990s.
Whereabouts?
Miltimo. My Timo. Midiamo. Thanks, Loz. Midiamo.
Righto.
Bendigo.
There you go. That is a good little
That's
fact.
a nice little tidbit. The Saints are better than 14th. Was that Janice? Was it the first one?
That was, yeah.
The Saints are better than 14th, but, I mean, the gulf between 12, which 10 to 12, which the Saints are, and 18 is pretty significant at the moment.
Essendon clearance from the restart through Roby. Towering kick inside 50. Spills off the side of the pack. Kako trying to burst on it. Garcia beats him to it. St Kilda ball as he handballs it out to Hill. He fumbles it. Travalia comes in. So a free kick going the way of the Saints in the back pocket. Son of a gun in local footy. St Kilda by 65 points. Percentage is only 100.6, so nearly even money in terms of points for and against. That will improve at least a little bit today. Travalia's kick to Owens, who goes up and marks. Front of the pack.
The Bombers average 72.8. Kick 50 today. The Saints are 88.9 for and 88.4 against prior to today, hence the percentage.
Owens short to Hill, off to Windhager, back to Hill. Kicks a floater up to half forward, and that's a turnover. Dyson Sharp, he marks for Essendon on their back flank.
Into the middle of the ground, Mason Wood takes the intercepting mark in front of Nick Cox. Looks up inside 50, has Liam Ryan on the run. He marks in the right forward pocket. A chance for Heat to put through his third goal in this final term. It is fill your boots if you're a St Kilda forward when the turnovers happen like that.
Yeah, and those positions too there, the no-go zones, real turnover zones. Can't afford to do that if you're going to win games of footy, and this game's been out of win reach for a long time. Yeah, Liam Ryan saw the eyes open very quickly there.
24 goals for the season. His career best is 30 as he comes in from the left forward pocket, soft line to the right and through for a minor score. So all the players they acquired in the off-season through the free agency, I'm not sure Liam Ryan was at the top of the paycheck, and yet he's probably delivered some of the best results. St Kilda by 66 points.
Silvani's been very good as well.
Very, very good.
He's the one.
Redmond with the kick in, off the hands of the pack. Here is Liam Ryan trying to get involved. Again, a holding free kick. All right, if you had to stack them in order, the guys that have come in.
Silvani won.
So Silvani 1. Are you going Ryan 2 or De Koning 2? Ryan, and then De Koning 3.
Yep.
Am I missing anyone? Filippo kicking
Flanders.
laterally for Wood. Yeah, Flanders has been injured. I knew there was a fourth. He's had the Achilles injury. Wood goes back and gets it at ground level out to Hill, who kicks inside 50. Ryan again going up. Hands to it, doesn't quite bring down the mark. And then Lake piles on top, ball up. 30 out from the attacking goal here for the Saints. They lead it by 66.
Still waiting for my all-time runner.
Yes.
Have you got a...
Marshall into the pocket. Hall! The impossible shot on goal in the right forward pocket. He ended up in the synthetic part up against the fence and just slammed into the left goalpost. It was a great effort. 67 points as St Kilda's lead. And once more, the all clear hadn't been given when Mason Redmond tried to bring it back into play. So it gives Bob a chance to pose his question once more.
So we've got Crawford, Robert Harvey, Craig Bradley and Bradley Hill, who in 7 weeks' time will play 300 games. Of those 300, who's covered the most ground on AFL grounds? VFL.
See, I'm going to... My first instinct is to say Craig Bradley.
Yeah, that was mine too, but...
Now, we won't have the GPS data, and Crawford and Harvey won't have the data as well. We probably get Brad Hill's data. Probably have a reference point with Brad Hill, but my first instinct is Craig Bradley.
Is a Waverley Park waiting? Does that come into it? Because that would hurt.
Waverley Park.
Would that hurt Bradley?
Yeah, probably.
Yep. Park, smaller ground.
Old school Waverley, where it was bigger before they brought it in a lot. My first year, 95, it was all the way to the fence almost. Then they brought it in a heap. It was too big.
Yep, massive, too big.
Thrown on the wing, we're playing out time here.
Still reckon cinnamon's an underrated spice.
St Kilda by 67 points. Thrown on the wing.
Spice is not.
It's good.
It is.
Is it great?
Is.
Don't know.
I think it's great.
Brian taps it down. Getting involved Filippo, but he cuffs it up. And then Merritt, how would it get it out towards Perkins, who gives it off to Caldwell, and Sharpie's carried out. So I'll throw in between wing and half forward here for the Dons. 67 points.
Can we get Naz to 50?
Get close.
What is he, 46?
46 at the moment.
2 minutes to play.
906 metres gained, so he's probably not going to get the kilometre as Ben was trekking a couple of weeks ago. Nick Bryan lays the tackle on Garcia. Ball spills clear. Roby gets a hand pass away. Setterfield looks up towards half forward. Kick is over the head of Perkins and Brad Hill. Caminiti's gone back to the back line against Mackay, and Mackay's going to get Caminiti's going to get a free kick for a hold against Mackay. He can chip it over the top, and Hugo Garcia marks it. Left half back.
Just on Naz, last week he was the first ever Saint to have 40 disposals, 900 metres gained and a goal in a game. He's backed it up and done it again.
Back to back.
Mark's been in touch on the SMS. I'm doing data entry, and sounds like you guys are doing it tougher than me at the moment. That's not far off. Tyler says looking forward to the Sunday team being back at the MCG. 3:15 for the Demons taking on the Tigers next week.
Radio.
Just feels right, doesn't it?
Just feels right.
Face paint will be back on.
Jacob Van Rooyen with 5 goals yesterday.
And Bailey Fritsch.
Yeah, and Bailey Fritsch. It was a big win for them. 13 goals to 1 in the first half of that game. Back here, St Kilda leading by 67 points. Ball to be won on the wing. Caldwell wins it. He hurries a kick inside 50, and O'Connor will go back and gather inside defensive 50 for St Kilda. Short kick to Wood. Called to play on now. Steps his way around McGrath and then dinks a kick laterally for Hall. Big day for Max Hall. Disposal number 33 coming up for him. He just stops and chips a kick up for Filippo. Right there with him is Dyson Sharp. Ball hits the deck and Essendon pick it up through Sharp, but out of play it goes, so throw in on the wing.
It would have to be close to career high, wouldn't it, for Max?
I had the same thought, Half.
Oh, here we go.
Check that.
The influence on the votes has already started.
Here we go. It is a career high. 27 prior to today for Max.
Boundary umpire brings it back in. Marshall slapping it to the front. Dersma applies the tackle and another ball up on the wing. Saints by 67. It's going to be a big win for them.
He's had more score involvements, Max, than Naz with 10 for his 46 disposals, which I know Half looks at closely.
Influence.
Durham knocks it forward to Parrish. Filippo tries to slap it out to Windhager. Is it time for another Saints goal? Hand pass away to Mason Wood. That kick is wide of Rowan Marshall, and it'll run end over end over the boundary line. A lasso free kick going the way of the Bombers. Pryor takes it, swings it back inside the defensive 50. El Hooley has it in space. Liam Ryan now offers a good chase. He's still running. El Hooley kicks it out to the wing where the mark is taken by Setterfield. At right half back, he looks long down the line, sends it in the direction of Sam Durham, who tries to go for a fly, but Hasty takes the intercepting mark for the Saints across half back. The Saints did their damage in the first half with 13 goals to 3 as they keep their wild card chances alive. They win by 67 points over the Bombers, while for Essendon, it's 11 consecutive losses. Now, one stage it looked like triple figures might be on the offering. The Saints cracked the ton, but they prevail by 67 points. St Kilda by 21 points at quarter time, by 65 at half time, by 65 at three-quarter time, and they run out 17-15, 117 to the Bombers 7-8-50 in front of 34,713 fans. So the Saints win off the bye, and they keep their finals hopes alive. They move to 7 wins and 9 losses, and they start their climb up the ladder. They'll have to try and win their way into that wildcard and September spot. While for the Bombers, it's a 5th consecutive loss under Dean Solomon, the interim coach. 17-15, 117 the Saints to Essendon at 7-8-50. It was 13 goals to 3 in the first half. It was more respectable for the Bombers in the second half. They booted, it was 1 goal, 2 apiece in the third quarter, and the Saints ended up narrowly winning the final quarter, 3 goals 5 to Essendon's 3 goals 3. For the winners, 2 goals to Jack Higgins, 2 goals to Darcy Wilson, and 2 goals to Liam Ryan, 2 goals to Rowan Marshall, 2 goals to Darcy Wilson, 2 goals to Anthony Caminiti. Individuals to Wanganeen Millerup, Hill, Owens, Henry, Garcia, Hall and Sharman. They finished with 12 individual goal kickers. Nasiah Wanganeen Millerup finished with 46 disposals. I think that's just short of the St Kilda record of 47 disposals. He had 10 score involvements, 1 clearance and 29 uncontested possessions alongside his goal. The Saints winners by 67 points, too strong as they look to get their season back on track. The thoughts of Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport.
Well, it was a game won in the first half, and it was won so easily that it deflated everyone in attendance today. It was an absolute domination. The Bombers gave about 35 minutes of effort, and then that stopped in its tracks, and the Saints did as they pleased. And then in the second half, we really just marked time. I don't think we learnt a whole lot about either team after that point. The Bombers adjusted a little bit. They showed a little bit more fight. They were able to defend a little bit, but really the story of the day was already well and truly written. So St Kilda did what they needed to do today. They flexed their muscle and put a inferior team to the sword, and they did it in the patch of about 20 minutes in that second quarter, and it was pretty impressive, and after that it was just job done. So they get out of here with an 11-goal win, and the Essendon Footy Club just plunges deeper and deeper into the mire.
3 goals for Nate Caddy, half individuals to Roby, Wright, Mackay and Day Wicks, as I failed to do the last of the logistics, but a big win for the Saints by 67 points.
Yeah, tough to watch, really. It was a tough watch for anyone that was here at Docklands. But I don't know what to take out of it, because, as you rightly said, Bob, St Kilda dominated the first half, and from there it was just, now the Bombers were better, but was that because St Kilda were sort of queuing the rack, sitting still in neutral for a little while, just see what happens?
They got more physical in the third quarter.
Yeah.
There was, there seemed to be a looking. We're looking and trying to find something.
There seemed to be a lift, and a better system and a bit better effort. So I'll give them that. I don't know how much you have to read into that from a St Kilda perspective as to what they took off the gas. So it was a really uninspiring afternoon of football. It happens at times, and the Bombers. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what Dean Solomon says in the press and how he assesses it, because if he goes to the second half straight away and says, "Well, we saw growth," I'd be slightly annoyed by that. And then Ross on the flip side, I think he'd be annoyed by the second half of St Kilda, because he loves a kill. We talked about that through the call. He loves a kill. He loves to be able to put the foot on the throat and bury opposition. They didn't do that today. Maybe there's an area of element of management going on for some of the players and the way they played that second half. But yeah, they got mauled in the first half and they showed a bit in the second half, is sort of the summary. But they were nowhere near good enough, and we know they're not good enough. That's the reality of their plot at the moment. They're not a good enough football team. So that's what we knew coming in. That was confirmed today. St Kilda will be pleased that they got out of this with a nice win and a healthy list. And they're the sort of things from a coaching perspective that you're just crossing your fingers in games like this. You've got the game won early. You're just hoping like hell that no one gets injured. And they've walked away with a clean bill of health. So that's a positive for them. And they get back on their winning ways after a bye. So that's a good result.
So Nasai Wanganeen Miller with 46 disposals. Brad Hill with 42. So between the two of them,
That's
88
disposals.
disposals.
37 was his career best prior to today. So 43 for him. And then, who did we say? Maxie Hall.
Maxie Hall, career high.
Best was 27 prior to today, which is 33. So 3 all-time bests for some prime movers for the Saints in Wanganeen Miller, Hill and Hall.
If you're a Bombers fan and you came along today, would you feel like it's sort of rock bottom?
I don't know I don't know what I gained. And these are the things, we touched on this prior to the game, that these are the things that Solly's got an opportunity to do. He's got a chance to progress the group, either in lessons, in positions, in system or strategy, or whatever it might be. But I can't see that happening. And we've seen him a couple of times now live, and I'd like to think the 4 of us in the box have seen enough footy to know that when the things have been challenged or changed,
we know they're not good enough.
That's I can deal with that.
We can deal with that, but they're bad stuff. And every side has, we call them momentum swings. This is different to that. This is big portions of a game where the bottom just completely falls out, and you think that's the worst footy in the competition at the moment by a long way. That is a long way off what AFL footy's about. That's how bad those 20, 30-minute patches can be.
Dean Solomon's trying to make them more competitive. He's got plenty of work to do. St Kilda by 67 points. They move from 14th to 12th on the ladder. Let's join the Saints with Lauren Borden.
Thanks, Clinch. They've just meandered into the rooms, got into a circle pretty slowly, and they've got ready to sing.
Marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, I want to be in St Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, I want to be in St Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in.
There you go, Carl Wilkie leading the song there. He brought a bit of vigour, which is nice to see, given the game that it was, and the song probably matched that.
How's your vigour level, Loz?
Am I not bringing enough energy for you? But when you get to the song, you've got to go quiet half. You can't speak too loudly in the room. You've got to be respectful.
I know.
I have seen Robert Harvey here. Do you think I should ask him if he's covered more ground than Brad Hill?
Yes,
I've lost him.
so.
If I can spot him,
ask him.
Yep. I'll try and find him and ask him.
Ask him to rank Bradley, Crawford, Hill and him.
Yep.
Okay, deal.
And just confirm how much time he spent on his haunches at stoppages, only at stoppages.
I'll do my best.
I think you're doing a great job, Loz. St Kilda winners by 67 points. We'll get you to bring us some reaction from the Saints rooms. It'll be interesting to see how they graded this afternoon's efforts, because they'll have to get better in the weeks to come if they're to feature in the wildcard spot.
Yeah, but you only beat which up against one of those sort of conversations. I'm sure we'll hear something like that from Ross this afternoon. Oh, we had the job to do. We got it done. We move on.
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, I don't mind a little bit of Ross. I didn't really commit to it either, so
No, you didn't.
I'll come back for that.
I was fortunate enough. I played golf with Robert Harvey last year.
Okay,
Blighty?
Hang on.
Yeah, but
Was it a Blighty 4-ball? Who was that?
would have loved to have had Blighty as
Hold
part of
fire
it.
on your story, because
It's
we
quick.
might need a bit more time.
No,
Okay.
let's get back to it.
Down to the St Kilda rooms. We'll build the anticipation, as they say in the radio game. St Kilda by 67 points. Back to Lauren Borden.
Thanks, Clinch. I've got Carl Wilkie standing alongside me. Carl Darcy-Wilson puts in a goal within the first 20 seconds of the match. Did you feel pretty good from that moment onwards that the game would flow in the way it did?
No, you never really do from the first 10 seconds. But, yeah, it was a pleasing first half. You know, we got on top in the midfield to start with the contest and pressure, and that was, you know, what Ross's message was. And then we sort of got some front half defence behind that and sort of locked in our front half and was able to score heavily going in. Obviously, you know, a bit of a sour sort of second half with a bit of lack of goals. Probably wasn't pretty to watch, but, 10-plus goal win, you got to be happy with it.
So you're 65 points up at half-time, and then it's basically an even second half. Was there any message at half-time just to maybe take the foot off the pedal a little bit?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, you don't get many opportunities to put teams to the sword in this game because it's such an even comp. So, you know, the message was just double down on contest, pressure and system. And, you know, we had the entries in the second half. We just didn't convert. And, it was a bit of a lacklustre affair in that second half. And it would have been nice to, you know, I guess put them to the sword and a bit like we did in the first half. But, you know, we didn't. So that'll probably be Ross's message right now.
You're just anticipating that before you head into the meeting. I mean, in the crowd, in the commentary box, we could all feel that it was lacklustre, like you described. What is it like being on the field in that moment where there's almost a lull in the match?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I knew what we were doing wrong. We probably were just going a bit too skinny sometimes and trying to bomb it into our forwards and not giving time, for them to reset and get to work. And we've got some great forwards up there and actually let them use their craft. So, yeah, that's probably going to be a bit of a review, I guess. But, it would have been nice to, put a team to the sword. There's a little bit of a sour taste, but, win's always hard to come by in this competition. So you got to look at the positive.
Carl Wilkie with us on ABC Sport. I'll send you upstairs to Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Cam, Bob Murphy up here, mate. Well done on a great win. Your performance. What did I say?
Did you say Cam?
Oh, did I say Cam?
That's all right. I get that about
Cam,
1 and 3.
He's only played 171 consecutive games from
I
debut.
apologise, Cal.
That's
I apologise, Cal. Mate, well done on a great win. You and Cam were both very, very good. I do actually want to ask you about one of your teammates. He's not Cam, but he's Jack Silvani. Just watching him today, the amount of work that he puts into his opponent early as the ball's coming down, you must love playing with a guy like that.
No, definitely. Ever since he came across, we've got on like a house on fire, and we see the game very similar. And we've really gelled from the get-go. And he's a pleasure to play with. He's always talking out there, demanding, and he's so physical with his opponent. He's just going to, I guess, put him in the back pocket, and it sort of allows me to, probably play a little bit, let's say, loose at times, and be able to come off and help him. But he's been a great asset to the team.
And what about just in terms of the team more broadly? We know about the big name recruits that you've brought in, Jack just being one of those. It looks to me in the last 3 to 4 weeks that the team is starting to gel and you guys are starting to really get used to playing with one another. Do you feel like that's clicked and you can power through this last third of the season?
Yeah, a bit. I mean, it's been a bit of a weird season. The wins and loss column isn't what we had wanted, but we played a lot of consistent footy from week to week, but just probably lacked a bit of 10-minute periods throughout games. That's probably cost us against some of the quality teams. So the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks we've probably been a lot better in the sense of the way we want to play the footy, a bit more of a front half defence. Bulldogs we just couldn't score, which has actually usually been a bit of a one-wood this year. We've been quite efficient going inside 50. So it's really sort of starting to come together a bit. I mean, we've got to still take it up to the better teams and actually sort of get over the top of one or two of them, but it's been a lot better.
It has been a bit better. Cal. I was going to call you Cam there.
That's all right.
Daniel Hufford, mate. When you won that 1-on-3 in your defensive 50 was it the second quarter, I think it was, did you think that maybe this is going to be my day? Because that doesn't happen too often.
Oh, yeah, I know. Everyone was sort of saying what an effort, but I think I just got lucky. They just sort of kicked it to me and, it did the rest from there. But, yeah, that was a bit lucky. If it sort of gone over the back, they would have easily scored. But, like that, you're going to get some of those times when the ball goes over the back and they've got the outnumber, and that's the consequences, of playing a bit more of a front half assertive defence. So, yeah, no, it was nice to not let them score on that one.
No, it was a fine individual effort. I love Max Hall. There's a great piece on him on the website, on the AFL website through the week. He goes home and looks after his cows and all that sort of stuff post-game and resets. When did you realise that he was going to be a serious player? Because I think he's developed into an absolute star of the competition.
No, he's an absolute star. He's just sitting behind me doing radio. But, his attitude since he came in the door, I'm a byproduct of it as well. Not getting drafted when you're 18, you get a bit of perspective going out into the real world, as I like to call it, not the fantasy land that we play in the AFL. So, he's been hungry ever since he came in. He'll admit it himself. He came in a bit pudgy, and Ross put the word on him to get fit over that pre-season like 2 years ago. So, and he really did, and he really came out last year. And his skills and his balance and his craft is second to none, and I guess the competition is really seeing it now what a star he is.
Cal, it's always good to speak to someone who played for the mighty North Adelaide Roosters, as you did on your way through to the AFL. But Corey Enright, we're hearing a lot about him at the moment. Why is he such a good coach?
Yeah, I did a press conference early in the week, and I think I pumped him up too much. So I'm going to talk him down now because we want to keep him. He's great. He worked under him as defensive coach here for 2 or 3 years, and he's helped me a lot with my game. But he's just got a real good sense of feel on the group and the culture and the way he drives that. And there's obviously the way he went about his footy and the utmost respect you have for that, and he really sees the game well as well. But we'll keep him as he's just walking past here, I'll say.
I did see some of that press conference. I heard you say that you didn't get an invite for Friday night's dinner, but I know you would have got a wrap on how it went. So what did Ross say about how dinner with Lockie went?
Nah, he hasn't quite got to me yet. I'll find out and I'll report back to you.
Good answer.
Cal Wilkie's with us on ABC Sport. Cal, the last time the Saints played finals was back in 2023. You lost in an elimination final to the Giants. How important is it that you string it together in the back half of the season and try and make a charge at it?
Yeah, super important. That's where everyone wants to be, playing finals, and I feel like we got the group that can, actually, I guess, get there and take it up to the teams, and that's where you want to be playing finals every year. So, we got an important, 7 games left, but, that will come, but we just got to focus on, next week against Port Adelaide, who are in a bit like us. The win-loss column doesn't sort of say how, I guess, good of a team they are. And, we've just got to, get the training this week, keep getting better and just keep improving our footy.
Cal, would you expect Max King to be a part of that back end of the season?
Yeah, I hope so. It'd be a great addition seeing him back with us. He's put a bit of a body of work together, and the coaches and the fitness staff need to make that call when he's ready. And, he'll be a huge addition once he's back. And, nobody sort of worked harder in rehab that I've seen come into the system, and you just want to see the big fella playing footy because we know the calibre he is. I mean, there's a bloke up at Gold Coast who's exactly the same, so I think we know what he's capable of. But, it's hopefully we can get him back those last few games leading in.
Yeah, do you know when that time frame will be?
I'm not actually sure. Nobody tells me anything at this footy club. No, we leave that to Ross and the high performance. I think when they make the call sort of when he's ready to come back to playing footy, and what that looks like, whether it's VFL, whether it's AFL, I'm not quite sure. I'll probably up to the discussion between Max and him. Probably needs a few games to get that confidence back in his body, but then again, I'd like him to just come straight back in the AFL.
2 quick ones as there you go, Cal. You took over as co-captain this season. Jack Steele obviously went across to the Demons, and Jack Sinclair unfortunately picked up that calf injury. Did you feel like you had to unify the group at the start of the season, given the changes in personnel around free agency?
Not a little bit, not too bad. Like, Sinks has been awesome since coming in as co-captain, as vice-captain under Steely for 3 years, so it isn't a foreign sort of, I guess, somewhat role. But, yeah, obviously big recruits, fair bit of external noise and pressure, and just trying to, build the culture from within. We had 6 to 8 new players, so a lot of change that had come through. But when you got 4 experienced talents like we got in, they sort of really add to the culture straight away. And me and Sinks just probably wanted to, I guess, put a just really sort of drive that from the get-go, and sort of what's possible for this group and what's possible under Ross. And I feel like we're taking some steps forward this year. Obviously, we would have liked some more wins, but, that's in the past. We can't do anything about that. We just got to look to the future.
And I think Naz had 46 disposals today. Brad Hill had 42. The record is 47 for Lee Montagna and Jack Stevens. So he's getting closer week by week. But if you had to give the 3 votes in the ABC Football of the Year, would you give it to Naz or Brad Hill?
Oh, Joey's going to be stoked that he's kept that record.
Isn't he, Joey?
We can confirm he is.
Chest out he would be. I'd probably give it to Naz. He really started in midfield in that first half. I thought he was electric, and there was a lot of great players that started in the first half. He was amazing. They both got a bit of attention actually, and was able to work through it really well. So let's just give the 3 to Naz and move on.
Joey had 12 kick-ins too.
Naz would have had a few today as well.
Yeah, he got a couple
but probably not 12.
Cal, I think you got to go. Your time is always greatly appreciated. Good luck against Port Adelaide next week.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Cal Wilkie, happy to give some of his time and his insights in St Kilda's 67-point win over the Bombers, 17-15, 117 to the Bombers, 7-8-50. I don't feel we get to hear from him as regularly, but he's always insightful with the way in which he views the game and I guess the transformation of the Saints over the last couple of seasons. So they moved from 14th on the ladder to 12th, 6 wins and 9 losses. The upside for them is that they don't leave Victoria in their run home, but the challenge is they'll have to beat some good opponents on the way to trying to return to September. And it starts with Port Adelaide next week here at Docklands, and then off the back of that they have the Cats, North Melbourne, Sydney and Docklands, the Blues, Richmond and the Suns to close out their home and away season. Will they get their half?
I think I had them in, I did the ladder predictor through the week, and I think I got them into the wild card situation. I think they finished 9th on my wild card ladder.
I think they'll get there, and I think they sort of fit in that zone for me, St Kilda.
Yeah. The good news for them is that Tom DeConing and Jack Sinclair, their injuries are both not season ending. So the challenge will be they're probably both in the 4 to 6 week block, depending on how bad that broken rib is for Tom DeConing. But they get Max King back in. There's a chance to try and build some chemistry. And as you said, that question as to whether he comes back in the VFL, given the fact that he's had those soft tissue injuries, he came back and played 2 in the VFL and then knew it instantly. So it's delicate psychologically for him to try and build his confidence up and get him back ASAP.
Yeah. I just think there has to be the mind is as important as the body for Max King, as far as I'm concerned.
You want him to be feeling good, physically and mentally, when he gets out onto the AFL stage.
Yeah, if you cannot live in that environment with a fragile mind. You just cannot survive. Doesn't matter how healthy your body is, your mind won't let you do it. So that's as much as anything. Just feel good about yourself, know you can, and then get to the AFL level and go bananas.
We're hoping we might do the Saints against Werribee next week on the ABC. VFL match of the day. It would be handy if he was featuring in that game.
Yes.
Just chatting to a couple of the St Kilda coaches when he was training with the VFL guys, and they've just said he looked like he was ready to go by that occasion, but wanting the touchback to play at AFL level, you do have the 5 on the bench, so they do have that one luxury, but you'd think the conservative way would be the way to go.
Well, we were there the day he re-popped the string at Princess Park, against Carlton. He looked fantastic in the first quarter. Really exciting and powerful. And so, okay, righto, maybe this is the new guy. But then the string went and it was disaster again.
There's so much that's unfortunate about it for St Kilda, which, it's obvious. Max King, big key forward, so much talent. What would that be like? But just with Marshall and Tom DeConing, that is an unusual point of difference, and it does need time together for them to make it work, let alone to see what happens against opposition and how they can handle it. So the more time those 3 could get together, if they could able to click that balance, it's a formidable trio.
That being said, Brodie Grundy and Max Gorn, that never worked. So Royal Marshall had 20 disposals today, kicked 2 goals, 1, had, what did he have? 8 clearances in his 20 disposals and 6 tackles. So
he was good.
Marshall's a better forward than
year.
Grundy and Max.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So it is different.
Yeah, by a mile. Yep, no issues there whatsoever. His first half was good today. And it's interesting listening to Cal talk about who you'd give the votes to. And he sort of referenced all about first half.
A lot of influence on the votes today, more than ever. I'm curious as to why.
Sort of feels I've had more opportunity for a conversational piece today than normally, but
that's true.
A goal for Harry Sheasel, so North are trying to climb back. Port Adelaide 6-6-42, leading North Melbourne 4-5-29. Josh Simpkin also giving it to the Adelaide Oval crowd. So there's a bit of passion as this game's coming to life in the third quarter. For some of our listeners, you'll head there in around 19 minutes' time. It is available on ABC Listen. Just look for the AFL extra button. Are we happy with the Saints? 67-point winners. Anything else you want to add, or can we move to the Bombers?
No, the Saints... Hard to get to.
There was a 100-point win on offer today, but the way they won it, 11 goals, was pretty impressive. It was in a 25-minute block and did the job, and that was all over. So not a heap of complaints or queries over what they gave us today, the Saints.
Yeah, they're a hot starting team.
Sorry, Half, you can go.
They're a hot starting team, aren't they? I know you're about to give the numbers of how many first quarters they've won this year. That's the way they play. They exploded out of the blocks in the first quarter, and then they dominated the second.
I was just going to give the run for Bob's 25 minutes that he spoke about. So they led by 21 points at quarter time, and then in 25 minutes that blew out with 8 unanswered goals to 70 points that Bob was speaking about. But also, Half, you'll be pleased to know, they are now 14-2 in opening terms, St Kilda.
I knew you'd come.
Did you think, Clinchy, then, that what Benny was saying, that I had spoken
for 25
minutes? Yep. So I was just the terror that ran through my body then. And then I just misunderstood.
Oh, no.
You've had a bit of friction today, you two, hasn't it?
I think it's good. It's brought out the best in all of us and the worst in us.
Can't have fire without friction, Half.
There you go. Yep.
I know. Take your word for that.
Yep.
And when you did play golf with Robert Harvey, Ben, as you were about to allude to before we chatted to Cal Wilkie, so
the real stuff.
just to try and lift the ego as we sort of leave towards 6:30 and we all leave with smiles on our face.
Oh, some of you leave.
I just thought it was fascinating what he told me post-round, which was that...
Geez, you got a nice swing.
In the 90s...
What did he really tell
you? That would have been great. He should have said that. No, he said that in the 90s, he actually went away and paid for... tutoring around mental skills. So he was one of the first players in the game to really invest in himself in the area of mental skills in terms of psychology heading into the game, mental preparation.
Resilience.
Resilience, your routine when you're kicking for goal, all of that. So he's way ahead of the curve. Things that are so big in football clubs now, he was doing way ahead of the curve in the 90s.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. He, as they say in the classic, left no stone unturned. Did our man Banger.
Self-starter would be another cliche we could throw into that.
Yes.
Famously would get to stoppages, though, on the haunches, heaving. And a lot of taggers thought, I've got him. Got him. And off he would go again.
His most famous story was jumping off the table to snap the plantar fascia, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Which I asked him about that, and he said that definitely happened.
Yeah, no, it definitely happened.
Yep.
As he told you, because he would know. Fascinating, because it's one of those injuries that if it lingers, if you've got a lingering issue, it causes all sorts of grief.
Yeah, a strained one is very, very painful.
Yeah, but if you just snap it, you'll be fine.
Just to go in to defend the plantar fascia, though, when you snap it, it does get rid of those pain symptoms. It is doing a job. You want a foot with the plantar fascia. Yeah. I just want to offer some balance to the...
Well, then why do we just snap them and move on then?
Well, because the pain is so inhibiting that the other supportive issues are kind of easier to manage. I just think everyone gets down on the plantar fascia thinking, it's just like, it's unnecessary. It does a job. Unheralded.
It's not like the
Won't be in the votes.
It's not like the appendix. We don't know the job that the appendix does, and Josh Battle missed this week, had to have his appendix out.
That's a good point. Why don't we have an appendix?
I don't think we know. I think it goes
Mystery,
back. I think it goes back to quite a while ago.
Evolutionary sort of conversation.
Homo sapien, Neanderthal sort of stuff.
Right. Okay.
Now,
I'd double check that.
We'll take that. Earlier in the broadcast, Bob Murphy said if the Bombers wanted to do a documentary on their coaching search, they could call it Bombed Out. TJ...
Bombs Away.
Sorry. TJ messaged earlier and said if they were doing a four corner style, they would call it Bombed Out if they were including highlights of this game. How does Dean Solomon try to address whether he's making any improvements with this group after going down by 14 points last week in a game which wasn't all that pretty to watch against North Melbourne? They went down by 67 points against St Kilda today in a game that wasn't all that pretty to watch.
Oh, well, you're getting small wins, aren't you? He's trying to measure small wins, and that's how you keep the group positive and keep the group moving forward, because there's enough doom and gloom outside of Essendon that you don't need to be driving it inside. So you've got to, in his role, it's a really challenging role. Like, they're a team that clearly no good. They sacked the coach on the back of being no good. He comes in and tries to stabilise it to a degree. We haven't seen a lot of that, certainly on field. I hope off field there is some stability and resilience going on.
What's their biggest on-field concern? Because they're not doing much well. In fact, they're not really doing anything well. But what's the biggest area that needs to be sorted out?
In terms of areas of the ground?
Not so much areas of the ground, but types of play or the style or the...
They can't defend.
They can't defend.
And that's been a problem for many, many years.
So that's where you would start. So what's happening at reserve level? Are there guys there who are defending with intensity and discipline? Because there were some guys out there today, and you can individualise if you want, but Ben Mackay was just way off it today, and he's been moved around all sorts of positions, but he wasn't up to it today. So if there's guys who can replace that situation, then you got to start to do it.
Yeah, my biggest concern would be they have talent on their list, but they're not playing like they've got talent. Like, you look at some of the turnovers today. I mean, Daywick had that one where we joked about that went straight to... Was it Max Hall? Was that the one where he basically turned it straight over, went to...
That was Redmond.
Oh, Redmond it was.
Yeah, that was Redmond.
Who turned it over.
They got it late.
Players who are far better than that, normally by the standards in which you'd expect from senior players, are now falling into the category that we're the bottom side and we're all making mistakes that we wouldn't normally make. And you can only assume that's a reflection of the environment and the fact that the pressure is starting to come in. And normally when you do bring in an interim coach, that tries to relieve a bit of that pressure. But are they that far off the rest of the competition at the moment?
Well, from what we've seen, evidence would suggest yes, they are that far off.
It's hard to say anything but yes after watching the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And not exactly against earth-shatteringly good teams.
No.
St Kilda are a rock-solid team. North Melbourne are not a great team. They're in action today like they were last week when they got that win. So imagine if this was Fremantle and Sydney or Fremantle and Geelong in the last couple of weeks. Imagine what would have happened to Essendon.
It would be a massive.
It would have been horrendous. So we're measuring their competitiveness against mid-range sort of teams anyway. Imagine the good teams get a hold of them.
It's a real worry. It's not a nice feeling when their effort and the soullessness of what happened last week, they got away with a 14-point, but it was not good to watch.
No.
And the response is that 10 minutes into the second quarter, you just see them go, well, we tried, but the scoreboard's getting out of control. Well, that's it. That's enough. Feet up. Think, that's leaves you with a really uneasy feeling in your pit of your stomach.
So on the whiteboard,
imagine how supporters feel.
Yeah.
As luck would have it, next week their opponent is the Brisbane Lions, who may not be the number one side in the competition, but they are quickly emerging as the team that has won back-to-back flags.
With the teams you'd at least want to come up against at the moment.
And that would have to be an away game, would it not? Oh, boy. So the little things you get on the whiteboard at the end of the game, I reckon you go contest and clearance, and the first half disparity is stark. So they're minus 14 contested possession at half time. Second half, they were plus 8. So that's a win. So 22 disposal or contested possession turnaround. Clearance, they're minus 13 at half time. They're plus 12 in the second half. So there's a 25 clearance turnaround. That's good. We can work with this. This is foundational sort of stuff. And as a result, inside 50s, they were minus 16 in the first half. They're only minus 2 in the second half. So little wins, and that's what you'd have to the players just to keep them going, moving forward strongly. You have to sell that stuff. They're worse than positive. Minus 2 centre clearances first half, plus 3 centre clearances second half. Little wins along the way. Now, how much of that is St Kilda? But if I'm him, I'm selling it hard because we've got to keep these guys on track for another 7 weeks.
St Kilda winners by 67 points over the Bombers, 17-15, 117 to Essendon, 7-8-50 in front of 34,713 fans at the Adelaide Oval. It's Port Adelaide who hold a 13-point lead in the third quarter against North Melbourne. 6-8-44 to North Melbourne, 4-7-31. And the intrigue after Port Adelaide upstaged Adelaide in the showdown, can they back it up with back-to-back wins? Mitch Georgiades has 3 goals, Jack Whitlock with 2, and Jordan Sweet has pushed forward and kicked a goal as well, while for the Kangaroos, individual goals to Simpkin, Sheasel, Larkey and Darling. So that game very much on a knife's edge at the moment, with about 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. Should we do the votes for the ABC Football of the Year? We've had plenty of opinions, but there's only one that matters.
There is a lot of voices. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen with the votes this week. And, look, I think it's going to be a little mini controversy.
I like this already.
So,
scene setter.
1 vote. It wasn't an all-time numbers record for this man. But he got 21 disposals. He took 11 marks. I call him Cam. Consider myself a close friend. Cam to his friends. Callum Wilkie to you. 1 vote, Callum Wilkie.
I think we'll give the vote to Cam, though.
I think Cam.
Let's give it to Cam.
I think Cam Wilkie deserves to get a vote. He got 1. 2 votes.
Controversial in itself.
Nazia Wanganeen Millera, 2 votes. 46 disposals. I mean, talk about the abacus. He had numbers. It was like a tax return. There you go. They're as long as your arm. He got the ball rolling. He was
Bob's tax return.
a quarter and a half into the game. He was the best man on the ground. But
It's controversial because 2 doesn't go into 3.
He did just fade in his impact ever so slightly. It's not a knock on him. He was magnificent. But I thought Bradley Hill for 4 was the best man on the ground.
What about Max Hall?
Max Hall does not
played the game.
Have you forgotten Max played today?
Apologies to Max Hall. Played a very good game. He didn't get in my 3. As I said, Cam Wilkie 1, Nazia Wanganeen Miller at 2, and Bradley Hill 3.
Boy.
I can't believe that.
Bob Murphy with his votes for the ABC Football of the Year. There will be some correspondence when the coaches' votes are laid. And we'll get together on a Sunday as we watch the
We'll get them to do your votes then, fella. They've got their own award. This is ours.
I'd like some SMS feedback on this immediately, if not sooner.
0437 774 774. We've got a few minutes in terms of whether you agree with Bob Murphy's votes. As we mentioned,
clearances, 9 tackles.
Played well.
11 scoring.
Good player. Played really well.
Don't go to yay anytime soon, Bob.
Oh, you'll get a no when you get to yay.
Dear. So that takes us with half a game remaining to round 18 of the AFL as we quickly roll from one week to the next. It does start with a couple of good games. Fremantle taking on the Sydney Swans on Thursday night back in Perth. So the Dockers after their loss to the Giants, the Swans after their win on Friday night. Collingwood and North Melbourne on Friday night. St Kilda take on Port Adelaide on Saturday. GWS and the Giants, that's from Sydney on Saturday in the twilight. The Blues taking on the Hawks on Saturday night. Adelaide take on the Gold Coast Suns also on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, the Western Bulldogs and the West Coast Eagles from Docklands. 2 games in Melbourne. The Demons taking on the Tigers, the 3:15 game.
We'll be there.
From the MCG. That's where we will be. And the final match of the round, it might be in the twilight zone. The Brisbane Lions taking on the Bombers. So it starts off strong. With Fremantle and Sydney, it sort of tails away towards the back end.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it does.
And the Swans issue the Dockers back-to-back losses. Are they going well enough that they can go over there and beat the Dockers, or will Fremantle return to their winning ways?
I don't think they're going well enough to beat the Dockers over there, I must admit.
No, I think the Dockers will be looking to bounce back, and they probably will.
That Hayden Young injury is interesting, though, isn't it, for them? He's a bit Will Day-ish for Hawks.
Player.
Yeah, he's the one that can make a real difference. So that's a problem for Fremantle. I'm expecting them to win that game, but what that does for their premiership chances, I'm interested to see.
Goal for the Kangas. It's a 6-point ball game. Port Adelaide 6-8-44 to North Melbourne 5-8-38.
The Kangas have never won at Adelaide Oval, Half.
Have you not? Have they not?
Zip and 14.
Zip and 14.
Where'd you get that?
You guys taking the mickey out of
A
me?
North Melbourne supporter.
Oh.
Chatted to me this morning.
I mentioned that earlier on in the call as well.
12 times.
Well, I mentioned it with Clinchy at 12 o'clock, so
You
you
did.
obviously stole it
in.
off me then.
AFL
Might have
Sunday
been when
from
I was
midday.
moving from the house to the car. Sort of old mate Johnson style, like I was in the tribunal. I listened to the whole thing. I don't know how I missed that.
Did you?
Catch up with some podcasts, wherever you podcast from. Search for the best of ABC Sport, and that's where you can find AFL Sunday, as you can find the ABC AFL Daily Podcast with Ben Cameron and Daniel Harford for your commute to work tomorrow. We didn't get an answer from Loz in terms of whether Robert Harvey would have Shane Crawford and Craig Bradley covered, Brad Hill. So we might have to take that one on notice and give Loz a bit of a challenge there. But there were 36 financial sanctions from the match review officer. So just having a look at some of them. If you just flicked on the radio, it was a $5,000 fine for the two players involved with the umpire contact, Braden Maynard and Toot Miller, and a 2-game suspension for Ben Long for his bump to Braden Maynard. So at a guess half, how much financial, looked a bit like my wife's credit card statement, how many would it tally, 36 fines, would you imagine, for the AFL in a number?
Total number.
Total number. What do you think they're making from 24 hours of 4 games?
36.
80,000?
No,
too high. Lower.
42.
Close.
38.
Higher.
41.
Price is right. No, you were higher.
Yeah, well, 38 and 42.
Higher than 42, mate.
You said lower. You said, sorry, you said close. You didn't say lower.
No.
44.
Slightly higher.
46.
Lower.
Oh!
If anyone's playing at home, I feel like we're dragging out this game as much as Essendon dragged it out. 45,500 was the ticker for the AFL.
I'm happy with 42. That was a good guess.
Yeah, that was a good guess.
Just going back to it too with your point around Robert Harvey's running. Ben Hart, who I worked with, Benny, he told me a story. No, this is
another Ben Hart story. It's Hart or Blind.
Have you noticed they're never
Judgy?
like role players, fringe players?
Yeah, well, do you know what
supplementary lists are
do you know
always
the good story
all-time
about
legends.
that? The good part about that, Bob, I won't have to repeat your stories.
Oh, jeez.
That was so mean, and I loved it.
I won't accept that.
That was so mean.
I won't celebrate that. I won't celebrate that.
No,
Virgin, your good name.
I'll cry myself to sleep, but just for the cameras and the audio, I loved it.
How else do you want me to tell this story other than he said that because we spoke about him? Leave me alone.
We've got 45 seconds to get this story out.
He put on the treadmill to the highest possible setting and go as hard as he could for as long as he could and then get off the treadmill running done for the day. So this is when he's an assistant coach at Collingwood, just trying to keep fit. He would just ratchet it up as high as it could go or as high as he could go. And
I was talking to John Coleman once about
when Tiger Woods and I played that back 9 at Augusta.
See, at least these are true.
Who says this isn't true? How dare you?
Fired.
How dare you? I'd go spinning off. There'd be a silhouette of me through the plaster wall if I got the treadmill up to flat neck.
That's what I was
I'd be spat off the back through the wall.
Righto, sadly for you and sadly for us, that brings our time together to a close. If you are intrigued, the game taking place at the moment, North Melbourne 6-9-45, Port Adelaide 6-9-45. So as it stands at the moment, if the Kangas can secure victory here...
They've never won there.
Yes, they've never won there. They would jump from 11th spot to 8th spot on the AFL ladder. So they're big prize on offer. So for those of you who are listening via digital local radio, you'll be returning to the network. Everyone else will take you to Adelaide Oval for the remainder of the Port Adelaide and North Melbourne game. Thank you to Daniel Harford and to Bob Murphy.
Gentlemen,
thank you.
Enjoy your sleep in. Bob, without breakfast commitments. Thanks to Lauren Borden. Thanks to Ben Cameron. Thanks to Jules Hayes back at base and to Stu Birchmore at the back of the box. And Kilda winners by 67 points, 17-15, 117 to the Bombers, 7-8-50. The Saints jump from 14th spot to 12th on the ladder. They're now 7 wins and 9 losses. Don't forget, if you're not on local radio, go into the Adelaide Oval, coverage available on ABC Listen. Just click on the AFL